The soy pill is having technical issues. How's it going, everybody? How's everybody doing tonight? Can you hear me all right? Is the stream coming in? How stupid can one man be? I see technical. Halo, what's going on? I missed your guys' chats. I was so fucking clocked in yesterday. I had to be looking at all the stupid things that are happening in real life instead of all the stupid things in chat. Hi, Kingus the Dingus. What's the longest river called? Denial? Can people hear me all right? No one's responding. No brain rot. No, Thanos, I'm not doing any brain rot in this this stream. We're going to get into this real quick, but I really want to just take a peek at this debate performance. I have a lot to say. It was incredibly frustrating. I had a good time. It was super fun. I can't wait to make this my full-time career. But holy shit, was that insane. Let's just get into it. I'll probably have almost all my thoughts kind of spread out throughout this, but I think the one thing I do want to do is go through and look at these super chats that I was not able to read during this, so let's look back at those. All right, Budweiser Enjoyer says, $1.99, I need to see you insult him to his face. Thank you, Budweiser Enjoyer. The Ortnow, $5, I'm in debt and I don't have a job, take my money. Holy shit, Ortnow, please do not give me your money if you can't afford it. This is currently my hobby. I'd like to make it my full-time career, but come on, man, don't give me money if you can't afford it. Budweiser Enjoyer again, $5.99. $4.99. I didn't spend enough on the last one. I must participate. Thank you. Oh my god. Shane, $5 or €5, excuse me. Do it to ad hom him. So just so you know, the little thing I did at the end where I told him he glazed Brian Thompson, that was my my super chat goal. Even though you guys didn't meet it, it's okay. I still love you. Ortnow again. Ortnow, stop donating. Say if you say so after someone finishes a sentence. Oh god, no, passive aggressive. See, I'm so sad I didn't get to read these. I was so clocked in because I'm like, oh, I can't look bad. I've got like tens of thousands of people watching me, and you guys. $1.99. Keep slaying, King. Thank you, Kingus the Dingus. Jake and Bake super chatted. 5. Ask Steven if we can trust someone who blows fascists. Is the Nick Fuentes thing true? Is that just a rumor? Can anyone confirm that in the chat for me? I don't even know if it's true. If it is true, it's kind of weird. But I mean, Nick being closeted gay wouldn't surprise me. Let's see. Oh, hello! YouTube hates free speech. I know who you are, and I love you very much. Zune. Oh, new subscriber. Hello. Thank you, Hazel, for subscribing. Zone, just super chatted $2. The soy pill is goated? Question mark. Yes. Shenmue3, $5. I think I read this one. I'm a DJ, but loving your vids. Want to show some support? Thank you very much, Shenmue3. Black Kisa, super chatted $2. I don't know if it... Oh, no, it's too Australian. Okay, cool. We're caught up. Let's talk about the debate. So I'm not even going to give an intro. I just want to watch the whole thing through. We've got a lot to cover, so let's go. Let me guys know if... Let me guys... God, what an idiot. Can you guys hear this?
How many people in here think that it was like morally acceptable to whack the CEO, dude? Last point. Last point. Because you keep bringing up this report, and then you can do this, okay? You keep bringing up this report. What did the report even suggest?
Do better.
Who?
The people that are implementing the system. So United Healthcare, CVS,
okay.
And there's one
So,
other.
no, you're wrong. You can't just go out and kill people.
Whoa, I haven't seen this yet. This is the Destiny version, by the way. Your mic is quiet in the video. Thank you. Okay, let me boost this majorly. Destiny's very loud. That was... I could tell that somehow my mic balance wasn't good. How about that? Is this better? Can you guys hear me now? Is this good? Once in the chat if you can hear me. No? You can't hear me at all. Jesus. Nee, 1, 2. Also some background whining, but that's less of an issue. Yeah, because I turned the gain way up. Holy shit. Hold on. I'm so sorry, everybody. I should have figured this out before stream. Alright. Turning this down. I'm going to turn this way down.
Probably times when vigilantism is not only
How's this
understood, but
balance?
maybe even like morally acceptable as a way to further some goal with a system that's clearly broken.
Is this good?
But
Can you
most
guys
of our
hear me
moral
talking over
arguments are
this? I'm going to be
based
pausing it a
on
lot.
system that we believe is functioning to some extent. So that's why we have to make the argument for whether the
Please,
system is functioning.
please someone
or not.
confirm.
Vigilantism is
Oh
a great
god.
thing in tribal
Better?
societies where
Okay.
there's no courts.
That's 1.
Vigilantism is a
Can I do like a
horrible
poll in
society
chat?
report.
Good, fair. Why does Probo have that? Because someone, my girlfriend got me this propeller hat for Christmas and I'm going to wear it, god damn it.
Many have called him a hero for this action. Some say.
All right.
They
So
celebrate
Wick's giving his intro
the
here.
action's merits,
Nothing
but do not
here.
condone the
Da, da,
method.
da, da.
Still others are
guys are getting
usually
ads?
calling it the aggregate.
Do you have to catch
situation.
up if you get ads? Oh, fuck. I'm sorry.
But
I don't
from
even know how
a
this
societal
works.
perspective, is
Just a little too
the
far
killing
up,
of a
right?
healthcare
A little too
CEO
far down.
ultimately an act of defense?
I have you maxed out and still
Many
can't hear you
as
well.
the
This is
state
so
suggests,
annoying. Hold on, guys. I'm so sorry. Let me fix this. Filters. Edit. Oh my god, wait. Is it capturing my right mic? If it's not, I'm gonna shit a brick. Oh no. Guys, if... Oh my god. It's using a very incorrect mic, guys. Give me just 1 second here. I promise everything. Okay. Can you guys hear now? Alright, I think this is... Hold on. Okay, no, this is still not the right mic. Hold on, guys. 1 second. Bear with me. All right. How is this? Is this way fucking better? Please tell me it is. Pretty please. Tell me this is using the right mic. Oh my god, thank Christ. Okay. Hi everyone. Sorry for the audio issues. I almost want to start over, but there's really not much to say. Sorry for all the super chats. I love you all. You're being so patient with me. Mwah. Kiss you all in the mouth. Let's watch the debate. I have a lot to say. I was very frustrated. Let's go.
Cold-blooded murderer who should not be celebrated nor lionized, but condemned.
Now, is this good?
Manner.
This is a good audio balance? Can you hear me over this?
That's what we're going to be talking about tonight, and we got some great guests to do it. We're going to give each of these wonderful people short introductions.
The video sounds too low.
The soy
little bit of background
bustings. What is your take?
Okay, wait. Turn it up. Turn the video up. This is like how many like blind people in a room can we like stumbling around looking for the controls. Destiny's low, there's a low buzz. All right, I'm going to try to turn the gain down a little bit. Thank you again. I really appreciate you guys helping me through this. So, turn the gain down here. All right. Not too much. Yes, turn it up. Destiny's too low. There's no possible way Destiny's too low. How is this balance?
Yeah. Hey, it's me, the soy pill. I make
is the video
essays
good?
about
Can you hear me
politics,
over it?
And I'll be arguing
yes, I was actually in the
that
debate.
Luigi is a hero to people worldwide for justifiable reasons.
I
hope we don't get too bogged down.
Okay, so I'm going to go back a little bit so we can hear what my intro is. I think I want to apologize to everyone. Apparently, not apparently, very definitely no one could hear my intro because I did not realize I have to add the mic into the audio. So that was really stupid. Thank you everyone for bearing with me on that. So you guys can now hear my intro. I'd like to say I really planned my intro out. I thought that it would establish this debate as very good faith because I was laying out what I was going to try to establish and I was laying out what he would have to do to change my mind. We never got past point 2, I believe, but let's take a look here.
Start us off. What is your take? What do you got?
Yeah. Hey, it's me, the soy pill. I make video essays about politics, and I'll be arguing that Luigi is a hero to people worldwide for justifiable reasons. I hope we don't get too bogged down in the definitions of terrorist and hero since they're subjective. We could all agree that Saddam Hussein, Amelia Earhart, or Osama bin Laden have committed horrible...
You guys like that Amelia Earhart name drop? There's people in the comments telling everyone that that was a bad faith bait to try to get people to jump on. But I was just being fucking stupid, and I think it's funny. That's like the top comment. I'm a Destiny fan and conservative. You cooked Destiny? I liked your content. Wow. Okay, guys, let's leave the debate bro comment. No worries for you, triple I emoji. Let's leave the debate bro comments out. Like, I think this was a fun conversation. Turn my mic up? What is happening?
Hold on. Now my cats are attacking me. This is what a stream, everybody. Turn my mic up. Okay, guys. If I put a poll and only Logjammer says to turn the mic up, I'm gonna be very upset. What if I just lean closer? Is this better, Logjammer? Do you like that? Everything is fine. You know what? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Let's go. Acts of terrorism, and yet they're seen as heroes to many as well. Oh yeah, Professor Bunn got that. I don't expect to get my opponents to say that murder is good or to condone Luigi as a hero, but my goals in this conversation are to establish that, number one, the practices of insurance companies in denying and delaying healthcare for profit are reprehensible and tantamount to robbery or even murder. Number two, most of these practices, despite being absolutely monstrous, are within the company's legal rights, and when they aren't, they're rarely ever punished to a significant degree. Number three, Brian Thompson was aware... So that was my second one, that they're very, very monstrous actions. The insurance companies are denying people, delaying people, defunding people, or defending, aka what we saw in the book that, you know, the shooter read. I started calling Destiny racial. Santa, stop. Okay, so like that was my like second point. It's like, okay, if we can establish this, which I thought Destiny would already be on board with, then we can talk about the morality of how do we justify things, right? And yet somehow we just never even got to that. Like it's just never happening, which was insane to me because the burden of proof for these sorts of things is very, very difficult. I agree. But when Destiny talks to anyone about proving someone is a racist, the burden, you know, the threshold that you need to prove for some of these conservative people is, oh, hey, I don't see a explicit comment where he says, I am a racist and I don't like this race. But rather, he would prove to them by saying, look at all the actions they take, look how they're affecting these races. And yet somehow in this argument, I can't even get him to admit that a single person has ever died from not getting health care, whether or not they justifiably got denied or not. So that was insane. Are complicit and encouraging of these policies. Number four, many of the people suffering or dying due to these policies have no way to see justice, and Luigi provided them a voice that they've lacked for years. And finally, number five, to approach this in good faith, if my opponents can show me that these suffering people have better short-term options for justice and aid, I will concede that their lionization of Luigi is misplaced and ignorant at best, and at worst, detrimental to society. Yeah, so at the very end there, I'm like, look, I will concede if you guys can tell me what people who are struggling in the immediate can do. Like, I'm not saying that we should go out and kill people, but what do you tell someone? Like, apparently Destiny's answer to this is tough shit, which is kind of where I'm coming from, where it's like, yeah, you either say never have violence happen and tough shit, or like, you know, like, hey, maybe you could push back on this. And like, I don't want to live in a world where we have to do this. I want to reform the system, but holy shit, like, yeah, if you're dying today, what the fuck are you supposed to do? So once we actually got to there after like an hour and a half, it really did seem like the answer was tough shit. So that was interesting. I felt like that was a little bit of a win.
Okay, thanks for being here. Looking forward to it. Ash, Rube, what do you got?
Hey, Ash, Gelatinous Rube, whatever you want to call him.
Okay, I feel really bad for this guy, everyone. I covered him with my chat during my stream, and then you could tell every time I was not listening specifically to him because I would tab out. And when I tabbed out, because of the way I had set up the stream, which was incorrect, it would just block all the video. I have nothing against this guy. He just has very radically different politics from me. He's very anarcho, and I just didn't want to be associated with the arguments because even if he said a point that I agreed with, I just wanted to skip over it. So speaking of which, let's just get a little past that. And now I'm getting ads? Hold on, everybody. Hold on. Will you guys wait for me to go buy YouTube Premium right now with your delicious, delicious super chat money? No. I don't know if I can show YouTube ads on YouTube, can I? Hold on, everyone. Hold on. Hold on. I'm going to buy YouTube Premium on stream right now, so you guys don't have to look at ads. Give me 1 second. No one look at my credit card information. You should download an ad blocker. I'm using an incognito thing so that you guys don't see all my horrible, horrible, horrible bookmarks. Are you sponsored by YouTube? I fucking wish I was sponsored by literally anyone. I'm sponsored by 0 people right now. I'd love to get sponsored. I can feel the call of the void of being a professional YouTuber. For not having Firefox, please. Premium trial not available. All right, that's fine. I'll just pay for it then. Start membership. Bam, bam, bam. Let me just read out my credit card live on air. Oh, you want to give me your mom's credit card, Gumble? Let's do it. All right, we're back.
There's a lot already said. I think one of the cool things about living together in political communities is the creation of opportunities to live together in peace. The reliable, sort of predictable ability to resolve conflict through means.
Okay, I want to say Eucharist or Professor Bunn is awesome. I love this guy. I am so sad that we did not get to talk about the ethics of debating, like whether or not it's okay for the people who are suffering in the immediate to go through this. It was super frustrating because literally in this debate, and we'll get to this moment, he tries to move on. He says, look, like in his intro, he says, I concede, let's say, even if this is happening, well, does that justify what this guy did? Which is the whole point of the debate. And yet somehow we got to, go back and even try to consider the fact that anything is even happening by the insurance companies to this scale, which is insane. So I like this guy. I reached out to him before and after. Really, really nice. I wish we got to talk more. Maybe I will have him on the channel, but very frustrating that we did not get to talk with him.
Other than violence in a working political community.
Slayer 420 and I guess everyone else. I did reach out to Destiny afterwards in an email. I said, look, I want to have a good faith one-on-one, not even a debate. I just want to see if I can convince you. And worst case scenario, I'm just wrong and misinformed. And I even said this in the debate. If I'm just talking out of my ass, because I read this book, right, and I really wanted this to work out, but maybe this book is wrong. Maybe it's changed since 2009 when it was written. Maybe you can convince me otherwise. Maybe I'm ignorant. So we're going to try to set up another call.
Is a last resort kind of mechanism, not a first impulse tool, and because of that, any use of violence typically needs to be
no, I'm not mewing in this debate.
The reason for its use has to be defended. And so if you're going to defend any particular instance of violence, you want to make sure also that your principles generalize and don't lead to any funny consequences that you aren't willing to deal with. So my basic claim, I think, today is going to be political violence may be justified in certain circumstances, and this is not one of those. And I want to see the proponents make a very strong positive case. But
cool. So we'll skip forward after this. But yeah, Triff, the book is Delay, Deny, Defund. That's the book written by Feynman. It goes over all of these practices by the insurance companies, how they've hired consultants to come in and just give them these scumfuck, essentially, practices to just make as much money as possible, how they purposely use delay, deny, defund. I don't want this to be a whole lecture on the book, but just so you know, delaying is what they do when they say, look, we make money off of your insurance float, is what it's called. So it's money that we don't own. We owe you that money, right? And what they do is they put that money into bonds. I think 2/3 of them are in bonds, and the rest of it is in other stuff, so stocks. But they're regulated. Like Destiny said, this is an incredibly regulated market, and you get interest on that stuff, but not a lot. You're not allowed to put it into like risky investments. But what they can do is say, okay, if you have a claim that we know we should pay you out right now, what we can do is kind of string you along for a little bit, because then every day that you are not getting that money back, our collection of that money is in some investment that's getting us just a little more. And if you do finally win, we can pay you back, right? That's delay. Deny is just straight up saying no. So that's Soy Pill Destroys Girl's name. Yes, thank you, Thanos. The second is denying, which is a widespread practices. I tried to bring this up with the minor impact soft tissue stuff. If you just on a massive scale say, we're going to deny as many of these as possible, missed stuff, then we can say, look, most people either won't even know that they deserve more. The people who do try to pursue that are going to have to fight through litigation. And if that litigation ends up costing more than the actual payout, which for missed is not very high, it's whiplash, right? They're just not going to go through. So it's a big money saver for these, like if you add up aggregately all these tiny little payouts. The problem is, with whiplash, it's not just, oh, my neck hurts. If you, in the 3-month window, do not get the proper recovery that you need, you can have permanent or very long-term damage from that stuff. And we got hung up on this, oh, that's not health insurance, that's not health insurance, that's not health insurance. Okay, first of all, I was trying to establish that this is a practice that's commonplace in the insurance companies. So if Brian Thompson was CEO of Allstate, can we have that conversation now? I don't know, because we never fucking got there. But it's healthcare. They pay out your treatment for whiplash. They pay out your medical bills for whiplash. So yeah, sometimes car insurance does pay for your fucking healthcare. So that was super fucking frustrating, but that's what I was trying to
avoid the sort of debate, bro. Ooh, I don't have the burden because you guys are on the positive side. My negative case.
Look how good faith he's being. He's like, I don't want to be a debate, bro.
Around 3 things that I think we'll disagree on. I think we're going to disagree on whether the action was necessary, effective, or justified, and I disagree on all those. I think it's unnecessary, ineffective, and unjustified. And so importantly, I think like me saying that this is a bad thing.
Wait, and Long, I want to address what you just said, because I did say this at some point. If you think murder was justified, and oh my god, see, you guys are asking interesting questions. I wanted to talk about this shit. We never got to this. If you think murder was justified, do you think killing other people in the chain of responsibility, other execs, board members, owners, surgeons, is also justified? First of all, I'm not saying that I think murder is justified. Because that would imply that I'm endorsing this action in some way. I, like I said, call me a bootlicker, still believe that reform is possible. My issue is if someone is directly suffering today, who might die or have serious suffering for the rest of their life, as short as that may be, what do you tell them? How can you justifiably tell them, no, you can't have any sort of comeuppance, you can't have any sort of retribution or whatever like a punishment that you see fit, because the legal system will not punish these people. You have to be the martyr that just dies on this hill right now. Sorry, you're going to be denied this care, you're going to die. Tough shit, right? That's essentially where Destiny got to. What do you tell those people? And so once you're there, once you say, okay, I don't endorse this, I don't think this is justified, I think we could still change, but I really don't know how you say that to someone who's suffering, then you say, okay, who is responsible for this? Obviously, a CEO who is putting these policies forward, who is aware of how bad these policies are, is going to hold a large degree of responsibility in the company. By the way, as I'm naming this responsibility, this is not me endorsing who and who you cannot go out and do violence on. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying if you were judging this on a responsibility level, who would I blame the most? That's all I'm trying to say, okay? So when you look at, I think, Bunn or Eucharist brought up, hey, what about the guy who is directly hitting the deny button, right? And I tried to bring up the fact that, and I didn't get to elaborate on this enough, these people can get fired for not adhering to the system. If you look at, and everything I'm saying right now, by the way, is not because I'm an expert. It's not because of some insane not foreknowledge I have. I have no fucking background in healthcare, okay? I just read Delay, Deny, Defund. That's it. That's all I did. It's a very informative book. It could be lies. I could be spouting misinformation to you. That's very possible. Or it could have been changed significantly since 2009. What I do know is that it brings up cases that happened. Some of these cases are things like, hey, people in this industry, adjusters, insurance adjusters, who usually would evaluate these claims, instead of being the primary evaluators, were asked to adhere to a computer system. This computer system might have some unfair flags that can group people in ways that you might not consider fair. Some people, a lot of insurance actually claims can rightfully be denied, and some of them are unjustly denied. Destiny got super ass mad when I said unjustly, but that word just means there's a reasonable expectations from an adjuster to say, hey, this makes sense and this doesn't, when they look at what the computer system did. And those people can get fired for not adhering to that computer system. Certain companies, I think Farmers was one of them, again, car insurance, but has that policy. So I blame them a lot less when they get to lose their whole livelihood and they have a lot more to lose for denying this system than I would blame someone who is in charge of a system that says, let's fire the people for not doing it. That's insane. Obviously, there's a line drawn somewhere. Thank you. Can I say that? Ihor? I'm just going to say Ihor for subscribing. So where was I going with this? The point is, there is obviously a range of responsibility. I don't promote violence against any of these people because I myself think that things can still change. I just don't know how to justify that, saying that to someone who literally has no recourse for justice right now, and they're suffering and or dying. That's just like, I'm at an impasse. And I went into this saying, please tell me a better option, because I don't want that to be the like hill I die on. I want that to be something where you convince me we can help these people in ways that aren't telling them, yeah, I guess you really don't have any other option, just die, right? $200 for a home test.
That should not have happened. It does not actually require me to think that the CEO was a great guy or that the company was perfectly ethical.
Yeah, I don't Twitch stream, and you can't Twitch stream
that,
with
but I think it's going to be more important to say, even if it's a bad company, even if the CEO was unethical,
let's skip
does
that
over
here? I want to say one of the
United States.
Other thing about the panelists. So this Big Papa, I like her. She's cool. We talked a little before. We had a lot more similar politics than Ash and I. But unfortunately, I really just like the one-on-one format because she got into this whole shouting match with Destiny, which, to be fair, I shouted at him too. But it was very, very frustrating watching her shout at him, knowing that I could, when I tried this, to summarize her argument in 2 sentences in a way that I think Destiny would have agreed with. That was incredibly frustrating. And that's not her fault. That was just the blood sports. But let's listen to Destiny's intro.
Enforced by the denial. We see the American.
Okay. we'll get into as we go. Last but certainly not least, Destiny. What are your thoughts?
Do you
here?
think some low
Yeah,
class?
I think that
you think some low class immigrant who was not attractive people would care as much? Yeah, 100%. Yeah, this is Trump's America. All right, we're doing fashy politics now. Everyone who's hot is objectively correct, and that's why Luigi is getting all the love.
the positive argument
You are
obviously needs to.
muted, and we cannot hear
Are
you.
you muted?
Sorry, I was just talking really quietly, actually. I think that the positive argument has to be provided for, obviously, because I think that the killing fails. I think in four pretty basically in every aspect. Obviously, it fails legally.
Probably a sock down progressive.
Somebody
truth.
earlier here literally gave the definition for terrorism, which is that this murder gives leverage for a political change, which was literally why New York State decided to use the terrorism subcharge to get it to first-degree murder, and that's the definition of it, is to try to affect some political outcome. It fails personally, like the person was not personally impacted by any of the healthcare industry in a negative way, even though people tried to say he was initially. At first, it was that his poor grandma died, and then it was that he had a bad experience.
Triple I
and now it
emoji.
comes
How
out he's
can
just a
you
rich
say
kid who had
the word
surgery, and his
bootlicker
experiences
when
have
you're
nothing to do with
conservative? Isn't
negative
that
health
like
insurance companies or anything like
the
that.
whole party?
It fails ethically.
Not trying to insult you. I just
I
like
don't
where are you
think that
coming
you can
from
say
there?
just because this guy is the CEO of a company who's engaged in a business that you don't like, we should be able to kill anybody in management as a result of that. I think that's a little bit absurd. We can think of should I be allowed to kill the CEO or kill executives who work at gun manufacturing
AAA.
companies or car companies or what? It's just especially in one of the most tightly regulated industries in the entire United States. That's I think an absurd claim.
Okay.
And then I think
the most tightly regulated industry. That's not wrong. It is incredibly regulated. What else is true is that if you look at people who work in the NAIC, the National Association for Insurance Commissioners, I think the direct quote from the book is, regulation has failed. Regulation is not stopping these people from doing things that are absurd and abhorrent from what we have seen. And that's the issue that kept coming back up in this conversation. Oh, you shared a source and they didn't do anything illegal? Yeah, that's the point. It's not illegal. They don't go after this. They don't prosecute this. It is insane that this is allowed, and this is just the way it works. So yeah, if you're going to try to say this legality argument, yeah, unfortunately, a lot of things that are shitty are fucking illegal. So that was super annoying. I'm going to keep saying that, by the way. This was an incredibly frustrating conversation, but I had a lot of fun.
it fails most importantly, consequentially. There are really good.
Okay, Devin, I see you in chat, and if anyone brings this up again, I need to address this right away because this is me being good faith to Destiny. I should have said this in conversation because I saw people spamming this in chat. If Destiny is starting two examples that I can think of where it's okay, this is you defending killing someone that is not currently enacting violence against you. The first is there was a kid that was DDoSing him, and this was costing him his livelihood. So right now, if someone DDoSes me, I can't stream anymore. If this was my full-time job, I would not be able to get paid, right? Okay? That is different. That is someone currently, if you kill that person, you are ending the problem right there. Luigi did not get better by killing a person. Luigi did not solve the problem overnight. It might happen in the future. This might send a message, but the difference there is that you are immediately ending the problem through a murder there. Luigi did not do that, okay? The other one is where he said you can kill someone who's stealing your property. Again, same issue. If they're stealing your property and you kill them, now your property's still there, okay? You stop that. That is not what Luigi did. So that's not a good argument to say oh, he's being a hypocrite.
Good conversations that we could be having about improving healthcare in the United States. Almost none of those conversations are solely centered around
more than two
health
people is
insurance
too many,
industries.
AAA.
There's a whole bunch of expensive things in U.S. healthcare between hospitals, between doctors, between private practice, between insurance, between pharmaceutical companies. There are so many different things
All right, we get into
that are
forward.
What's your confidence on that? How likely do you think this actually is?
One guy?
I don't know if I can.
Just one? Not very confident.
Okay, yeah. So I if the
internet.
likely or if the possibility of change is part of the justification for this act, I just don't see the actual line here.
This line, just to be clear, he's
matter.
advocating for more of it happening, is what he's saying.
Well, sure, yeah. So
I think it's a possibility.
Eucharist, though.
Watch it on 1.5 times speed. If anyone objects to that, tell me now because that's a good fucking idea. I'm never gonna get through all this.
Would you then be okay with it if it completely 100% changed the conversation?
No, but I think a lot of the people who are defending it are thinking that it will be effective, and I want them to grapple with the fact that it's not. I want them to realize that even if you think this is justified because it's effective, and
I wasn't
don't think it
shitting
would
on
be
you
if it
for it,
was,
Devin. I just
this is
wanted to
probably
let
not going to be
everyone
effective.
know
In fact,
that.
I think this will probably have a backlash effect that will probably entrench some of these problems y'all are complaining about.
Well, what metric would you have to see that this was an effective policy with the healthcare system?
Okay, this is where I'm look,
what metric would you have to see? Like, I don't think I'm gonna try to watch most of it. Oh, Uninformed Leftist. Hey, how's it going, guys? I talked to him. Go show him some love. I love Uninformed Leftist. He's a good guy. Look, watching on 0.5 speed. I hate you. I try to say, look, you need to, like, I try this several times. Show me a metric. Show me what you need to see that would change your mind. Like, I don't think we should go and commit violence to make major change. But if this literally overnight changed the healthcare system for the better, I would be remiss to say that, like, that's bad. Like, hey, everything's better now. I'm really sad we had to do this to get it done. But holy shit, like, just that one guy and we changed it. I'm not saying we should go do it. Obviously, that's not what happened. But, like, there must be a line somewhere where, like, somehow this is okay for something. But we never get to this. We never get to these ethical questions because we just keep coming back to the fact that insurance is not denying these people. It's insane. 1.4 times speed. God damn.
So we need to change significantly. Would one company need to change the policy?
Triple emoji was
payer? Like, what would convince you that this?
Actually, no, I do have to say this before because debating someone that I'd watched debate for 7 years, they say never meet your heroes. I don't know if this was just a bad showing from him or if he is just brain rotted against I'm sorry, what? There's echo? Echo. I can't hear myself. Is it still echoing? Hold on. How about now? You're doubling your audio. How? I can't hear myself. Your voice is doubled. They're in the walls. Guys, I'm so sorry for the technical issues. Maybe two mics active at once. Oh, son of a bitch. That's probably true. Let's see here. God damn it, guys. No, this is just Lifeline Instrument 1. Let's go. La 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 la. That sounds fine. How's it now? Still echoing? I swear to God, guys, I'm so sorry about this. Oh my gosh. The song has powered his voice. It's fixed? No, don't lie to me. I swear to God. Much better. Wait. I'm going to stop for 10 seconds. This better be fucking done. All right, what about now? Where could there possibly be an echo coming from? I'm only feeding you... Oh my fucking God. How about now? Is it gone now? I fucking hate you guys gaslighting me. Ah! Okay, thank you. We're going to start now. Maybe. I probably was going to say something important. Oh, no, I was going to say, what's it like debating Destiny after 7 years? They say never meet your heroes, okay? You can hear me. I swear to Christ. Okay, I'm going to start chat banning people. I don't like being mean, but I wanted this to be good for everyone. What's it like? Never meet your heroes, because I thought this was incredibly poor showing from Destiny. I feel like he was not engaging with my points. I don't know if he's brain rotted from fighting so many lefties, but it was very, very fucking frustrating to see that I thought we were going to be debating a very interesting ethics debate, and instead he's fighting me on things that he should just go read. He always complains, why the fuck did I do all this research? Not my hero, obviously. Like, I liked watching his content. It's not like I exclusively watch Destiny, but like, he always complains when people come into debates and he's like, damn, I really overprepared, right? I had all these research papers, I had all these documents, and this guy doesn't know what the fuck I'm talking about. That's what this felt like to me. Like, I had to correct him several times, and that didn't feel good. I mean, it did a little bit, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't like, like, yeah, like, I got you. It was like, why the fuck are we, like, breaking down these very basic axioms of my argument? This is only point 2. I'm trying to get to point 4, and point 5 is where you can change my mind. Why the fuck are we debating whether or not an insurance denial could possibly cause death? This is fucking obvious. So, yeah, that was frustrating as fuck.
Was the driving force, because it's a little soon to say. It hasn't even been a month, so this could completely change something by the next midterm.
Yeah, it is
change
a horrible
conversation
debate system.
4 years from now, like, who knows? But
How did nobody even remembers the Burnell dude that set himself on fire for Gaza? Why would we expect that we're going to remember this like months from now?
Well, I'm actually
think
glad
his
you brought
name
that up, because I thought it was actually the difference between these two things. Is one is this guy could have gone and burned himself
Apparently, I'm glad you brought that up as a meme.
And yeah, you're right. We probably would have
in some
forgotten
of my
about it, but
friend
because this was so
circles now.
egregious and blatant, everyone is talking about this. Like, this has completely changed the conversation. None of us would be here today if you hadn't done that. I actually have a stat for you specifically, Destiny. If you had to guess, last year before the shooting, you made 305 videos on YouTube. How many of them discussed healthcare specifically?
2 maybe? I don't know. Probably not many.
Yeah, that's actually, yeah.
You got it
conservatively,
exactly
that's
right.
if
It
you're
was
talking
2.
about, like,
That was
Eastern
what's so
medicine.
amazing.
Maybe one is like anti-vax.
By the way, guys, just to describe how much of an autist I am, I was in the gym like a day before, and
it was just like scrolling through. I was like, all right, let's go December 4th, 2023. And I just was counting videos. Like, how many videos are there? How many times does he mention healthcare? I'm like, well, I don't want to be bad faith. I got to go through and skim these and make sure it's not about healthcare, because I had watched a lot of them. And then I counted and saw, like, yeah, you talked about this maybe twice generously and really never. And now you're talking about it all the time. So, like, hey, at the very least, people are talking about this. I really do hope this changes the conversation, because it already happened. I can condemn it all I want, but now it's done. Let's hope some good comes out of it.
Whereas now, at least two, since the shooting has happened, I know this conversation will probably be uploaded. You had your debate with Vegan Gains. So, that's an 11,000% increase in healthcare videos, and you have a very wide audience. That's really
how many other people are having like productive conversations about healthcare?
I don't know. You can turn on every single news station. They're all talking about this.
That productive. They're talking about Luigi, the fact that he shot somebody, but I don't think we're talking about it much anymore.
What are your top
moved on. We're in the next part of the news cycle. We're
chess?
to come into office. Like,
I have no way to check this or prove this, but a similar question back at you three. How many of you before this news cycle could have confidently named Brian Thompson as the CEO of this company? Did you know him by name or sight?
I didn't really get the point of this argument. Like, oh, can you name him? It's like, no, that's the whole point. Like, there are these faceless people, CEOs, behind the closed doors making these decisions that kill people. Like, it's not like it's like some guy broadcasting, oh, look at me.
Her face. Okay.
I don't know.
Right. So one of the issues I've had with this whole like sort of grave dancing.
I even said this in my video. I was like, no one would know who this guy was.
Like,
if this
I
didn't
could
happen.
maybe
Would I kiss
be
Luigi?
perfectly
100%.
okay with seeing people do the kind of grave dancing where I've seen some of these anecdotes. Specifically, people are like, yeah, I was insured by United and they did not make claim for this. Screw that guy in particular. I'm really pissed about it. I've been
Never
following the lawsuit against him for his insider trading and all this, and I hated him.
You're right,
and his
that
guts, and I'm glad this
I should
happened.
do
Those people,
shorts,
fine,
but I'm
whatever.
too lazy.
But
I
most
hate
people had no
shorts.
idea who this guy was. Had no idea what was going on in this company. Probably couldn't have told you anything about it in the stats beforehand. Maybe you're right, Soypill, that like that's a good thing now that we're talking about it. But I do think
Did
that
you
there's
know
something
Lee
really
Harvey
weird
Oswald
about just being
before
like,
he
yes,
killed
this guy in
Kennedy?
particular was
No,
so
I
evil
didn't.
and so bad that I think a random person, rich guy who was not affected by his actions,
The
gunning down
CIA
the street
did,
is
though.
justified and thumbs up and okay, and I'm going to celebrate it, even though 2 weeks ago
How
I
could
couldn't have
Luigi
told
be
you
a
anything
terrorist
about it.
if the CIA did the
I
contract?
personally do agree.
Just one second. Let's go to Buckaroo and then let's go.
I do agree there is a massive, like a lot of people didn't really know who he was, but I think that
This is an
is
option.
just relaying a serious issue within health insurance agencies as a whole and with healthcare, with how healthcare is provided to an individual patient or in this case claimant. I think the distance that is put between the individual patient and the care that they're provided actively perpetuates
Milk
this
Harbor soy.
this dehumanization that goes both ways. We complain a lot
Guys,
about
okay,
how
wait.
we
I
are
need
seeing as numbers on a chart,
some
and so is Brian Thompson
ones in the
this case.
chat.
So I
Is
actually
it
think your
cringe to be
argument goes
eating during
to,
the debate?
Two
if it's cringe, one if it's not
issue that I think
cringe.
is perpetuated by insurance companies as a whole.
Does
And
this
I
mean
do
that
think
you're-
Brian Thompson.
would this mean that you're like super against single payer then, since probably the government sees you as a number more than any other, like the largest
That's
organization in the
50-50
country?
so
that could-
far. Okay. It's based?
I
All
personally
right.
prefer
I'm gonna keep
something more
eating.
like a two-tier system at least, but I also
When
looking
I
at
do it.
like
When
Nordic
I
models,
do it,
for
it's
example,
cringe.
you see a lot of more localized government.
I wasn't
control
doing it.
over
I've heard people
the
say, like,
individual
you're trying to look more
health-
confident.
Healthcare being provided, and then the greater government is just helping facilitate that.
Wait, in Sweden and
which is
Norway,
why-
they don't have federal level payment?
They do, but they offer a lot of
That's
allowance
true.
to
Brian
the
Thompson did
individual
have a wife and
counties
child
as to
unemployment
their
like this.
the way they facilitate it.
The only person who
Okay.
ate soy during
I
this
still don't
debate
see
was
how, like, having,
Destiny,
like, a
and I love
county
it.
level
That
thing
he
is-
got a bottle
At
of
the end
soy
of the
and he
day,
just
you're
left
probably
and got a
the only
bottle of
person
soy.
to the doctor, not knowing where the
That
guy
was
who authorizes
awesome.
your treatments lives.
Oh,
Well, the difference is
Hold on,
one is-
super chat. Died famous. You're my patron. You don't have to give me super chats, but thank you. $4.99. The greatest benefit is someone like you doing the research and sharing, not something that would have happened. Plus, Destiny has Lauren Southern brain rot. Is that true? Does he? I don't know about that. But yeah, no, I was incredibly disappointed in having come into this, read a whole book, and getting called out for trying to cite the book in this debate. Like, hey, what about this? What about this? And it's like, well, I don't know about that. Actually, that's not true. You're lying. He says you're lying in this debate. I just couldn't understand that. I'm like, look, at worst, I'm fucking wrong. What the hell are you talking about? Stupid.
Countries, the non-profit healthcare system is incentivized to get the best care for the people and not to make money. And the CEO is part of those decisions that go down and say, hey, let's see how we can make more money. How can we deny claims? How can we make the most profit for our company?
Well, how do they make money in the United States?
Okay,
It
that's
depends.
just a
They have, like, 2/3
Destinyism.
of their
Gotcha.
investments are in bonds. If they have a loss-adjusted ratio that's lower than 100%, then they're paying out less than they're getting in. But it depends.
Well, so that
Usually
two-thirds, I don't know what that, so the vast majority of the money comes from premiums that they're paid. Right?
Okay, this is such a stupid point. Okay, the vast majority of the money comes from humans. Yes, not the vast majority of their profit. The vast majority of the money coming in is from the money coming from people paying for the product, which is insurance. Yeah, of course, duh. But the money that they can make on top of that is if what your loss-adjusted ratio is if you take all the profits. I gotta use this hand. All the profits and put that over all of the payouts. Fuck, am I mixing this up? No, all the payouts over the profits. Excuse me. So all the payouts are less than all the money that holy shit. I'm gonna kill myself. 1 second. Can I say that on stream? The top number is the payouts. The bottom number is not all the payouts. Okay, so if your loss adjusted ratio is 100%, that means you are paying out everything that you're taking in. Everyone is getting 100% of their money. Usually, if that's less than 100%, that means you're making some money, right? You're paying out less than you took in. So somehow people aren't filing claims, or you're being a scumfuck and not giving out people money that they need. Then you can make money off of that. And the only other way to make money is if you can have an over 100% loss income ratio, right? Loss adjusted ratio, where you're paying out more than 100% of what you took in. Because when you take that money, when you pool that money into the health fund for your insurance, you can invest it. There's regulations on what you can invest it in. 2/3 of it are supposed to go into bonds, according to the book that I read. Destiny says, I don't know where that came from because he didn't read the book. It might not be true anymore. I'd have to keep looking into it, but I at least knew that number. But yeah, you can make some money off of your investments, so you can actually pay out more than you take in. Didn't Destiny cheat on his wife? I don't know. I don't want to get the guys
costs.
Before this goes on. Again, I have no personal hardship towards them. This was a blood sports debate. Please, let's not dig into people's past. I'm gonna say this like I didn't fucking make a joke about his leaked sex tape at the end, but yeah, let's not try not to pick on him too much. Like it's not productive.
Mm-hmm. So how are they making money? Like, couldn't you argue that the U.S. healthcare system is incentivized to make money by charging people for things? So
Thank
like
you,
going to the
Thanos,
hospital,
for
delivering levels of
defending
care
me.
that you know are going to be
I appreciate
effective,
that,
or
but it's
like would people buy a drug if they knew that it wouldn't work? Would people go to the hospital if they knew that it wouldn't work? Or
I'm not sure I'm following. Could you?
you're saying that they're incentivized to profit. Well, how does a company make profit? By selling a good or service. We think that healthcare is really important, so we consume that good or service. So
By selling a good or service or denying people claims. So saying, I mean, you can look at any of these examples. I'll just bring up a bunch. But do you know what a MIST is? Like a minor impact soft tissue?
no.
So this is what I'm saying. It's like I can't believe he's making this argument, this like free market. Oh, you know what? Like just have a company sell a good service and you'll make money. That's how you do things. As if companies, like, he knows this. I know he knows. I know he argues against libertarians all the time. Companies will do scumfuck things to get money. Okay? It's not just, oh, I have the best business, I make the most money. Sometimes it's skirting regulations. Sometimes it's filling the gas tank with sand or rolling the odometer back. Like, people will do things to make money if they can get away with it. Not everyone's a horrible person, but there are a lot of horrible people. I'm also noticing that we are currently at a 3-to-1 ratio of time I've been spent streaming, technical issues included, and watching this debate. So we probably won't go through all of it. Luckily, I can skip over huge chunks of this.
So there's a specific strategy for misclaims where they say, look, the payouts for these are incredibly minor, and they're also very hard to prove because you don't get x-rays or specific medical diagnosis.
Yeah, it's like you're talking out of your ass. I'm like, I'm literally only repeating what I've read in
all of these and hope that the vast majority of the people don't fight it. The ones that do fight it realize that the litigation is going to cost more than the payout ever would be, and then they make more money off that and are not providing the promised care to the people that they're supposed to.
Wait, so you're telling me there are health insurers where it explicitly says that they cover things like these minor impact soft tissue injuries, and then but they actually don't cover any of them? Can you give me an example of the company that does that I can look up?
I don't know if he's trying to be sneaky here. Now, he says health insurers. I shouldn't have said yes to that because I was lumping all insurers together, all right? It's Allstate specifically that did this. Allstate was contracted out McKinsey. McKinsey came in, give them strategies. One of those strategies was high denial of missed claims. By the way, take everything I'm saying with a grain of salt right now. Again, I read this in a book over the course of 3 days. I might be confusing some of the names. I might be confusing some of the strategies. I have to look at these McKinsey documents. And by the way, if I go on Destiny again, I'm going to have all of this stuff like just meticulously planned out from A to B to C to Z. I am going to have every fucking source. I thought I did a good enough job for this, but I get in here and I'm getting picked apart for every little minor thing. Even when I agree with him, he'll jump on my shit. We'll see that later, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah, look up Allstate.
Destiny's not a grifter.
Wait,
I really do
for
think
health
he
insurance,
has,
or is this for car insurance?
This is for car insurance.
Okay, we're not talking about car insurance. We're talking about health insurance. I think it's a different type of thing, right?
Oh, a Magu.
Okay, so then we could look at
a
the
Magu.
recent report that came out from
I know
the,
you. Hi, how's it going?
Permanent
I love
Subcommittee
you,
on investigations where this is, we talked about this on stream, the AI denials of people getting post-acute healthcare. This post-acute healthcare, for those of you who don't know, means when you get a procedure, let's say some sort of surgery, or you need something and you need
I shouldn't have seated here. I shouldn't have been like, oh, you're right, that's car insurance. First of all, like I said, car insurance can pay for health costs. They pay for missed costs. So that is important to the whole crux of the argument, which is, can an insurance company, healthcare, auto, whoever the fuck, deny you something that you need, make your life worse, and deny you for no good fucking reason, which we know is true from those leaked documents. Maybe it's not happening at all. Maybe it's 0%, but that's the crux of the argument. Does this happen? If it happens, what do you do? Because it's not illegal. What the fuck? Okay. So now I move on to health insurance and I'm like, oh, well, thank God. Like, if you want to narrow me down into health insurance, here's something that literally happened with Medicare Advantage, which, by the way, he got something else wrong about Medicare Advantage. I had to correct him.
Care afterwards. They have this system that determines whether or not you need it. That system might be based on a couple of factors. It ranks all these points, and if you're over a certain threshold, they just deny you that care. People who are denied care either have to pay out of pocket.
Gav, the reason he kept needing examples is because he didn't read about this, and I had to keep bringing them up, and then he would just try to pick them apart.
So
What about that? That's healthcare. That's literally.
So I don't know where
the
so I don't know real quick that 90% number. The only place I've ever been able to find that before, that wasn't from any House subcommittee or whatever. That was from a lawsuit.
Okay, let's say it's 1%. It doesn't matter. The point is that people are dying because of this.
The point is do we think that every single denial is bad?
People are dying because of this. Do we think single denial is bad? No. Where did that fucking come from? Like, I don't know if that was a pivot. I don't know if that was like him struggling because he didn't know what the source I was talking about. But obviously it's not. In fact, and I concede this, and maybe right after this, most denials are probably justified. There's probably more, maybe not when they use these AI systems where it's like way too fucking high, when it's 16 times higher than it used to be. But most denials are probably justified. Most of the time, people will try to get more than they need. Sometimes people don't specifically need a healthcare. They get the extra care. There was a viral image going along, and I don't remember specifically this case, but I remember the context being someone wanted this wheelchair. And it's like, oh, you're denying them a wheelchair? And you look into it, and this wheelchair's got like all these bells and whistles. It's got all this like up-to-date technology, and it's like, okay, maybe they can get something that's a little cheaper. And that's important because this is a zero-sum game, okay? There are a lot of regulations on these companies. They do need to make sure that they're paying out to everyone what they need to live. And if you have this incredibly costly post-acute care and someone's trying to get this super fucking expensive a wheelchair, and it's like, hey, look, can you get like the one that will still help you, but we can take some of this money and pay someone who needs it for their surgery recovery, who might die if it doesn't go well? Like, this is a little more important and way more fucking expensive. I understand that. You need to deny stuff. Denying is not inherently bad. And most denials are probably not inherently bad, except for the missed ones, which is probably like they just deny all of them.
No, there are tons of denials that are fine. Fraud is the second biggest white-collar crime of all time. People like to commit insurance fraud, and we should have checks for that, but that doesn't mean that most of these denials are okay.
That's Whick.
Let me
Wick is the host. He's a great guy.
just
Go
real
check
quick.
out his channel.
This
For
is to you, Soy, and to
some
your side.
reason, he is
Wouldn't it matter
fewer
how
subscribers
much
than me,
of this is
despite
happening?
hosting
We can
Shank
recognize
and
any system,
Destiny
there's going to be
and
failures,
all these
there's going to be
amazing
fraud, as
people.
you said,
So go
there's going to
give him
be
some
bad
love.
actors. Like, how many people have to have died for what Luigi did to be justified?
I'd say he's a hero to whoever the people who had family or friends die, regardless if that's 1 person, 1,000 people, 40,000 people, whatever the number is. Obviously, there's probably a more reasonable threshold. It's not one; it's probably hundreds, if not thousands. The point is that these systems being used are based on whistleblower testimony, not adequate to what adjusters would normally do to give people the proper payouts.
I will also note we do. Sorry, thank you. I will also note we do see that there are nearly 17% of in-network claims that are denied, at least in 2021, and 77% of all of those were just listed.
I
as
hope so.
other
I really
reasons.
hope that if we have a one-on-one, it's
clear
much
outline
better.
as to
Because
what
I
they
think
were being denied, as whether it had
like
to do
here,
with.
let me I'm not trying to skip over her because I don't think what she's saying is true. I just want to skip past her because it's not as important what we're talking about. But when I talked to Destiny like about this, I could tell because he kind of as much admitted this, said, hey, if this was happening, you could theoretically justify it. And I know he thinks that because he said that about January 6th, where it's like, yeah, if all of that stuff about January 6th was true, none of it was. Well, maybe like 1 or 2 like minor things were true, but like the majority of the big lie of like this fraud is not happening on a massive scale, the election was not stolen, none of that shit is true, okay? Like, but if it was, you might theoretically, having exhausted all your legal options, be justified in doing something to like stop the election from being overturned. In the same way that if you put on a poll tax, if you put voter ID laws that are not just there to verify things, but to restrict people from their, enshrined rights in the Constitution, like, yeah, if you don't have any legal recourse, political violence sometimes gets justified in those situations. I'm not saying go do that now because I don't think it's all those options are exhausted. I think there's plenty of things we can do, but he knows this. He knows this and he agrees. And I think if I can show him, hey, these people have exhausted all their options. This isn't just ignorance on their part. They are being fucked. Maybe he'll get to the same place I am. Let's see.
A small amount of coverage.
Yeah, just to piggyback on that, some of these, like,
I've never been in a fight
tantamount to
thank
the
you.
voter, tests that
That is something that people say about
I'm sorry, I'm going to get an example of that where we
I don't want to get into that one.
test, and then that is the incorrect form. And that's how
So
denying
you can
thing
look
I
at
don't
the
know.
amount of paperwork for any of these cases, and they're specific on policy records. I believe McKinsey documents have promoted this, or if you don't want to go back.
Okay, yeah, also, by the way, if there's an incorrect form, like if the DMV says like, oh, your form's incorrect, what's the proper solution for that company? Hey, no, you can't have this healthcare anymore. How about, hey, you filled this out a little wrong, let's correct it and give you the fucking money, right? Like that would be the good faith thing to do. And that's not what a lot of these companies do. They make these forms incredibly, incredibly difficult to fill out because it makes it easier to deny them when people fuck up. It's just like those fucking what's it called? The like voter tests that they had for black people.
Insurance
And I
was
just
talking
bring
about
this
the
up.
fact that these companies do share practices. It's like one of the only like antitrust laws they can get around is to make the documentation more.
It's hard to hear when I talk to them. Okay, I'll pause it. Thank you, Smokes a lot of weed. 420. God damn it.
complicated and more difficult to fill out, and to delay those claims as long as possible for whatever reason you can. So they already delay them when they know they're justified in paying them out for if someone had an alibi, if they thought they might have committed like arson fraud, if someone had some sort of, I don't know, like a health issue where they produced all of the medical documents necessary to show that they actually do have that condition and they do need that care. Already at that point, they are denying those claims just to prolong and fight and make that litigation cost those people more, to take that money and to invest that float for extra interest in the long term.
They don't make money.
That's
So
already
just really, they don't make money on these filings are public where they make money. They don't make a lot of money on investments. That's just not
They don't make a lot of money on investments. I don't know if that's true. I know they make money when the ratio, like I said, is less than 100%, but I should look into this. And I think I even concede this. Let's see.
the case. There's because the money that comes in and out of these companies is like moving so quickly. They don't invest a ton of this money and make a ton of profit this way.
Yeah, but that is how they get rid of that's how they get around the fact that their ratio of payouts to claims can be over 100%. That's the only way they can make profit otherwise.
Okay, so there's like
I will also know.
That's not okay. He says that's not true. Maybe again, but why are you saying that? Like, tell me why. I don't know if he gets interrupted here, but like, okay, like that's what I know. That's what I read. If you don't think that's true, tell me why. I'm not trying to claim that you're like lying, but it's like all I know is if you're paying out more than you're taking in, how the fuck else are you supposed to make money other than floating and investing that money in the meantime? I don't know.
Also note the NICA or NAIC, the National.
No, finish your point, then you, Chris. Finish your point, then you, Chris.
Yes, it does extend far beyond
Oh, okay,
healthcare.
sorry. The National Association of Insurance Commissioners. Sorry, I have my notes down here. That's why I'm reading. They actually have a model of it's Model Unfair Claim Settlement Practices Act, and
All right,
under
again,
it.
once again, she is saying correct things. I'm going to skip past it because we're getting to me versus Destiny.
Who are just like, the only way we can make money is by denying everybody all their claims all the time. We do it maliciously and evilly and whatever. Like that's on one end, and then on the other
Okay,
end,
on one end, the only way we can make money is by maliciously denying all claims. Okay, first of all, no, I never fucking said that. And the people who are claiming that are either uninformed or being hyperbolic time chamber. Thank you, Dragon Ball Z, for making me remember how to pronounce that word. No, but they do try to do this for missed claims, right? Like this is documented processes of, hey, let us try to do this for all of these minor impact soft tissue claims. So yeah, sometimes they do that. Whether or not that's good, whether or not that's bad, that's a whole other argument, but we can't even get there if you're denying that it is happening. Super frustrating.
it's like, okay, well, you've got businesses that function and like the most heavily regulated environment probably of all U.S. businesses, probably in all industry in the United States, and denials happen. Like even Medicare and Medicaid have double-digit denial rates, and like this is just part of operating in this industry. So, like if we're all, I think, because I imagine even you, Chris, I imagine you would agree that if it was the case that health insurance companies were just arbitrarily, maliciously, and evilly denying people claims for literally no reason, but just to watch people die, make more money, in that case, if a guy gets whacked or whatever, I don't know, maybe.
Well, hold on, who's claiming that doing it to watch?
If that's true, then who cares if? Cool. All right. Like, it sounds like you agree with me. So all I need to do is establish this. And that's why at the end of this debate, I apologize. Not to Destiny specifically, because I didn't want to seem like I'm just like, oh, Destiny, like, oh, I'm so sorry. Did I not pre-senpai? No, it's like, look, audience members, there's probably a bunch of people, majority of them are in Destiny's audience, clearly did not think that I established that these people are doing this. I read the book, and I made the mistake of thinking, oh, well, guess I read the book, so it makes sense to me that this is happening, but I can't establish that to you in my words. I haven't properly translated it. I wish to God you did your homework, but you didn't. That sucks. Oh well. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry I didn't properly establish that, because if I had, maybe we would have agreed. Thank you, Unicode, for subscribing.
I want to argue, even in that case, that they're like, you should be prosecuting for the fraud that's happening, right? Which was exactly what was happening with the lawsuit against Brian and other people for insider trading, right? That to the extent that UHC is actually committing fraud on the level you guys are alleging, there are legal avenues
fraud
that you
against
can
other rich people. That's like, if you look at any CEO that's ever been prosecuted for any of these things, at least what I could find, 9/10 of like every single article is all, oh, you were defrauding investors. And the one person who ever actually went to jail, I don't have it right in front of me. Let's see right here. Yeah, Kothari and McMenamin, who just like were so egregiously lying about their claims, making up numbers completely, that it was prosecuted. Everything else is the status quo, and that's kind of the point, is that you can deny all these claims. You can implement these computer systems that group people and segment them into these groups that don't make sense on an individual one-to-one.
Panastoke, I have made a Discord. I haven't set it up properly. I don't like parasocial relationships, but I have to make it so that people can jump in calls, unfortunately.
Basis, and it's not illegal. It's not considered immoral. I mean, we have two people right now arguing that it's totally okay. In the meantime, these people are just dying. And I'm not saying Destiny,
This doesn't happen. You're lying when you say, hold on. What?
Okay, this doesn't happen. You're lying. What the fuck? Like, okay, like, please extend, like, just the slightest bit of charity to me. Like, maybe I'm misinformed. Maybe this book is wrong. But I'm trying to cite sources for you. You're denying every single one. You're trying to pick them apart. I don't know if someone had his stream open, but I was told that he was like control Fing through the fucking Senate document and not finding what he wanted to find, which was anything that disproved me. But let's keep going.
What percentage of insurance denials are just like denying people necessary care?
And this is not a scummy tactic, but it is a scummy tactic. Saying what percentage is it? So first of all, like I say here, I don't fucking know. They don't publish these numbers. I hear anecdotes of it happening. We see practices where we know this is what they try to do, but we still don't know exactly how many of these are denials. It could be 90%. I doubt it. It could be less than 1%. The point is, if it's happening to anyone, to the people it is happening to, I don't know what to tell them if they don't have any retribution, if they don't have any outlet for justice. What do you say to those people? It's happening to someone. It must be happening to at least a few people. Unless, and I should have called him out on this, unless every single fucking anecdote you read online, every single one, what percentage of those do you think are lies? Do you think every single one of these people is stupid or lying? Like they'd actually had a bunch of other options and they didn't have anything else to do? Is that what you think? But like, this is me trying to be like, oh, I'm trying to be good faith, right? But like, I guess not. Like I said this in my Trump video, like I guess when you're on these debate panels, throw it all out the fucking window, yell at each other, get all the bad faith tactics out, and then when it cools down, you can have the one-on-one conversation. I'm sorry, can we just talk about this a little bit?
And then they die. If you had to guess, like, what do you feel like?
We don't know. They don't release the numbers.
Guess, but you have a strong feeling you think CEO should die over it. So tell me what you in your head, like, what's your intuition? Like, what do you think is around?
Let me be clear. I don't actually necessarily even support the murder. I don't know if I want to live in a world where the
sure,
way
but I
that
still want to know intuitively. What do you think is like the amount of arbitrary bullshit denials and people are like dying or having severely horrible adverse outcomes for denials that are
what number would I have to say for you to change your mind?
I mean, I think any number is not necessarily good, and I think we should probably seek to reform the industry. Like in my mind, this number is probably like I would say easily less than 10%, probably less than 5% in terms of like probably less than 1%. But if it's like in your guys' mind,
where's that coming from? Because I have no idea. I'm not going to say
the fact that it's like the most heavily regulated industry in the United States.
What do you think that means when you say it's the most heavily regulated?
As in, there's a ton of like paperwork. There's a ton.
I did it back. What do you think that means? I actually do want to know what do you think that means. But the way I asked that sounded very debate, bro.
Of information that's required to be like, for instance, somebody said earlier that claims are rejected for no reason. That's not even possible. Under the ACA, you literally have
claims are rejected for no reason. Okay, when I say claims are rejected for no reason, I don't mean they're just like, hey, we're denying this and we're not going to tell you. It means we can find a frivolous reason to deny your claim. Let's say, oh, you made a mistake on this little thing. Oh, you colored outside the lines. Oh, you did this. Now, keep in mind, I don't know for 100% that they do that specific thing, but you know when I mean that is the practice is let's deny as many of these as we can for whatever reason we can find, whether that's a good reason or a bad reason. And once these people fight, maybe they'll win in litigation, but hopefully enough of them will not find it worth it to do. That is the practice. Wow, I look really tired right now. If you couldn't tell, I did not get a lot of sleep. I was hyped up on adrenaline last night.
You have to provide a reason for rejecting a claim. It's a requirement.
Oh, to be clear, the claim was all other reasons.
I don't think
that was
you can give
okay, and then she goes off on this all other reasons thing. I don't know where she was going with this. So this might have been a good point, but this is very frustrating. And this is why I wanted the one-on-one, because I'm like, okay, I don't know where your brain was going with this. Super frustrating. Let's see how much I can skip past this. Sorry to everyone but me and Destiny. I'm going to be skipping over it, and maybe a little bit of Professor Bunn. Oh my God, 130. Oh yeah, everyone liked the stream. I don't know if that helps. Let's do it. Why not? My abs are on fire from a workout. I'm gonna get sick abs. Do it. When the 1v1, I don't know. It hasn't been scheduled. It might not even happen.
I don't think reject all of the preventative attempting.
Like fuck, but it's not like threatening your life. You can schedule that surgery.
The surgery instead.
Your video on this, and you have the section where you bring up.
All right. Okay.
Good reason.
Professor Bunn. Another reason I like him. So I already liked him. But thank you for liking my hat, Austin. I already liked him, but he did his Oppo research. Destiny didn't do this. I know because I didn't get a whole jump in subscribers after he announced who he's debating. But Professor Bunn went and watched my video on how to talk to Trump supporters, and he literally like DM'd me, Whick shared this with me. He's like, hey, this is great. Oh, this is who I'm talking to. That's awesome. Yeah. I forgot I put that sound on it. Says 99. Thank you so much. Hey, Soy Pill. I just want to say I'm very sorry I didn't respond sooner, but I'm sorry I did get your text message, and I'm just getting ready for my meeting now. So hello, your meeting now. Who is this? Oh my God, do I know you in real life? Meeting? Oh God. Well, if I do know you in real life, it's okay. No worries. All good.
Eucharist, you look like you have a thought.
Yeah, I do. I guess my question for you all, related to what Destiny said, is like, well, I imagine if we all agree, if there is this amount of thing happening, well, probably good that this guy got captured or whatever. I guess I'm wondering what the threshold is for you guys. Like, what level of harm or fraud?
Aware, you might be 100% correct. I don't want to assume the worst, but I do think that Destiny got caught off guard when I started throwing out these sources at him, and he realized, oh, I'm not prepared for this. How can I pick this apart? And he couldn't pick it apart immediately. I think he was getting frustrated. I don't think he was necessarily bad faith about it, like in the sense, like, don't get me wrong, it was bad faith because of the way that it was attacked. I don't know if he's coming out as like, how can I foil this argument? Like, it's more like, oh shit, I'm live, people are watching, I have to save face. How do I attack this? I've had it happen to me before. So again, you guys might think I'm being incredibly charitable to him, and I probably am. Maybe too much.
you think justifies these things. And so this is for all of you, but for Soy Pill specifically, I did watch your video on this, and you have the section where you bring up Hannah Arendt's Eichmann in Jerusalem, very interesting section. And one thing that I quoted, I'm hoping I'm quoting it correctly, you bring up this thing that she's talking about effectively, which is that there were thousands of office workers within the Third Reich who were completely removed from any death or killing and were just as responsible for making those deaths happen. And your summary basically is sometimes evil is just a pencil-pushing nerd. And I'm just wondering, first, what is the threshold of evil enough that we think somebody should be, hauled in front of a trial?
All right, I already talked about this. We can skip past it. What is evil enough? I don't know what evil enough is. I don't even necessarily justify the killing, but I know that there's absolutely a limit. And if you have the power to do something about it and there's no comeuppance for it, then yeah. Oh my God, stop sending me money. Sorry, what I meant to say, I was going through the process of making a smoothie with the same amount as a... Soy, what I meant to say was I was going through the process of making a smoothie with the same amount as a regular smoothie, but it wasn't as smooth as the other way I eat. So, guys, if you didn't know this, you can pay money to give me a stroke. It's totally possible. Now, keep in mind, if this is your second language, English, I am so sorry for saying that, but I have no idea what the fuck you're saying to me. Okay, you can troll me for money. Go ahead. I feel like there's more productive things you can do with it. But, what the fuck? But yeah, okay, look. People can be evil, people cannot be evil. I don't think you should go out and kill them. I believe in reformative justice, and I think it's really hypocritical that a lot of the left is cheering the death. Like, you can be happy about it, I'm wrong. I don't think you're wrong for feeling some sort of vindication, but the fact that it's like, yes, cool, we should have more of this. Guys, like, we are all about reformative justice. We're anti-death penalty. Like, I think that we can talk about how can we get these people to see the error of their ways. But you know what? If we can't, I'm not going to be mad at you for finding other ways. I said that in my video, so.
Executed or potentially executed on the street, and then who in the system...
The government have to run under a certain budget as well. They might not be paying a profit, but they're going to be given a budget by the government that they have to come in under, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Just to be clear, I have a different argument. That's
okay. And just so you know, I kind of skipped over this. I'm going to go back so we can hear it. But Destiny talks about, like, well, what happens if the government runs this? What happens if we have single payer?
Where the only way to get change is to cap people in the back of the head. I still have some hope that there is a way to work within the system. I'm just saying that the people who do view this man as a hero do not feel as if they can live to see that change, or do not believe that change is possible. So just to get that out of the way, that's my position. Second of all, when you are in a position of power, whether or not you are on the...
I am so happy. I reiterated this several times. Like, look, guys, I'm not saying killing people is okay. I'm saying this guy is seen as a hero by people who have no other recourse. How do we talk to these people? You can change my mind. We never get to this. We never fucking get to this.
Internal committee that is deciding whether or not to use these systems that are arbitrarily denying people. And like I said, I think Destiny, you mentioned, like, oh, they're these evil healthcare companies, they're wringing their hands. Like, I don't believe necessarily that they're viewing it that way as this, like, oh yeah, how many people can we kill today? It's a matter of turning people into numbers and disassociating from the humanity of those people, right?
This is what every single system necessarily has to do, right?
Okay, yes, every single system has to disassociate. Every government is going to do this. If you go to Germany, I lived there for 2 years, 100%, there are people that are probably denied care that deserve that care, as in they should get it, and the system says they don't. The difference is there is no profit incentive there. The incentive in Germany, to my understanding, Germans or healthcare officials come in, correct me if I'm wrong, is that you have a bunch of different companies. It's still companies. It's not all one government-run thing, right? You've got all the people paying their taxes into the Gesundheitsfond, which is like the big pool of money for the health. It's literally called Health Fund. The Germans are not creative. And they have a bunch of different companies, right? So you have TK, and all the other ones. I don't know the other ones. I just had TK. And those people get money from that health fund, and they compete for better government funding. They say, we can get better care, we can get cheaper prices, right? Some people are going to fall through the cracks. This system is not perfect. Waiting times could be too long. This happens. But the fact that he is bringing this up right now and saying, hey, this would still happen, yeah, no shit, that sometimes people are going to be turned into numbers, but what the fuck? I'm talking about how to improve the fact that these for-profit systems are denying people who rightfully deserve care because they want to make fucking money. That's fucking insane.
Right? Why do you say that? Like, turning people into numbers. The government would have to do this as well. Every single,
no, it doesn't, because other insurance companies have...
For the record, Uber Goober and everyone else who's like, hey, you're a fan of Destiny, how after this? If this is the only thing you've seen of them, go watch his other stuff. Go watch him fight right-wingers. Go watch him talk about January 6th. He really usually does his research. I swear to God. This is like the video where he debated vegan games was like the first time in a while that I've disliked a video that I've seen from him, because I'm like, this just felt so out of left field. It feels like you're just being obtuse. Like, I can't believe this is what your real take is. And I think he's brain poisoned against people who make bad arguments. So I'm not trying to say the left is to blame here, but, you know, partially the left is to blame when they come and say, we need single payer, this system's terrible, and it's like, okay, well, can you explain it? And I tried to be the person who could explain it, but some people come out with these dog shit fucking arguments and are just like, oh, it's bad because money's bad and capitalism. And it's like, okay, talk about it more, explain it. Like, you need to get through to these ideas. And I tried to be that person, but God, I guess I didn't fucking do it.
Have the responsibility to give out the money that they promised their people, and they just do it, and they make less money, and it's not for profit, and that's how nonprofits
work. The government would have to run under a certain budget as well. They might not be paying a profit, but they're going to be given a budget by the government that they have to come in under, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Just to be clear, I have a different argument that's relying on the incentive
And
structure,
again,
on how these people are treated, not necessarily
not-
that they're being treated as numbers or.
Can I make my last point, Ash, and then let you join in? Because he asked me, like,
That's
at what point can I kill someone? And if you look at the agents, the adjusters, and their incentives in the structure,
Okay, we
you say,
talked about
like,
the
definitely-
incentive structure already, but what I do want to say, and I didn't bring this up, and I can't believe I didn't bring this up because this is so fucking funny. Everyone in the chat right now, you have 10 seconds after I say this. If you were to come up with a incentive profit structure for employees that was run by Evil Cartoon Villain Inc., what would you call it? Evil Villain Cartoon Inc. says, I want my Evil Cartoon Villain incentive structure program to be called something. What are you going to call it?
Oh, yeah.
Smile. The Tendrils. Money. Evil incentive structure. Big money generator. Evil villain incentive. Okay, these are all very good. Goon Corp, we love it. Fiduciary duty, awesome. Oh, super chat. Fish food, $10. Did you guys talk about some claims will be denied when they are highly recommended by the doctors, instead forcing patients to wait and suffer till they go to a less expensive food? Yeah, that's 100% true. Fish food. Like I said this, if they can get alternatives, they'll try to. If they can't, they have to pay out of pocket. And if they can't pay out of pocket, they forgo treatment. That is where dying comes from. And this is not to mention, I try to mention this, but they're so hard to get stats on this because how many people who are avoiding go to the hospital are also being reported in these statistics? How many people, one's in the chat, if you know someone who did not go get healthcare because they thought they couldn't afford it. A lot of times that could be nothing, right? Oh, it's just a checkup. I don't know anything. Or it could be fucking cancer, right? Yeah, let's get some ones. Yeah, like this fucking happens, okay? And like I said, the only way you think this isn't happening is if you are literally think every single anecdote online is a lie. Every single one. Anti-soy koi, that's the worst one. Nefarious Inc. What's the Doofenshmirtz? I knew someone was gonna say that. That Perry the Platypus. I am going to tickle the money. I can't do an accent. I've never watched that show. I've just seen clips. Okay, the pay scheme that was incentivizing these agents was called Quest for Gold. It was literally fucking called that. So they get incentive structures. They say, look, the more money this company makes, the more money you will make. Okay, we'll give you stocks. We will give you kickbacks. Sometimes they have to get around bribery laws. And so they are like, here's this company credit card. Go have fun with it. But we can't actually give you money. Go spend. There's $100 limits. But it's literally called Quest for Gold. Look up Farmers Insurance Quest for Gold. And I think the other one was, let me find this shit, because there's another fucking stupid one. I'm going to be so mad when I find this. Look, but yeah, I took notes. I read. Why the fuck did I do this? Quest for Gold. This is real. I like circled it 3 times and said, holy shit, this is real. Where is this motherfucker? Quest for Gold. Quest for Gold. What am I doing? I have this in my notes. I'm sorry, guys. Give me a second here. You practice. You should. Bled, if you agree with me on everything, you're an idiot, because I'm an idiot. That's not real. It is real. Jerma can do an incredible. Don't call me an influencer. That's disgusting. Quest for Gold. Can't find the other one. Okay, yeah, here, let me read this clip, this excerpt. This is from Delay, Deny, Defend. In 1998, farmers shifted again, naming its revised incentive program Quest for Gold. Initially, it created bonus pools of cash and extra vacation days for offices that furthered the company's goals. The goals included normal business measures, such as growth in premiums, but there was only one goal to which adjusters could contribute: personal lines combined ratio, 98.54%. So I'm pretty sure that's like the ratio I was talking about before, amount paid out to the expenses over what it takes in. So it's like, hey, we need to make exactly this much money and we will give you money for it. So these adjusters in this system are incentivized to deny more claims because it makes the company money. Versus you look at, like I said, I brought this up, Chubb, which is this incredibly more expensive but incredibly transparent company where you have people saying your job is to pay out as much money as humanly possible, right? Let's give people their money back. So Quest for Gold, I just read what the other one was called. It's called like Battle for $1 billion or like something fucking insane. One other thing to mention, one of the incentive structures, one of the rules that one of these companies did, I have to look up the source for this, is the inflationary rate of payouts cannot be greater. So what that means is, I used the wrong terminology. If last year we paid out, let's say, X amount of money, the next year we can't pay out more. Okay, we have to pay out the same or less. That was a goal put out. There's also a goal for a percentage number of denied claims without good cause, just to like try to get the people who won't fight for it back. So if you're setting goals, like, oh, there's a quota for how many times we're going to do this, there's a zero doubt that you're going to be denying people who deserve their money, that should have got their money otherwise if this was a fair system. So these incentive structures exist. These goals exist that say we are not going to be giving you what you deserve. Again, if you want my source, please read this book. It's so good. It took me 2 or 3 days. Granted, I'm on vacation right now. It might have taken me longer otherwise, but like, man, I could see why this would radicalize someone. This stuff is fucking insane.
At least above the threshold.
It's not shrinking
again,
forever,
I don't
Jacob B.
necessarily
It's not every
he
single
deserves
time.
to die, but
That
I
with the boats, I'm going to...
When you say that people are being denied based on some system or some AI or whatever, what do you think it's using to deny those people? What do you think it's weighing there, generally?
It's a ton of things. I mean, for example, again, if you keep jumping on this because it's car insurance, it's just one I know off the top of my
Car
head.
insurance doesn't count because car insurance is not anywhere near as heavily regulated as medical insurance.
These systems exist. These systems take different weights in, and these systems approve or deny your claim. Okay? Why does it matter which company is using which program? The point is, a computer program, obviously, just intuitively, I hate to use the word common sense because that's a misnomer, like there's no such thing, but a computer will never be 100% accurate. A person is never 100% accurate. And when you throw all of these claims into a computer system, shuffle them around and shake them out, you are not going to 100% be fair to everyone. You need someone on the end, an adjuster, to look at those and say, hey, maybe this wasn't fair. Maybe this was fair. Maybe this was not fair to us. That happens. Okay? That is what the whole Senate committee thing was investigating. The reason they justified using this AI system was that maybe this is true. Like, I'd have to look at what the company's data was, which we actually might not be able to. But what they were claiming was we were overpaying too much. Too many claims that should have been denied were not denied. That is entirely possible. Maybe too many people were doing fraud. Maybe people are getting more than they really need. And that's wasteful. Let's reduce that waste. That happens. And I try to say that to Destiny, and he fucking fights me on it. I'm literally trying to agree with him.
It's so much different thing.
Okay, so then I don't know the specifics of any of the ones except the...
Oh my god, Kamiko, wait. I can't tell if you're trolling me. The book is called Delay, Deny, Defend. Oh my god, it is defend, right? Not defund. I'm going to feel so fucking stupid. Give me 1 second. Delay, deny, defend. Why insurance companies don't pay claims and what you can do about it. Oh my god, I can't believe I didn't bring this up. Thank you for reminding me. Look, there's a whole chapter at the end of this book about what you can do about it and what should be done. There's 2 chapters. One is what you can do, how to fight this stuff, how to know your rights, which, you know, not everyone's going to read this book. Most people aren't. So spread the word. Tell them to read this book. Tell them to lawyer the fuck up. If they say you don't need a lawyer, get a fucking lawyer. Holy shit. But like chapter 12 is all about what can we do to change the system? How can we regulate this, right? How can we change? Nowhere in that book is it saying, let's go fucking shoot people, right? That's not what radicalized him. He didn't get radicalized by the book telling him to go do it. He got radicalized because he felt there was no other way to do it. He felt that all the things that were laid out in this book, hey, we need to get more transparency here. Hey, we need to get more regulators. Hey, we need to fund the regulators so that they have more time to process all these claims, to investigate these things. In the same way we need, more IRS agents to look into the rich people fraud or whatever, right? Like, we need more manpower. We need more regulations. We need to say, hey, you can't be doing these practices. We're going to be looking into this data. It doesn't seem like you're being fair. We need more of that. But he didn't feel like we could. And even if we could, it's not happening fast enough. Okay? So this book is telling you how to fix this. We never get there.
Process system, which I know is flags, and it's based on car insurance. So what are the other
a
ones
person
that you know?
he couldn't
Although
have
it is
sex.
relating to health insurance, to be clear, it is still the insurance industry as it relates
I'd
to the
get
health
mad.
of the individual claimant that is pursuing some sort of medical care
Hold
or
on.
some sort of reimbursement for their medical care.
Buckaroo, do
So
you think that an auto insurance guy bears responsibility for someone gets in an accident,
Okay.
they get injured because of that
He
accident?
didn't need to ask this. This is the same thing.
Just a clear
company, the
Things of this, just implementing what
fighting.
they're... Go ahead and invoke the Nazi argument, and then I have a question.
Okay,
Things of
and
this,
then
just implementing what their superiors...
Professor Bunn keeps trying to redirect this conversation. He keeps trying to redirect it in a way that I want it to be at, okay? Hey, let's just say this is happening, okay? For the sake of argument. Please, he admits this at the beginning. Let's talk about, okay, is it justified for these people to do this? I don't even know, because I don't want these people to go out and do violence, right? I don't want that to happen. I do not condone this. I think that other things should be happening, but I don't know what else to fucking tell them when they say, well, what else am I supposed to do? I'm not going to tell them to go do violence, but it's like, hey, do I have other options? Like, illegally to get like any sort of thing to happen? And it's like, I guess not. Like, these people keep fucking getting away with it. So like, what am I supposed to tell them? Please give me an answer. Other people, we never get here.
said. That's the point of the whole Eichmann comparison, right?
Well,
so
the
I don't know if I can.
guy watched
You're the
video
best
of
candidate.
Jews versus-
applying the algorithm, right? If the algorithm is so evil and it's defrauding people at this grand scale, the person who's on the phone saying, "Yeah, man, your claim is denied. I can't do anything about it. I checked the box and it spit out the output. What can I do about it, man?" Like, is that person any less complicit in the scheme you guys are developing? I'm not sure. Like,
Well, yeah, because their
I would
livelihood
say
is
that
on the
they were
line in
obviously
terms of changing it. Like they will literally.
so was the Nazi
fire.
prison guard. Like, I don't
Yeah,
see
and,
the
and,
They were
yeah,
just following
and I'd say a
orders.
Nazi prison guard is just as responsible, and we'd either.
To be clear, I don't have an argument based on the Nazi prison guard. I'm just going based off of modern.
I don't have
examples
Nazis in
going
any of
forward.
my arguments. To be clear, at no point did I study Nazis for this.
Well, I'm implicating you in Soypill's argument. Okay, he put a video on the internet. You're on his side in this debate, and you get
Use
it
my
all.
graph. You got to do it.
No, I'm innocent. I swear.
She
I
did use
guess
my
I
graph.
still have not
Fuck her
heard
and
like a
find
very
out graph.
convincing, like, here's why I can't kill a mid-level manager at UHC. Okay, wait, another question I have. Then
Okay, wait.
same line.
Convincing argument. I think I already addressed this, but again, guys, if you have the leverage to do something about it, first of all, I'm not trying to justify death, but like, if you had to justify it at all, or if you had to say what is like more bad, is it bad that the person who clicked the deny button because they were told to, because of the system that says, hey, you're going to get fired and you'll lose your fucking job if you don't do this, or the person who can influence the decisions, who can whistleblow, who has a giant fucking golden parachute if he gets fired? Like, yeah, one of these people has way more oh my god, I saw this in my comments. I don't remember the name. I'm so sorry for forgetting your name, but someone said something like, hey, with great power becomes great responsibility. Like, yeah, in this situation, this guy had way more influence in the company and he has way more responsibility to change it, more than the janitor who's like whispering in his ear while he's mopping Brian Thompson's floor, like, hey, mister, like, I saw you on your dragging the death slider up on your GUI there. Could you not? Versus the CEO who's actually dragging the slider. So did you miss anything good? No, the debate was horrible.
Right.
I had a
Wait,
good
can I
time.
invoke a
I
Nazi
personally
argument?
just think you
Professor? Because we want to talk about Nazis. Do you know?
Sure,
that,
go ahead and invoke the Nazi argument, then I have
You
a
know
question. I'll
that?
say it.
Well, yeah. Sorry to interrupt, but do you know the indie movie Schindler's List?
Yeah.
You know how Oscar Schindler probably couldn't overthrow the entire Nazis, but had plenty of options as the head of a company to save people, to defy them, to subvert them at every possible moment without actually dying, and he did that.
Sure, yeah.
So do you think that Brian Thompson could have done that?
No,
No.
no.
I'm baffled by this. He couldn't have done this. Like, okay, I see Destiny's making this argument. This seems like brain rotted as fuck to me. Oh, he couldn't what, whistleblow? He couldn't say, hey, like, I'm not part of this committee, but I'm promoting this thing. Guys, I'm not really sure about this. Like, why the fuck not? Why the fuck could he not do anything? Also, guys, I'm not seeing any chats right now. Is this no one chatting right now, or am I crazy? Hold on. What is going on here? Hold on. Our chat's not coming in? Okay, just no one's chatting. All good. Test. Did everyone abandon me? Everyone's here. Okay. Everyone's here. Sorry, am I boring you guys?
Why not?
Because you can't even list a single way in which he could have. One, he's not
Oh
even
my God. I shouldn't have said anything.
in terms of like what the company's doing, right? Like, he
You
would
don't
be
think
fired as
you
CEO.
don't think a CEO has any influence in the company? I'm
To
aware that there's
he
a
was
board.
fired, right?
Okay, calling myself out here. You don't think a CEO has any influence on the company? The only reason I'm asking that is because it sounds like the argument he's saying is so absurd. I know he doesn't think that. I shouldn't phrase it like that, or maybe I should. Maybe that's debate tactic. I don't know.
What? No, I'm just saying that a CEO has
Thanks for the
influence over
ones,
what the company
everybody.
does. If he's promoting the AI system, I mean,
Spam.
you can
No,
tell me that he was.
guys. You don't understand. Like, once you become a streamer like me, all right, when you see the chat moving up, you're like, oh, people are watching, and it paused for like 5 seconds there, and I'm like, holy shit, is my internet dead? Like, if you have nothing to say, don't spam. But like, I want this to be an interactive experience. I'm trying to read all your stuff. Like, eventually, if I get big enough and I can't read all the chats because they move too fast, I'm super sorry. I really don't want to be the person just like, hey, if you want me to read your stuff, you have to give me money, because I don't like that idea. But I'm trying my best to engage, and this is like us watching this together. The only reason I'm not putting you all in a Discord call and listening to you all at the same time is because that would be a fucking shit show. But I would love to like hear from literally each individual, like that I actually like this, and this is not me trying to like engagement farm. Like, I genuinely care what the people who are listening to me have to say, because worst case scenario, in some of these situations, maybe I'm just fucking wrong, right? I want you guys to call me out too. Like, don't fucking stand me, please, for the love of God. Like, I'm just a guy. I don't know why the fuck I have 20,000 subscribers right now. I'm very happy that I do, but I was just some dude a few years ago, and I'm still some dude, and I will always be some dude. There's just a bunch of people are watching some dude. You can all do this. I am going to encourage you all to go do stuff like this and become engaged in political stuff. And by engaged in political stuff, I mean having stupid debates online.
It's just like you want a pretty face to promote that system.
If you call someone a homophobic slur, I will donate $20. Max Stirner's ego, you are a fairy, and I love you. I love all gay people.
No, I don't think so. I think he was
Yeah, but hold on,
probably
when you
doing
say
it because he
AI
knows.
Oh, wait, hold on. So, I knew someone would say that the CEO did not have any responsibility, and then he was just a pretty face, like, oh, he's just going up there promoting him. So are you actually going to give me $20 for that? So I had this ready. I just had an OBS. Like, at some point, I'm going to have to show everyone that Brian Thompson's not attractive.
has influence over what the company does. If he's promoting the AI system, I mean, you can tell me that he was just like a pretty face to promote that system. I don't know. I don't think so. I think he was.
Yeah, but hold on.
Yeah,
AI
Professor Bunn sees that. I
Young,
need
none
to
of us are
see that. We
75
got
years
to
old.
see
I don't
last
think
on
AI
that.
needs to be
I
like the
love that.
scary word that makes something automatically bad.
Anti-Semitic rant for $50. I will not be specifically anti-Semitic, but I will say this: my mom, hi, I love you if you're watching, who has never, ever done this in the recent, has started asking me to pay my phone bill for some reason. And not that I can, it's so easy. But once I told her, like, hey, Mom, I might like pivot to online content streaming and videos full time, and I could support myself. And like, you know, this is the only bill I pay to my parents. Everything else now I'm self-sufficient. And she's like immediately a day later, like, well, are you going to pay your phone bill? So yes, Mom, I am going to pay my phone bill.
Well, since the computer system, they've been using it for 30 years, and they've been overly denying people where
Overly denying.
For the record, if anyone didn't know, because I just realized I have a bunch of new viewers, I'm Jewish and my mom is Jewish. That was the point I was trying to make.
Quotes from people in the industry that they are not fair to the standard of what a normal adjuster would say. These are from people in the industry who are saying this. So if they
then
know,
why not some more of those
almost
things
always,
about car insurance? Again, this is all built on the idea that like, these companies are maliciously and evilly just denying people.
it's not malicious.
For no reason.
Well, first of all, you could say it's malicious, but I'm just saying that they're using these systems under the guise of, hey, we want to reduce our administrative costs. But you can look and they know in this Senate report that literally came out 2 months ago, they see that the costs that they're saving on their administrative costs are like $2 million. The cost that they're saving because of denials from the system they're using is like in the 10 times magnitude, 100 times magnitude.
I got this wrong. It's not 10 times, it's 100 times, it's 1,000 times, okay? They saved like millions in administrative costs. That's true. That's the guise in which they're saying that this system should work. And it does, okay? You know, you save some administrative cost, right? You don't have to hire as many adjusters because you have an automated system. And then you look at how many claims that you would have otherwise made to be paid out, and you're not paying them out anymore, and it's saving you billions. I think the number was 6 billion. I'd have to look at it again. It's in the billions. And just to remind everyone, I don't have it in front of me, so I could be wrong. Let me bring this up so I don't feel nearly as stupid if I am wrong. Hold on, guys. I can't see the chat when I bring up my sources. Come on. I know you're in here. See, I have 14 pages of sources here, so sometimes it's a little harder to find it. And that's fucking annoying that I did all this work. Here it is. Majority report staff on Medicare. Can I drag this into an incognito tab? No, I cannot. Okay, just give me 1 second here. I'm just going to read the number billion, and I know it'll pop up. 2.5 billion in medical cost savings versus the 13.3 million in administrative savings. So that is actually, 100 times. No, it was not 1,000 times. Whoopsie daisy. Still, millions to billions. That's an insane amount of money. So yeah, they're doing this because it's denying more people because it's making them money. Now, maybe every single denial is justified. Maybe this AI was just taking over and saying, you know what? You guys have been really slacking. You guys have not been paying people the right amount, which is way fucking less, right? And you're fucking up. And 100% of them were correct denials. But you know what? That's probably not true. But hey, if you think that, and I can't establish that, I don't know what the fuck to tell you, because I can't see how many of these are right because they won't release the fucking data.
But that doesn't even make sense. Wait, that doesn't even make sense because if they decrease their administrative costs, they would have to pay back premiums to their customers. Because if your administrative costs get too low, you have to pay out 80% of all of your premiums as healthcare costs. So if you were to reduce your administrative costs,
I didn't know this until like 3 hours before the debate, and I thank you, Ash, for telling me this. This is I think the 80-20 rule from the ACA. I wasn't even looking into this, and the book was written before this, by the way. The book was written in 2009. You have to pay out 80% of your costs, like 80% of the money that you spend has to go to healthcare, right? Okay, sure. That makes sense. But just off the top of my head, this could be total bullshit. I'm going to specify that. You could find ways around this, right? Okay, I'm taking in suddenly way more money because I'm denying claims. I have all this money. What do I do with it? Well, I don't have to spend it. I could put it into some sort of savings so that I could save money so I can spend it on stuff in the next year, you know, like push it forward. I could pay out other people, right? We could say, oh, you know what? We are going to claim, look, let's say the healthcare companies aren't at all malicious. There's zero foul play, right? Hey, this AI system that we implemented, maybe it's flawed, denied way more people. Okay, sure. Now we have all this money. Well, all those people are denied. Well, that's probably justified. Now we have more money. Let's pay out more of the people that need more money that we weren't paying, right? Maybe they're paying, maybe other people are getting a huge benefit because it is a zero-sum game in this situation. Okay, that's still fucking bad. Maybe you are paying it out to other people, but you're not paying the people who are getting denied the healthcare who are suffering and dying. Even in that scenario. Now, that would be a lot harder to justify to someone to commit any violence, even though I'm saying you shouldn't justify it at all. But still, that could be happening, and that would still be bad.
too much, and then that would to decrease. And you were
Kamiko is not an unpopular opinion. That was the best stream ever. I'm not going to finish Beyond Two Souls, though. That game is dog shit, no matter how much Willem Dafoe there is.
like making more money than you're supposed to. You have to pay the premiums back. Companies have done this before. You can't just hoard premiums from customers. You have to pay this out to people.
Watch how good faith I am, everybody.
And they do pay out a certain. They do pay out.
I didn't know that. You have to pay out that much? Maybe that's true. Okay, I can see. Maybe that's true. That doesn't mean that denials aren't happening. Let's talk about it. We're not going to talk about it.
A certain amount of claims. This is not about them denying literally every single claim,
Thank you,
but that they
Kamiko.
are denying what I believe and what Soy Pill believes. And I just remember that Ash had something to say after this. But they are still denying what I believe to be
Now I'm going to find
a
the
wrongfully
part where
high
my
percentage
mic
of
points
claims.
up.
High percentage,
And
like what
I
kind
think
of
they're doing
claims?
it for-
Like how do we even
Ash is
Say that's not
talking.
true. We have
Ash is
weird, crazy
talking.
weirdo.
Again,
I
this is
already
Ash.
know who else is on that list. Like I just don't know.
Professor Bunn tries to redirect this to who else can we kill. Like I said, I don't think we should be able to kill anyone, so it's weird that he's asking it this way, but I know what he's getting at. That is the point of the panel. Gonna keep skipping forward past this. We go over this too many times.
engagement with the healthcare system? This didn't even crack
Because I think we are closer than we ever have been.
Treatment, right? Where do we cross this threshold, and which of these companies apply? And my other question that I was going to ask earlier, that and again I'll try to
Guys, I
not
think
you
my
know I'm
internet's
not trying to make you
dying.
guys
I need some
fed
ones
bones,
in the chat.
but like let's assume that Luigi had attempted his act and had failed, or had never attempted it at all, and you guys magically did know that.
Thanos Duck, what do you disagree with? I'm not going to wait until you respond, but I will respond when you say something. Flashbanging. My Willem Dafoe is fire? Thank you, Thanos Dunk. That the murder is somehow justified. Does the 80-20 rule invalidate the profit motive to a certain point? No. If you are able to pay out more money to different people and still deny other people and make more money overall because that 20% is now higher. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. This is fucking stupid math. All right, I have the 80-20 rule. I have to pay out 80% to claims, 20% to other people. Now, let me be clear. 80% is not like an insanely high amount. Like I said, there are people that pay out with all their expenses and everything over 100%. That's not 100% payouts. That's like the adjusted. I don't know if there are loss ratios. There's a loss ratio and there's a loss adjusted ratio. The adjusted is when you add in all the other stuff like administrative cost, salaries, all that. I don't know how close you can get with loss ratios that go over 100, but like you pay out a lot of money to people. A lot of money. It can go over 100%, including all your administrative costs. But if you have your 80-20 rule, okay, so I make $1 million, I'm paying out $800,000, and then $200,000 goes into other stuff, administrative, advertising, giant fucking CEO bonuses. Now, this denial system comes in. Suddenly, instead of $1 million, or did I say $1 million? Yeah, $1 million. I'm making $2 million. Okay, so I'm not paying a bunch of these claims out. I'm getting $2 million, but now, 80% of that, which is, oh my God, math in my head, $16.1.6 million is going out to other people. Maybe there were claims that I would have previously denied, but I'm still hurting other people. That is entirely possible. It's less malicious, in my opinion. That does sound less bad, but it's possible. Is that crazy? Because now I still have 20%, which is now going to be, what, $400,000 that I can give to us. Like, the profit is still bigger. I'd have to look into this more. Look, I'm not sure how the 80-20 rule interacts with it. I didn't really look too much into it. It wasn't mentioned in the book. So that could be the killer argument. Like I said, if I go on Destiny's stream and I look into this more and it's like, hey, holy shit, wait, hold on. The profit motive is not big enough. I'll change my mind. I will. So I have to see. Okay, Thanos, what are you saying? I don't understand you ignoring the who else can we kill because you would justify the killing of Bezos or something. No. I'm not saying you can kill anyone because I think these things can be incrementally changed, and I don't like unless it was the most dire situation where we know nothing else was possible, right? I don't think that's the case. What would you describe your political? Bernie. Just say Bernie because I love Bernie. Moral argument. Please slow down by 0.05%. Me or the video? Sterner. You're the one who wants to give me money for making a homophobic joke. Should I really slow it down? So there isn't any profit motive above 20%. If the number goes up, 20% is bigger, right? You get more money. Maybe that's a stupid thing to say. Am I stupid for saying that, guys? Like, am I missing something here? I've been stupid before. I'm a stupid guy, all right? I get it. The video by a little slowdown. Still a profit motive below that, so I know you could argue before it. Okay, I'm going to slow down just a bit.
Brian Thompson was the CEO of UHC, even though you didn't know that before. Would you be on this panel advocating that somebody go out and give him the Luigi treatment? And if not, why not? And if so, who else is on that list?
Okay.
Like, I just don't know where this principled stance is coming from, that like this is the thing to do now and it's good and we should praise him for it.
Well, this is the whole second part of my argument. I'm glad you asked. So again, I don't condone
I'm glad you
necessarily
asked.
murder, but
Okay,
the reason
do
I
say
don't
that
is
again.
because I think we are closer than we ever have been to getting a single payer, except for maybe not ever have
Sterner,
been because of
that
who's about to be president.
$20 is gonna
But
go
it is
so
possible
much
to reform
further.
within the system. It is possible to elect someone who will actually change this. The issue I have is, while I might not have that issue, what do you tell the people who are dying and suffering today because of these policies? What are they supposed to do to fight this? Because you can say, hey,
Thanos, I'm not justifying it. I'm saying if this person who's like, let's say I'm someone who has unjustly been denied healthcare today.
Oh yeah.
And I have no like way to get any justice. I've seen the litigation fail. I've seen these people get away with this on a massive scale. What can I do to enact change? Like we talked about the Aaron Bushnell guy who set himself on fire, and it's like, first of all, don't do that. Because look, what did that do? Did that stop the war? And in Palestine, did that bring really more attention? I only remember his name because I think of his name every time I remember that guy didn't do anything. Like it didn't change the conversation. So clearly this Luigi guy like got the attention on him. But you know what? I would go out as far as to say, if this happened every week, this would not have had any attention, right? How like there was a school shooting like 3 weeks ago. I don't even remember what city it was in. If school shootings are incredibly common, more than they should be, and the reason that we don't talk about them anymore is because they're so common. So this Luigi thing was like big and shocking, and yeah, it's sparking a conversation. But at the same time, if this happened every week, I don't think it would be that big a deal. Like I don't think people would talk about it at all. So this also might not be the way to like spark the conversation. That's like I'm screaming from the beginning of this debate. Give me an alternative to tell these people, how do I fix these? And like maybe it is just tough shit. Maybe it's like, look, we're trying our best here, but it's not working. Fish food, $5. Thank you. I'm the same age as the shooter and had the same injury. For him to have the post-op issues means they botched his surgery super bad. Okay, but that's like a whole other issue, right? Like I don't view this as like a direct, like they messed with me, therefore I'll mess with them. This seems like this guy kind of got some short end of the stick. Maybe some malpractice happened. Maybe he got denied a claim. This guy could have fixed the situation with money. I'm sure he could have. Like, don't get me wrong. Back pain is fucking debilitating. I've had minor back pain from like deadlifting, and it is awful. It's terrible. It's just like you can't think. You're in so much pain. Sitting hurts, laying down hurts. You can't sleep, you can't stand, you can't walk. I can see how that would just drive someone insane. But this guy was not getting anything done directly for him. His back pain was not gone after committing this. His insurance wasn't fixed. Like this was I'm trying to send a message thing, obviously, which is why when they asked who would agree with the terrorism charge, I raised my hand. Because by the definition of terrorism, it's like some person trying to enact a political change by committing violence against a, non-violent or innocent person, however you want to like phrase that. And it's like this seems to fit that definition, but that's a boring fucking conversation. Is he under this definition? Yeah, probably. Let's talk about whether or not these people have any other way to enact change. Isn't the industry standard below 20%? I don't know. I'm sorry, and I'm not going to claim to be an expert on this. So then what's your argument, Thanos Duck asks? I'm sorry, again, try to ask a more clarifying question. I hope I am engaging this the way that I explained it well, but clearly I'm not explaining it well enough. The younger you are, the odds of those issues are incredibly low. They're already super low and just get lower. They're most likely refuse to fix them. Yeah, that's true. Like, you're probably going to get better. I wash hog trailers. My back is killing me. I don't know why that's so funny to be Cody Moon, but I'm very sorry. I hope you wear like a lifting belt or something. I get back pain from the back shots. Ha. Maybe played as a joke, but the idea of no longer being able to have sex in your 20s. That, guys, what did they say in Donnie Darko about the Smurfs? What's the point of living if you don't have a dick? I mean, sorry everyone who doesn't have a penis in my chat, which is probably not very many based on YouTube metrics, but like, yeah, like sex is a big part of life, and it sucks not being able to have sex, and that is fucking depressing. It sucks. I should have said it. The bad phrasing. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's awful. I'm not saying that you need to be radicalized by it, but yeah, that's a big fucking deal, and it's kind of funny sometimes, but it's okay, Thanos. In regards to social change, I think it's harder now more than ever that any movement for some kind of change is swept under the rug within a week. Hey, it's been 3 weeks. We're still talking about it. I'm 6'2". Lifting belts won't help me. Oh, okay, 6'2". Great for you. Hey, I watched this yesterday. Yeah, and you're watching it again. Music killed my grandma. I need a new job. Get a new job. Destiny was really annoying. I'm young enough to never have experienced back pain, but thought of it sounds debilitating. Yes, his back issue and mental struggle hits close to home. Not saying he's right, just scary. It is incredibly
in 2
scary.
years, maybe we'll have someone who changes this. In 4 years, AOC is going to be president. Maybe she'll, do some crap. But like, what the hell do you tell the person today that their mom is being denied her medication and dying? That
Me, again,
the reality
trying to
the problem is
refocus.
that's just probably not really happening. This is
That was so fucking annoying. Just, I know he can engage in hypotheticals. I fucking know he can. He does this all the time, and he yells at people for not engaging in hypotheticals. I don't think it's hypothetical. I've read this book. It appears that this is commonplace to deny people healthcare that they need and to suffer from it and to die from it. But let's just assume that it's happening so we can talk about the issue at hand. These people believe it's happening, whether it is or not. These people think it's happening and they want to do something about it, and they're not getting their comeuppance. So if everything you're saying is right, if it's not happening at all, these people are wrong. Okay, well, they think it's happening. So we either need to explain why it's not to them, which you can't just say, nuh-uh. You have to explain, like, you have to go against all of their anecdotes and show them, actually, this is what you could have done differently. Actually, what's really the problem here is that we need more information about what you could have done, got to the lawyer, had another option, gone to this hospital. Some people don't go to the ambulance because they're like, this is going to bankrupt me. And they might get hurt more because of that, because they drive themselves or they just, get hurt getting carried along the way. But maybe it turns out their insurance was going to pay for it. That's still a fucking issue. The issue is the ignorance, but it's not their fault for not knowing. They should have the information to know that they will get that ambulance ride. They shouldn't have to worry about not being able to get that ambulance ride. And the problem is that there are all these stories. You can say it's fear-mongering, but this does happen to people where they get bankrupted by going in a fucking ambulance. So we need to have more information, sure. But that's just all that aside. Because it is fucking happening, as far as I know. So please, for the love of God, acknowledge it. No, we're not even going to have the other conversation.
This is a fabrication that you're putting in front of people because it sounds good, because very few of you, if any of you, and you even have engagement with the healthcare system. This didn't even crack the top 5 issues that Americans voted on last election cycle.
Maybe we're all trans.
Most people.
No one knows that everybody in the U.S. is dying because they can't get medication. How is it?
When did I say everybody?
How is it that
First of all, the number is like 40,000, and that's probably inflated.
How is it that people in Colorado and Pennsylvania and Michigan are somehow convinced that illegal immigration is one of the worst issues facing this country?
I was so confused here. So it's like, look, hey, people can believe things that aren't true. Yeah, I agree. Maybe it's all wrong. Maybe every single person's wrong. Yeah, I'm not trying to appeal to the majority. Yeah, probably immigration is not a huge fucking deal in Colorado. It's true. People can believe dumb shit. But show me then. Because now, I think at one point, Papa tries to get him to say, prove that it's not happening. You can't do that. You can't prove a denial. But if all these people are lying, you need to prove to me that every single one of these people is misinformed, or at least prove to me that as a majority, these cases aren't happening, right? Like, prove to me that when they say this, you got to look in and say, okay, actually, this is what's really happening. Actually, they have these other options. Actually, this person's lying. Actually, they could have done X, Y, Z. He doesn't do this, obviously.
But they don't know that health insurance and healthcare.
That's what people are talking about. And now we're talking about healthcare. And if a bunch more people did that, maybe they would have voted on that in the election. But they didn't. And no one did. Like I said, you had no videos on it before. A lot of people weren't talking about this.
Sure, and if nobody's talking about it, what would that lead you to believe? It seems like it's probably not having the impact.
And then he says, well, no one's talking about it, so I guess it's not a big deal. I can't believe he's making these arguments. This is like, it feels like I watched this guy for 7 years, and I was like, there's 2 types of content creators, in my opinion. I categorize them into 2 things. There's obviously more than 2. One is, hey, this person's saying the thing that I've been thinking for a while, and he's saying it to the people that I want it to be said to. So Destiny fighting against some crazy fucking Nazi. Oh my God, Sam Cedar, God bless him, going on to Tim Pool's show and calling out his beanie bullshit right to his face about Social Security, about the Russian money, about any of that stuff. So cathartic. I love that. And then on the other side, it's people who just have these ideas you're just like, where the fuck did this come from? This is the coolest thing ever. Just one off the top of my head, someone who started following me and I watched her stuff and it's great is Fami F4MI, all this interesting technology videos, this video about a text file that almost broke Team Fortress 2. Great stuff. So anyway, Destiny is in category A. Destiny is, I am explaining, I have been on Sam Cedar actually, I've called in. It's really hard to get on the show though. Maybe if I'm bigger now, they'll let me in. But Destiny is one of these people, it's like, look, you explain things in a way that like really resonates with me because I'm like, yeah, this is what I think every time I see this dumb bullshit, and now you're articulating it to the people that I want to see it to articulate it to. Great. And now all of a sudden I'm on a show with you and you're telling me, well, no one's talking about this, so it's clearly not a big deal. First of all, people are fucking talking about it all the fucking time. There are people coming up and saying healthcare is a human right, healthcare is killing people, we need to fix the healthcare system, healthcare. But because it's not different, no one cares. Right? And now suddenly something different happens. Someone gets capped in the back of the head. Now everyone's talking about it again. Like I said, if it was the norm that there was just blood sports in the streets and people were getting capped and all this stuff, like I don't think people would talk about it as much. Like this is hey, people are fed up, things need to change. So stupid fucking argument. Yeah, I love Team Fortress 2, Dodo.
trying to make us believe that the only way you can get somebody to care about a particular, you don't have to talk about inflation.
Are you implying that if no one's talking
Exactly.
about something, it's
exactly.
not happening?
Voyager. Healthcare is always brought up. Everyone's fucking talking about healthcare. It's a problem. What do you mean? Ugh. Like, I don't know. I can't believe, as progressive, like, obviously he believes there are problems. He wants it to be better. I don't think he doesn't think that. But the pushback is insane. Like, I thought for sure he would say, yeah, there's some scumfuck policies, and he does actually admit that. He's like, yeah, I wouldn't deny that McKinsey or some consulting company came in and told them to do dumb stuff. It's like, okay, that's it. That's all I'm fucking saying. Like, this happens. They're doing bad things. In some scenarios, whether that's 1%, 10%, 100%, I don't even know if it's the majority problem, but it's a problem, and we need to change that. Shit.
What I'm implying.
When's the last time you saw them talk about climate change?
Well, you
on
gotta
Fox
let
News?
Destiny
It's not
Climate
happening.
change is talked about almost constantly. What are you talking about? It was part of major legislative packages that Biden passed.
On Fox News.
On
They're
Fox
talking
News,
about
they
the
have
problem
anti-climate-
that climate change is. They're talking about, wow, the climate's really in trouble and we really need to do something about it.
They're probably giving opinion. They're probably anti-climate change, but they're probably
Yeah,
articles on it that I found out last
they bring
week.
up the Biden bill, they dismiss it immediately, and then they don't talk about it again. And
Like,
then
there's
suddenly
literally
it's not a
5
problem because
articles in the past 2 days. Blue state governors climate law, a plot to get left.
yeah, they're all talking about how much.
Look at him. Look at him. He's Googling furiously. Like, what? Wait, hold on. Here's a climate change thing. It's like, yeah, and what is it? It's them saying, look how dumb people who care about climate change are. Like, yeah, they're not really talking about it in a way that's advocating for change. They're saying, this is dumb and it's not a problem, which is, by the way, what we're doing now is, at least on his side, talking about healthcare is not that big of the problem right now. And the problem that I'm describing is doesn't actually really exist. Literally, it doesn't exist. It's not happening. All these people are lying. It's just fucking insane.
They hate the people trying to solve climate change. They're not really talking about climate change
Yes,
or the
but
effects
the point
at all.
but the point that I'm giving you is that if nobody's even really talking about this until somebody gets killed, it's kind of strange for them to be like, oh yeah, healthcare is like killing tens of thousands of people.
CMW, I don't think Destiny's audience is majority babies. I think there's a lot of smart people in Destiny's audience, and he'll routinely have people in his audience approach him that are like experts in field X, Y, Z who try to talk about these things, and he'll try to have those people on. And I appreciate that he does that and reaches out to those people. So I'm not going to deny there's a chance if these healthcare experts come in, and I'm not an expert, I read a book, which makes me smarter than 95% of people who talk about this apparently. But that 5% is the people who actually do this for a job. Like, the reason I'm that high is because everyone else just doesn't read fucking anything, right? Like, I could have just read one bad source. The people that could come in and correct me, I could be totally wrong about this. I'm willing to admit that, and I'm fine with being wrong. I just want people to show me better evidence that I haven't seen. So I don't think his audience is babies. Though there are babies. I've read some baby comments.
In the United States, every
First of
single
all,
year,
the people that are defending are being
I'm going
talked
to finish
to.
a sentence before I get cut off. Holy shit.
Sorry.
The issue is that
Come on, bro. We're cutting each other off. Everyone's cutting each other off.
on one hand, we're saying that healthcare and denials and claims are poor moms, because this is the example you keep giving. Poor moms are dying because they're not getting their pharmaceutical, whatever they need, because health insurance companies are arbitrarily denying them these things. I feel like this was happening at an appreciable level and aren't just like horrible mistakes or companies individually just making bad decisions or wrong decisions. If this is like a norm in the industry, we'd be hearing about this a ton. It wouldn't just be...
We're hearing about this a ton, are we not? Like, am I crazy? Or do we not hear? Like, yeah, they're anecdotes because it's very hard to collect data on this because they don't release the data on who gets denied and who is denied and who's not denied. And the NAIC, which is the regulatory agency, which, by the way, I didn't mention this. The NAIC, the National Association for Insurance Commissioners, in part, a lot of their funding comes from insurance companies. And in 1990, they tried to institute this legislation where they said, hey guys, we need to investigate some scummy practices like redlining. We need to investigate how you guys are doing your practices. We want to look more into it, more transparency. And the insurance companies boycotted them. They said, we're not paying the dues that we are forced by the government to pay to fund your association that regulates us. And at the end, they were able to, using that leverage, talk down a deal which gave them, the NAIC, half as much money, half as much as they were going to get to investigate these claims. So they have a really weird amount of power over this regulatory agency that's supposed to oversee them. And by the way, I didn't bring any of these. Oh my God, I read so fucking much that never came up. This is so frustrating. I've seen him get mad about this shit. Okay, I read a Supreme Court case. There's Paul versus Virginia, which gave the power away from the states, away from the government and back to the states. So saying like, hey, this is a state by state thing. So there's not even a comprehensive way that these are regulated. Like each state could do this differently. And then there was the Karen Ferguson Act, which is saying that unless specifically stated, the federal government is not going to supersede the state. I believe that's what it was. Let me bring this up. I need to see. Oh man, I forgot it immediately because I never fucking used it because no one knows. McCarran Ferguson Act, passed by Congress, subject to conditions, returned insurance regulation to the states. I thought that was what Paul Virginia did. I think it's like in tandem. The act was designed to ensure the preeminence of state regulation. Okay, I was quoting it right. Okay, so it's saying preeminence, which says like unless stated otherwise, the federal government does not have say over what these insurance regulatory agencies do. So that NAIC, it is technically a comprehensive body of 50 states and a couple territories, but it's made up of all these individual states. So it's a state-by-state thing. And the antitrust laws that they get around is they're allowed to share this data with each other. They're not allowed to conspire to price fix, but they're allowed to share data and say, hey, like, you guys are making people pay about this much, right? So let's do that too. Like, can we do that too? Yeah, have our data. So like they're able to get around this shit and conspire, do this kind of bullshit stuff. I don't think that should be allowed, but hey, maybe it's all totally fine. I don't know. Sorry if I'm yelling too much, guys, or if you like it, I'm going to yell more.
An issue that's being brought up now because Luigi shot some dude.
Yeah, did you read the Senate report on this?
Summarize it for me. What is the Senate report on this? You want to summarize?
No, the answer is he didn't.
Yes.
Yeah, so essentially they investigated...
By the way, yeah, I watched the stream like off and on just to see what he was looking into, because I was like, oh, maybe I'll look at my channel. Maybe he's like, maybe I can do some Oppa research. No, he's talking about other stuff. And I don't blame him, right? Like, I get it. Like, he goes on this panel and the biggest person there somehow has 20,000 subscribers. It might as well have 500. Might as well have 100. Not to diminish your guys' power and how much I love all of you, but just like, you know, I'm just some guy, right? Like, he doesn't know my name. So you go on this panel on Whick, you have a preset opinion, just defend it against these lightweights. But I was like, maybe he'll do a little bit of reading. Maybe. But he didn't. He didn't fucking do it. He didn't read the Senate report. He didn't read any of this. So I have to explain all of this to him in real time. He'll deny it as it comes up. And I know if he knew what it was, he would be able to say, oh, you know what? I know what you're talking about. I know about this thing. And if he had a good argument, he could say, this is why that's not true. But because I'm bringing it up to him and he's learning about it as I'm explaining it, I'm teaching it to him, he now has to go through and furiously scroll through and try to find out why what I'm saying isn't true.
The post-acute care that's supposed to be provided to people was being denied at rates like 3, 4, 16 times higher than the normal denial rate after these systems were implemented. Post-acute care being denied does end up permanently hurting people, taking all the money out of their pocket, or killing them.
Captain Bucket, I'm more mad now than I am in the debate itself, but I'm talking about if I'm yelling too much now.
Do you deny that that's true?
I don't deny that a Senate report said it. Wait, so real quick.
I don't deny the Senate report said it. Well, yeah, you can't because you didn't fucking read it.
Do you want here? I'll link it to you.
Yeah, go for it.
Like
Link it. Yeah, go ahead and I'll go through it. Wait, is this one released on October 17th? Okay, sorry, go for it.
Yeah, that's the one you got.
Okay.
I would also just like to note, I think part of the reason that we see, I mean, first off, I would argue that right now we're in, over the past 2.5 decades, we're actually seeing an all-time low in the American opinion of their health insurance. I would also like to note that that insurance agencies actually spend a large...
She is making an argument, and as per what I have understood, Destiny is currently scrolling through the Senate report and ignoring everything she is saying. He would not do this in a one-on-one debate. I think he would say, hey, let's slow down, let me read this. So he's being a little rude to her, and I think it's literally just like a, hey, you're beneath me sort of thing. But like, I get it. Like, he is frantically looking for like a, hey, like, is this guy bullshitting me? And like, you know, he's going to be a little intransigent. Like if he in real time found out he was wrong, I think he would still say, hey, I want to look into this more. But like, I get it. You want to read that source. So it's still like, come on. Oh my God, if anyone said I said the murder was justified, the only way you could interpret it that way is if you completely misunderstand. I'm seeing in the Destiny chat right here, guys. Chat, did he ever explain why Amelia Earhart was a terrorist? No, she knows what she did. You know what you did, Amelia. Yeah, like, I never said it. I don't think it's justified. I think there are other ways around this. I just say, what do you tell people who are suffering, who feel like they have no other option? How can you like tell them, hey, do you just say to them, because it's a hard conversation, you're a martyr, you're dying for this for this cause? Is that what you have to say? That fucking sucks. I don't know if I can tell anyone that, but that might be the case. Maybe that is just what we have to say. Maybe you can't say go out, like, because like if that's the only thing else they feel like they can do, I want another option for them. How about, hey, let's do this massive 1 million man dying people march on to the Washington D.C. and it's as all this crowd of people marching towards the Capitol. Hey, this is a big problem. Look how many of us are getting denied healthcare, and they're dropping like flies on the way there. You know, that would probably send a big fucking message. I don't know if that would work. I'm just saying there's probably other ways. I want other options. What do you tell these people? Because I feel cruel telling them, tough shit, die for us. That's all I'm saying.
Portion of their profit, or I guess not profit, of their revenue on advertising, explicitly because a lot of what an insurance agency is selling, it isn't actually something tangible. It's the feeling of safety.
Because they think they won't be able to afford
considerable way through.
Of Luigi are young people who don't really engage with healthcare that much in the United States.
Okay, and now they're gonna have this dumb back and forth about, oh, young people, and oh, like, who's really like engaging with healthcare? Why do the young people support them? It's just like irrelevant to the conversation. And not to shit on either of them for talking about this, but like this frustrated the fuck out of me.
That every single claim is being.
People who are most bummed, as Destiny is saying, are the people who are least involved with it right now and who know the least about it. Well, I don't particularly care. Like, I think there's merit to some of what you guys are saying. Like, hey,
yeah, Voyager, who have the logical fallacies like poster cheat sheet and being like, all right, which one of these? Actually, you ad hommed me, and that is a logical fallacy. You lose.
We should see more of the data about whose claims are getting denied and why. Like, we should, there are provisions in the ACA that could allow us to see more of this data that, for whatever reason, for various reasons, lobbying and everything else, have not been chased down. So maybe we can push for that, right? But I'm just not seeing where in this whole conversation we're having, we've crossed the threshold of now you get the Luigi treatment. And
Well, again,
I don't see you all grappling really effectively with.
Once again, I think this is the fourth time he's tried to bring it back to this. I feel so fucking bad because he was like at the beginning of this conversation, hey, let's concede. Bad things are happening. When should this be justified? He just keeps trying to bring it back here. And I'm like, God, I felt so bad. I apologized to him after. I was like, I really wanted to talk about this. We really never got into it. We, like, I think, let's see. Like, I think we go back on this. Like, and there's a certain point where he tries to bring it back, and I'm so excited. And Destiny cuts him off and is like, no, we can't talk about that yet. Let's see.
The actual implications of saying, well, the Luigi treatment, at least in this case, was justified. Because I'm just not seeing any serious wrestling.
Guys, by the way, if you talk about Israel Palestine in my chat, I'm not saying you can't. Like, I'm so fucking uninformed of that. I literally read the 100 Years War in Palestine, and I feel less informed than I did going into it. I'm not ignoring your comment. I just don't know what to say. It's horrible. Like, that's just like all I can say. It's a horrible situation. I hate not having a better take on it. Like, obviously, I don't think that the amount of killing that's happening should happen. Obviously, I think taking hostages is bad, and I'm really not trying to be a fence sitter, but I really just straight up don't know how you fix this situation. It is so fucked. The people suffering on both sides. Oh God, am I both sides in this? Oh, gross. I'm so disgusted with myself. I shouldn't have even brought it up. I'm just saying it's horrible, and I don't know what to do. I'm not Netanyahu. I'm not Trump. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to advocate for. Please send me resources. Let me read. Don't let me be a disgusting genocide enabler. Don't let me be a disgusting Hamas enabler. Please let me be more educated. I'm so sorry, everybody.
With like, what else is justified on the arguments you're giving me?
I just like to know, again, I don't think that anybody should be going out and getting murdered. I personally am against murder in basically all the options. If we can exhaust, just like with healthcare, if we can
Moderate. I get it. I'll make sure that the people
Help
who
you a
get to
little bit
speak are
more.
the
Oh,
Financial
wait, this
crime.
is a great moment, okay? Ash has not talked a lot, probably because he saw that my chat box was covering him and he was trying to get it off. And he wants to speak up. And I'm like, I felt bad. I was like, hey, Whick, just so you know, I don't know if you see Ash is raising hand. Because he was doing like this. He was not really raising it. He's kind of putting it on his arm like this. So let's see.
are, at the end of the day, selling to individuals who are going to have feelings. They're going to respond to the feelings, which is why I keep saying murder does happen. Whether or not we justify it or whether or not we think it's morally good, it's going to happen, and there should
Don't
be
worry,
mitigating
guys. We're not
factors.
going to go too
I'm
much
assume that the
longer.
insurance adjusters have a possibility of social
Make
unrest
sure we get
priced
through
into
it
the
all.
algorithm they're employing. Yeah.
Patch has been raising his hand for a while.
I can do
I say Ash has been raising his hand for a while. Watch what happens immediately after he starts talking.
this. I promise you, right? Everyone wants to try to help moderate. I get it. I'll make sure that the people
Let me
who
help you
get
a
to
little bit
speak are the
more.
ones that are.
So when it comes to young people, about 15% of them are being actively treated for mental health issues that's going to interact with healthcare or health insurance in some way. The reason why fraud and other financial crimes are treated with not just making up for the original loss.
Wait, hold on,
but also-
wait.
What was that? 20 seconds? Like after waiting that long? Like just immediately, I felt so bad. I was like, look, the less you talk, the less I have to try to defend your arguments, because he's like in the anarcho world, and I didn't want to be associated with that. It's like, all right, I don't really know how to. I don't want you on my team, not because I like don't like you or anything, but it's like it's harder for me to argue with you than it is to just be like, okay, you talk, now I'll try to make my argument. But holy shit, that moment was like, but I think it was legit like 20 seconds of just like, all right, oh, are you gonna get to? Nope. And meanwhile, do I need to remind everyone what not like 10 minutes ago, Destiny's like, can I finish a sentence? This guy hasn't talked like at all. Like, let him talk, please. Like, I know if you don't get me wrong, when someone says something, you're like, this sounds like bullshit. You don't want to let them gish gallop. You want to like, hey, like, let's address that point, because you just threw 7 points at me. I want to talk about it, but that feels bad. Cody says, how can I soy max? I actually don't eat a lot of soy. Guys, I'm going to make a workout video next year. It's going to be called The Only Workout Video You'll Ever Need. I'll show my whole routine. I'll show how I eat, how you track calories, and it'll be like 6 minutes long. Like, that's all. Most people, that's all you need. I don't know how these fitness influencers keep making videos every day.
Wait, what was that 15% speaking to? What was the point of bringing that up?
Do you want to wait until I finish the end of it?
Well, no, because you just lied, kind of. You just implied like a falsehood. I said earlier that
Okay.
younger people generally don't have as much engagement with healthcare as older people, and it feels like you brought that up to
Professor Mikey, hell yeah. Even kids know. Even the kids know.
try to fight against that claim. Are you fighting against my characterization that
Okay.
older people have much more engagement with the healthcare system than younger?
All right.
For example,
Against Luigi.
extrajudicial
Now,
killings.
Ash and Destiny are going to have a big back and forth. I feel bad about this too. I think I said like I wasn't paying attention as much to Ash's argument. Not because it was bad arguments necessarily. I don't agree with what he says, but he's not a dumb guy. I like the way he talks. We had a good conversation. It was just like, look, I don't want to like bring this into my argument. So I'm like gonna try to read chat. I'm gonna try to like let you guys have this back and forth, recover, look through my notes. But every time I did that, it would turn my stream off. It would turn all the videos off. So everyone knew like, oh, you're zoning out, and I feel bad about that. So Ash, if you're watching this, I'm sorry about that. That's not my intention. It's not like I don't like you sort of thing.
Yes. No. Yes. It would. Is it for the recent Gallup festival, which
against these companies. So United Health Group, for example, in the past, in the mid 2000s, I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, had a CEO who was ousted through a weird stock buyback fraud thing and was forced to pay back hundreds of millions of dollars of blah, blah, blah.
I like that Professor Bunn keeps bringing these up, because all of the like examples I could find, except for one, and there's probably more, don't get me wrong, I didn't look too hard, but all of the examples of a CEO doing something bad and getting punished, it was all the white collar crime against the investors. It was all, oh, you defrauded investors. Oh, you lied about numbers. Oh, you embezzled money. Oh, you did insider trading. It's never like, oh, you fucked over the people that need health care. It's never that. It's legal. They just keep doing it.
Blah, right? That significantly hurt the company, significantly hurt that person, pushed them out of it.
Sorry, Thanos Doug, which book? No good book that will make you understand it better, but a book that's very informative is Understanding the Palestinian-Israeli Conflict. Is that what it's called? Understanding? I will try to read it. Thank you.
His position pushed the company to adopt new policies. Do you think that did more damage to the company, or that like killing him at that point would have done it? Or for Brian Thompson, right, who is currently the subject of a lawsuit and an investigation into insider trading and a variety of other alleged crimes, right? Do you think that if that had gone through and had been chased down to its end, that would have given people more leverage, or just shooting them in the back on the street did it? I guess like on the question of efficacy, I'm just not convinced by any of you, and it seems like some of you all are saying, well, I don't know if he was justified. I'm not arguing for it, but maybe
no. Let me respond to that directly with two examples.
Right, okay,
one, I don't think that if they in their
or that it's not actually eligible under the terms of the contract,
or that a doctor just put
okay.
And it's a shame that people don't perceive.
I think at this point, I finally find my fraud stat in my 14 pages of notes, and I'm like, I want to bring up the fact that fraud's not a big deal. And like I said, in Delay, Deny, Defend, there's a whole chapter about how insurance companies are going out of their way to spend exuberant, Jesus, why can't I say that right now? Enormous amounts of money to advertise fraud as this much bigger deal. There's like all this polling on the public, like how big of a deal do you think fraud is? Fraud happens. Fraud is a bad thing. Fraud is stealing money from people who deserve it, whether it's the consumers or the insurers that are doing this. But it is not a big of deal as they're implying that it is, and they use the big deal that they imply it is to justify implementing these systems, these computer systems, whatever other systems, to deny more people than deserve it. That is the argument laid out in the book. That argument was backed up by the numbers of, hey, look, the accused fraud is way bigger, way bigger than the actual fraud that's found. Like I said, it was like 2%. And watch, Destiny's going to call me out on this. I'm trying to be good faith. I give him these numbers. I'm like, look, this is the accused ones. These are the ones that are prosecuted. And yeah, okay, if you just compare the prosecuted ones, like, yeah, there's more, but there's got to be way more accused fraud than actually ends up happening. There's way more of this. Like, it's a little overblown based on the numbers that they're presenting. They're presenting way too many cases of suspected fraud, and most of these can't be proven in court. And even the ones that can be proven, it's just not that many, right? Maybe it's more. That's one study. I don't know. I'm willing to accept that it's possible that there's more, but for the love of God, no one in the chat has a normal profile pic. What do people with no profile pics?
Just put in the wrong number. To be clear, there are tons of claims
which gets adjudicated between the doctor and the insurer.
Why'd you say thank you? I mean, you're welcome, but I don't know why. I don't know what the blinker is, Cody. Exuberant BTW. The government of Australia did the same thing with Centrelink. Please elaborate, Thomas. I want to know what that is. Could you explain the difference between good faith and not a bit? More specifically, not saying you're doing it bad. Okay, so good faith is me saying, look, I'm going to present you with not good faith in general. Me being good faith in this situation is me saying, look, I'm about to present Destiny with numbers, and I'm going to tell him, I'm not going to present them badly. I'm not going to say only 2% of suspected fraud is actually true. I'm going to say, look, 2% of the suspected cases were actually prosecuted. And when he tries to clarify, what about that? Well, how many of those were prosecuted? I could just be like, oh, I don't know that number, right? And move off. I could pivot. But I'm like, oh, you know what? No, it does. It lists them all out in order for me. And I'm going to read those to you because I'm going to admit, yeah, when it's recommended to a judge, there's way more of a percentage there. Now, I don't think that diminishes my argument, but even if it did, even if I looked and I was like, you know what, I read those numbers wrong. Let me take a clicker look into this. You know what, actually, this is actually pretty bad. This fraud is pretty high. That disproves me. I will admit that. I will concede that. You know what? I read that wrong. I'm not about to fucking die on the hill and double down, triple down, and pretend like it didn't happen. If it's wrong, it's fucking wrong, and I don't want to be wrong. That's the whole point. If this whole thing is fabricated, if every single one of these people is lying, if deny, delay, defend is not happening to the scale at which it is accused of happening in the book, so be it. Maybe it's not. Like, I want to know, and I don't want to be spreading misinformation. So do not ever double down on when you get called out and it turns out you're probably lying. At worst, maybe the source they bring up that's countering you is not true, and you say, hey, you know what? If that's true, maybe I'm wrong. I need to look into that. But for the love of God, don't triple down. If you're wrong, you're fucking wrong. I don't like, just say it. That's what's good faith.
For the hospital and the insurer usually, right? So
Wait, I have
that's
a stat
the
on
other
this.
reason these
Patient
stats are not helpful,
representation
right? Is because when it's errors in paperwork or when it's pre-authorization things, these are solved between the
never
provider
seen-
and the insurance company,
No,
not
sorry,
the patient.
Captain
The patient
Bucket.
is not usually liable for things like paperwork errors that you were describing earlier.
Well, that still doesn't go.
That also
If the
forces
patient's
the
not,
Delta
if the
delays
patient
for
doesn't have
treatment.
access to care for some certain, if the patient doesn't have access to care,
I do. Oh, so the Massachusetts Insurance Fraud Bureau. So this is something that interacts with the company.
Real quick, I'm gonna try to have more of these debates. I had an amazing time. As much as I'm yelling right now, great time.
The companies report cases that could be fraud from consumers to them. They had 17,274 cases over a 10-year period,
My face
and
is
of those,
red.
only 368 were actually found to be fraud. So I know that's not reflective of the entire industry. This is just one example. But that
Oh,
was-
yeah, so even before he tries to ask about the prosecution, I'm like, look, this isn't the whole industry. This is one study over 10 years, but I'm trying to say that this is overblown. There's a whole chapter about how they overblow these. I'm just trying to point out that the justification that they have for denying these claims is based on inflated data. That is what I'm trying to say. And I'm trying to put in good faith in there, like sprinkle a little bit. Hey, like this isn't everything. It could be not this bad. Maybe it's 2% here. Maybe it's 50% somewhere else, right? Let's see.
It's
What does he
2%
do
of
with
the
my good faith?
like potential fraud cases. So the other like places that were denied, not saying 98% of them were denied for spurious claims, but a good chunk of them probably were. And
Wait
like,
a second. That number that you just cited, are you trying to convey the idea?
Watch how debate bro this is, where it's like, oh, you're being a weasel. He's like essentially trying to call me a weasel. What I'm trying so hard to be like nice about this. This is super frustrating. Like I thought at worst, it's just because he doesn't know me. And I know if he talks to me and like hears me out and gets to know me as a person, he'll be like, okay, like you're not trying to lie to me. You just misunderstand. At worst ever, if you think I'm lying, anyone in chat, anyone who's watching this, at worst, I'm just being an idiot. I'm just being ignorant. I'm just misinformed. Please try to correct me. I promise I want to hear you out. Now, granted, if you say something that sounds ludicrous to me, the earth is flat, the sky is red, like I'm going to say, this sounds insane. But like, I'm still going to try to hear you out. If it's so ridiculous, I think I'm wasting my time. I might try to be a little dismissive, but like, I want to be right. Not because it feels good to be right, but because I don't want to be making the world a worse place. I want things to be better. I want people to be seeking the truth, and prove me wrong if you need to prove me wrong. I'm sure there's going to be tons of videos if I make this my career. Over the course of years, Soypill gets owned. Soypill admits defeat. And you know what? That's nothing to be ashamed of. That should be a good thing. We should admit when we're fucking wrong. More people need to do it. It happens all the time. I'm wrong all the time. Just do it, for the love of God. And you're welcome, Thanos, for explaining.
Idea that the vast majority of what they consider fraud isn't fraudulent?
Yeah.
Okay, and then the proof for that was, tell me exactly what those two numbers are. Is it at
Yeah, so
$30,000?
Massachusetts Insured Fraud Bureau. This is in the book that the shooter read, which I recommend. It's really good. It's
I should have said that earlier. I can't believe I didn't hang on him more for not having read this. How did you not read the book that fucking inspired the shooter? Like, I thought that would be basic. I get it. He's got other stuff to do, but holy shit, come on.
period, 17,274 cases of reported fraud by the company. 6,600.
When you say cases of reported fraud, like these were court cases, or it's just that the company thought that like we think that these are probably cases of reported fraud, like they're not like
I
sent to a
would
court.
guess the latter, because of those, the ones that were accepted by the Bureau, the ones that were actually referred to law enforcement were only 552. So of the 552, if you want to use that number, 368 out of 552, that's over 50% of them, but that's still a good chunk of them that are not fraud.
Me giving him good faith, hey, let me read you these numbers, let me do the math in my head for you, let me explain, like, yeah, if you want to use that number, it's 50%, it's over 50%. Oh, you fucking... well. You're explaining things in good faith to me? Interesting, Soypill.
Oh, you see how huge your number? You see how you just went from 2% of those cases to over 50%? Where you understand there's a huge difference between like they thought something was fraudulent.
Sure, and that's why I said I don't think 98% of them are spurious denials, but I'm just saying that a lot of the suspected fraud is not fraud, and fraud is very rare. And
I don't know, but like watching the confusion on his face that I'm like saying, yes, I agree with you. Yes, I'm trying to be good faith. And he's like, oh, this guy's not like yelling at me right now. Like, I don't know if he's trying to trigger me or something, but I'm genuinely like, yeah, like I'm giving you the data. I'm trying to be nice about this. That was so disappointing. Never meet your heroes.
of the ones that actually do go to court, which means it already passed the gate where they're like, okay, this is definitely something here. Yeah, over 50% of them are done it. I'm not trying to do like a sneaky little numbers game here. It's just a matter of the suspected case.
This is sneaky because there's a lot of different things being said here. A case, do we mean a court case or do we mean just like a suspected case of fraud?
I understand.
Yes, I understand. But then also, you're not talking about fraud that's actually been committed. Are these like cases that are recommended to a DA for like criminal prosecution of fraud where the evidence is going to be
552 is referred to law enforcement authorities for possible prosecution.
Okay,
yes,
so you're talking about fraud at a criminal level. Of course, that's going to be incredibly difficult to prove. There's like a 99% burden. And if they're over 50% of the threshold for that, my guess is probably 80, 90, 95% of these things then will probably act.
I agree. I don't think he's necessarily doing this maliciously. I really don't, because again, having watched this guy debate for 7 years, there's a lot of bullshit being thrown at you. He doesn't know who the fuck I am. He doesn't know my intentions. He can't read my brain. I tried to say at the beginning, I'm trying to be good faith about this. I tried to give the criteria of how to change my mind, but there's a couple habits you got to fall into when you're arguing with some of the worst fucking people online. And I can tell you, this happened to me when I was talking to Michael Knowles, which, by the way, I don't know if that conversation's ever going to come out. I don't know if they buried it somewhere. Anyone subscribed to Daily Wire Plus, tell me if it's the Michael Knowles show has me somewhere floating around on there. I can't fucking find it. But yeah, like, they're fucking bad faith. They rip the mic away from you. They interrupt you. They like completely take the worst possible argument. And so you have these like, gut reactions of like, wait a minute, you're lying. Wait a minute, I got to pick that out. I wasn't doing that here. But I could understand if this is a force of habit. It was debate broy. Bad faith. Exactly, Thomas. Maybe he had too many bad faith conversations. Totally possible.
Actually fraudulent.
Guys, I like a lot of Destiny's content's entertaining. I'm not a guy. I don't want people to be hating on him. It's good stuff. Like, I conversated with Michael Knowles. I was being way too nice because I was a lot smaller then.
Right, because this was proven in criminal court, right? And also, does that 50%, does that include settlements and settlements?
Look at that. Okay, maybe that's probably true. Maybe it's true. I'm being nice. That's probably true. Maybe I'm wrong.
Clean. Oh, no, you can't settle. I'm sorry.
I was not nervous. I was nervous going in. I was nervous 2 days going in. I was nervous one day. Day of, it wasn't that bad. And once I was in the debate, and it's like, oh, this is just a guy. This is just like talking to my friends. And I realized how much more I had read and how much more I understand some of these things. Don't get me wrong. He probably knows a lot of this stuff better. This is his job. Like some of the healthcare stuff, I have no fucking idea. I didn't know about the ACA 80-20 rule until like a couple minutes before the debate or hours or whatever. Like, but knowing that like every single thing I bring up, you just have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. It's like, okay, not only are you he's the man, he can bleed just like everyone else. It was just one of those like, oh, all right, I guess I'm going to be explaining this to you because you just don't know what I'm talking about. And like the confidence of like, oh, I studied for this test. That's what it felt like. It's like, yeah, I spent 3 fucking days putting 14 pages of notes, reading a whole fucking book, going through all these cases. And it's like, oh, all right, I feel prepared for this. It's like when my calculus teacher like prepared me for the AB calculus test. And it was like, oh, holy shit. Like, I'm not scared for the test. I'm scared from the beating I took for this 9-month semester or whatever. And now I just, like, the test wasn't that hard. So honestly, not that nervous because it was like, holy shit. Let's see. Debate bro brain rot is terrible. Yes, I agree. How nervous are we for this? Not at all. It's very hard to like him. Guys, it's not about a personal level. If I talk to Jordan Peterson, you're the nicest debater I've seen. I wouldn't say that. Drawn and quartered in the court of the righteous and most benevolent destiny. Yes, exactly, Gumble. You should watch the capitalism versus socialism debate. I watched Richard Wolff versus Destiny. It's a breath of fresh air. Yeah, this is not how most debates are. These are internet debates. Stage performances and stuff. This kind of stuff is so much easier when you prepare and are actually there. Exactly. How is it not common in debates to share your sources beforehand? Well, this is not one of those. But if it was like a debate, I think you should do that. But that's like when you're actually trying to have a debate. It's not just a shouting match. It's not a clip farm. It's like, this is the evidence. We all agree this is the evidence. Let's talk about it back and forth. That's how courts work, right? It's like, hey, here's all the evidence. We're admitting it. Let's do discovery. Do I watch Vosh? I used to. I don't like him as much anymore. Maybe he's a bit good again. I just didn't like his Rittenhouse take, and I got bored. I watched Destiny back in 2016. It was my first into his content, like his debates. I saw him do this to someone else, and it really turned me off. Yeah.
Do these include plea deals, or are these just cases that went to trial and ended in conviction, or just?
I think these are all suspected of criminal fraud.
Okay, so that
I don't know if like, and then he keeps stuttering over it because it's like, why is this guy just like being so helpful? Like, I'm trying to help you out here, buddy.
Assuming then everything that you just said was true, and I'm taking some of these things at face value, and now we've corrected.
Again, oh, you're a liar. It's like, look, buddy, I'm just reading out of the book.
It might not be true. I'm reading from the book.
Sure. Over half of the cases that were suggested to authorities, over half of those that were litigated ended in conviction. I don't know if the other half ended in plea deals or not, but even that rate is pretty high. So it's not just
right. But the other 17,000 are, hey, we're suspecting this is criminal, and of those, thousands and thousands were said, okay, no, there's nothing here. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, there's nothing here. Oh, we don't believe we can convict beyond.
That might be the case. It could be that they just say, look, we don't have the evidence.
Okay, that is the case because that's how criminal court works in the United States.
That is the case for every single one, I guess. How do you know? I don't know. Some of them, obviously, it's like they don't have the evidence. But what I'm saying is that some of these might just be false flags. They might be false positives or false negatives.
States of America. But
what I'm saying is like maybe a large percentage more. I don't know how much percentage more, but like this looks to me like fraud is not nearly as prevalent as these insurance companies intend to produce.
I don't know if insurance companies claim that fraud is a huge issue. I think it's just
they do. There's a whole chapter in the book.
You don't know that because you didn't read the book. It's a big part of the book. They do that.
About how they advertise fraud is the worst thing ever, and they're spending tons and tons of money trying to project it as the biggest problem in the world because that justifies them denying claims that may or may not be justified in being denied.
Okay, the vast majority of healthcare costs for insurance companies go into like paying for healthcare. I think the issue is just the.
I hate how they keep saying this. The vast majority is paying for health. Yeah, that's the point. It's where all the money goes, where most of the money goes. Like the profit is the stuff on top of that. But yeah, that's what they pay out for. They have to pay it out. I'm not saying the majority of people aren't getting paid out. If that was the case, they would be this huge scandal. It's like, what the fuck? No one's making any insurance. No one can file a claim. Like, where's all the money going? It's being embezzled, right? And that stuff gets called out.
The rising costs of healthcare. It's not just people like committing fraud. Like a lot of that outpatient stuff you mentioned that I'm reading through this like Senate thing has to do with like post care for senior citizens.
I don't know if he's actually reading through it. I think he's skimming it.
That's like some of the most expensive care that can be provided for. Like it's not a fraudulent issue, it's just a massively expensive expenditure.
Right. It's the most expensive,
and he's bringing this up like, look, stuff is really expensive. Like that's why it's getting denied. It's like that's the point of the Senate report. They say this is incredibly critical care. These people need this care. Post-acute care is so important. This is recovery from horrible surgeries and wounds, and you need physical therapy, all this crap, right? Physical therapy might actually be long-term care. Don't quote me on that. But it's very costly. It's very expensive, and that's why they like this system that denies a lot of it, because it makes them a lot of money. Maybe they're not doing it just to make the money, but fucking A.
The most critical to those people, and they're denying that at ludicrously higher rates than they used to do because of these systems that they're using.
Yeah, so unfortunately, and I'm still reading through this, you say they're denying it at ludicrously higher rates than they used to. One of the big issues that I have with everybody that talks about literally anything in terms of data is when people are saying since 2019 to 2022, like
COVID.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff that is making data like really.
Again, me trying to be like, oh yeah, COVID. I'm not trying to be like, oh that doesn't count, that doesn't count, that doesn't count. Maybe it changes things in a way that makes it more inflated. Probably the numbers are going to be higher, but I don't know if the rates should be 16 times higher. And I don't think the Senate is so stupid that they didn't control for COVID at all. But maybe, I don't know. Senate could be dumb.
Really crazy in this like 3-year time period, and it's like very sketchy when somebody's saying there's like.
But you mentioned that you can look at the data and you can see that the number of people being applying for that care is much higher, which is probably due to COVID. But the percentage denial rate is still increasing.
Yeah, sure, but I'm just saying that the types of like acute post acute care, whatever that's being sought, might be higher as well. And like
H2, Jesus Christ, what did you have that claim for? Yeah, it is a big ego thing, Thomas. You're 100% right. It's also so off topic. What's with your face in your profile picture when your actual face is like? What is? I can't even read that number. 1,293,124% sittable. Oh no, I read it wrong. It's 12 million. Excuse me. I don't know. I'm not trying to like. Well, I was gonna say I'm not trying to thirst trap, but sometimes I do. I don't know, because it's funny. It's a funny little dude. I'm not. Does this face scream soy to you? It's irony. Yeah, H2. What's going on? Are you okay? Can we help? I'll start a GoFundMe. That's the American healthcare system. But yes, thank you, I appreciate it.
This is the point you made, Soy Pill, in your video as well. Not to keep bringing me back to that. I don't want to.
That's okay. Keep mentioning my video. I want you to watch it.
Oh, go watch the Soy Pill video. It's quite good. It's enjoyable.
Yeah, go watch the Soy Pill. I didn't plug myself at the end.
People in the U.S. who self-report delaying medical treatments at high rates over recent years, and the sharpest increase in that rate is in COVID tide, right? So I think there's lots of reasons why people would avoid seeking medical treatment during this time, right? Like if I just have a random cold, or if I just have a random small injury, but I don't want to go to the doctor or the hospital. It's already overloaded because I've been told.
Would discharge to morgue? What does that mean? I'm stupid. I don't know what that means. Morgues where people go when they're died. Discharge to morgue? I'll Google this real quick before your chat message comes in. This is all about deceased patients. No, this can't be it. What happened to you? Tell me what happened. 600 subs on the stream? Maybe. That'd be awesome. I hope I get more. Thank you, new viewers. Thank you, new subs. Love your content, so just content. Your content, you seem like a really genuine guy. I hope I am. Thank you.
Told we're gonna flood the whole system, etc. Like, yeah, of course.
Yeah, and if systems that are used to deny these things at a specific rate are still in place before and after COVID, of course, then the more people that apply, the more people that are going to be denied. So I'm not saying it's all because of some crazy.
I mean, that's true whether fraud is happening or not, right? Like if more people apply, more people will get denied, right? Like that's true.
Exactly. But the rate is going up too. It's not just the quantity. I do want to ask you something, Professor, because you mentioned
here's me. I'm trying to get to it. It doesn't happen.
This is happening.
Just a little housekeeping thing. I want to get to that. Okay. Thank you. Soy.
Oh,
go
so
ahead.
what I wanted to ask, and I know this is an argument that I think Destiny has used before. A lot of people
Premier
have used.
Protein,
So if
Captain
we take something
Bucket.
like January 6th, which I think was completely based on lies, but you have a bunch of people who believe that every legal means of everything is exhausted to them. They have no other choice but to go and commit some sort of heinous act to get what they want, and what they see as justice. In these cases, where I mean, Destiny, you still are not on the same page as me as whether or not the healthcare is doing this, but just for the sake of argument, let's assume that healthcare is denying at unfair rates, that they are doing what is tantamount to killing some percentage of people, even if they're not doing it maliciously. If that is the case, and if incremental change is not fast enough for the people that are being harmed by this, Professor and Destiny, what other recourse? Because I said this at the beginning, I will concede, if you can show me what immediate recourse these people have to take action and actually do something about it, what can they do?
I would not say that people in a variety of circumstances, even that might be life-threatening, necessarily always have immediate just recourses, right? There are people who develop cancer from some like malicious negligence or incompetence on the part of some company or party that dumps chemicals in the wrong place by a school or something, right? Like those people, by dint of their like imminent death, do not gain the right to go kill the people who cause these problems, even if it threatens their life, right? So I just...
Wait, why not? Like, you obviously believe in self-defense, right? Like, I know that's not analogous one-to-one, but like there's some line in between.
Right,
like, as you separate like the action from
imminence is the issue, right? If someone is right now doing something that will in the immediate future.
Okay, so for the sake of argument, someone, if they don't get their healthcare, will die.
Well, hold
which
on.
is a
I think
thing that
there's probably
happens.
I think there's a big distinction between like a negative and a positive action as well. There's a big difference between somebody's doing something to kill you versus somebody's withholding.
So I got a little frustrated here because Destiny just interjects and is like, yeah, like he's trying to clarify, and I appreciate that, but it's like, oh, there's a negative and a positive here. Like, this is kind of what I said before. Like, yeah, if someone's about to stab you and you shoot them, that's probably justified self-defense. If someone's saying, I'm withholding the thing that will save your life and you will never get it without me, it's not self-defense if you kill them. That's like, all right, you are condemning me to death. If you kidnap someone and abandon them in the desert, pretty much everyone would agree you killed them if they don't get their food, but you're withholding the ability to get them the helicopter to get out of the desert, right? Like, is this really a distinction that we need to distinct? Like, I don't think so. So it frustrates me a bit. I think because of this, I make a joke, but let's see.
Holding something to kill you as well,
Yeah.
right?
You stole it from me, but that's fine. Yeah,
Like if you were, let's say that somebody broke into your house and you're on the verge of starvation and they stole all your food. Like, could you kill that person breaking your house? You can probably kill that person even if they're breaking your car. I think that we
these
probably
are the
do that,
intuitions,
right?
by the way, behind maritime law
Yes.
that says that you get the death penalty for stealing water at sea, right?
Sure, but let's say that you're starving. Do you have the right to break into a store owner's bakery and kill them to steal their goods?
Yeah, the difference is,
so again, I don't think this is bad faith, but I don't think that's a good example, right? This isn't, hey, let's kill the person who's defending the goods that I need to survive. I think that starving people should be able to, I don't know, I don't really care if they commit a little petty theft to like get the food. I think there should be better healthcare systems. I think there should be better welfare systems to help those people so we don't have to deal with that sort of stuff. But if you're starving to death, like, yeah, maybe you could be a little justified if you had no other reason to get food. Do not go and steal. There are better options. There are food banks. There's food stamps. Thank you, M. Wolf, for subscribing. But yeah, it's like, this is not one-to-one, because I think I bring up the better one-to-one or closer analogy here.
I already paid for the bakery goods.
Exactly. You already paid for them. This isn't, I'm going in, I'm killing this guy for stealing it. It's, hey, insurer, I've been giving you my money every month for years with no ever incident happening where I needed to get the money back. And now I need it. And you're telling me no? You have all my fucking money. Give me my fucking money back. What the hell?
Owe me the bread, and they're just saying no.
Yeah,
right?
that's not happening in the United States.
No, not just.
It's not happening. Never happens. It never happens. It never happens. It never happens. No one ever gets denied. I can't believe he's saying this. I was so taken aback. I could not believe he was saying this, because it even in the most conservative interpretation, it happens at least once, right? At least one person this happens to. It never happens. Now, if you want to say this is not widespread practice, that might be true. That might be true. If this book is lying, if this book is outdated and they've changed since then, sure. And maybe all these people who have all these anecdotes, because we don't have the data, that's all we can rely on for a lot of the stuff, maybe they're just slipping through the cracks. Maybe the system needs to be looked at better. Maybe it's all just incompetence. There's tons of things that could be happening, but it never happens. Come on. Like, I know he's smarter than this. It was so frustrating. God.
Single person is denied the rightful payout.
I didn't say not a single person, but that's an
Okay, so if
exceedingly
one
rare
person,
event.
okay, maybe it is exceedingly rare. Let's assume it is. Is that one person justified in then killing the person who denied them that care?
I think that, unfortunately, I think that this situation is, there's too much obfuscation between the provider and the patient to draw a clear line.
We get so close to an interesting conversation here, and I appreciate that he's like even indulging in this. He's just going to start talking about like, oh, like, well, now it's a little more complicated system. Oh, it's a division of labor. Oh, a banality of evil. It's like, oh, fuck, what I wanted to talk about. Great.
To kill you as well,
Yeah.
right?
You stole it from me, but that's fine. Yeah,
like if you were gonna, like if you were, let's say that somebody broke into your house and you're on the verge of starvation and they stole all your food. Like, could you kill that person?
I saw
breaking
that
your
with the bow
You
tie.
gotta kill that person
Yeah.
even if they're breaking your car. I think that we
these
probably
are the
do that,
intuitions,
right?
by the way, behind maritime law
Yes.
that says that you get the death penalty.
Jiminator, don't shit on Papa. I think Papa had good faith and really tried to come at this. She was getting incredibly frustrated. Destiny was cutting her off a lot. They started yelling. It was frustrating, don't get me wrong, and you'll see I'll slip into my chair at some point, but like, I'm just mad that I had to debate this with other people because I really just wanted to talk about it.
For stealing water at sea, right?
Sure, but let's say that you're starving. Do you have the right to break into a store owner's bakery and kill them to steal their goods?
Yeah, the difference is I already paid for the bakery goods. They owe me the bread, and they're just saying no.
Yeah,
right?
that's not happening in the United States.
No, not a single person is denied the rightful payout.
I didn't say not a single person, but that's an
Okay, so if
exceedingly
one
rare
person,
event.
okay, maybe it is exceedingly rare. Let's assume it is. Is that one person justified in then killing the person who denied them that care?
I think that unfortunately, I think that this situation is there's too much obfuscation between the provider and the patient to draw a clear line there. If you did want to draw that clear line and say they could kill the person for doing it, then they would be justified morally to kill every single person up the chain of command. So you could go to the hospital.
What if the people are going to get fired if they don't do it, but the person in charge who implements these systems has the power to change it and doesn't?
Wouldn't he get fired too?
Yeah, but
getting
he could be a
fired, you don't do it.
whistleblower.
I'm sorry. Are you saying that those people are justified in saying, "Oh no, I'd lose my job if I saved this person's
Yeah, if
life"?
it's starve to
They
death
take
on the
that
street
choice?
or be homeless, yeah, they're much
no,
more
those
justified.
people are complicit too, right? If you're in a
Less
situation
complicit.
where you can save someone's life or lose your job, you should save their life, of course, right? And that person's a bad person if they don't.
Like,
But if
the
I
more-
kill
the
the
more-
person,
like,
like,
think
think
of-
about
think
it.
of-
Again, great power, great responsibility. If you have way more to lose and it's a lot harder and you're denying someone, like, yeah, it's not good, but it's like, maybe like try to whistleblow about it, get fired, but like, hey, like some of these people, this is their job. Guys, one's in the chat, if you hate Indian scam call centers, it's horrible, right? You hate these fucking people. There's movies about like doing awful things to them. But you know what? Like, locked into those jobs. I learned this from some of my Indian coworkers where it's like, you sign up for a job. It's allegedly totally normal. They're like, hey, it's just a call center. Hey, you're just, all of a sudden, oh shit, I am locked into a contract where I am stuck in this company where I have to make these scam calls and I can't leave. This is how I put food on the table. This is how I protect my family, put a roof over their head. I'm fucking stuck in this contract. I can't leave. This is awful, right? They are doing evil things by scamming old people out of their money, but they got scammed into it themselves. So it's hard for me to be like, man, I hate all these people. Like, you should punish them. It's like, a lot of these workers are not doing this complicitly. A lot of these workers are the workers that give the testimony in the book, Delayed, Denied, Defund, who say, this is not okay. This is not fair. Nevertheless, obviously, the CEO has more power to change it. He has a lot more to lose in terms of his job, but he has way more cushion of, hey, I've got this money, I've got this $1 million house, I can go out and try to change this. And if I get fired, the board says, go fuck yourself. I can still enact change and I'll be fine. I have money. So yeah, he has way more responsibility. No, the workers do have nearly as much responsibility, and they are incentivized to do this shit. Soy, how long have you been in stream for? Oh my God, how long are you on stream for? Until we get through this. I'm going to try.
Real quick, think of the moral universe you're creating. You're standing right in front of a doctor, and you're like, I'm having a
Oh,
heart
wait,
attack.
1 second. Uninformed leftist, since I know him personally, I want to read his comment too. I know you want to be charitable to Destiny. He literally says he will employ bad attacks to win when he is unresearched. Oh, he's admitted this? Oh, well, okay. Well, now I'm feeling a little less charitable. I didn't know he did that. Do I live in my mom's house? No.
Like, I'm going to die. A cardiologist is right in front of me. The guy's like, sorry, bro, but I'm
In fact, if you were paying attention, Thanastoke, you know that the only bill I owe my parents is the phone bill.
off my shift. And you go, well, you know what? Fuck you, cardiologist. I'm going to go kill this health insurer that's not paying you money to give me this treatment. Like,
Okay.
how does that make sense?
I was getting frustrated. I ignore his hypothetical. I want to listen to it in real time now.
Real quick, think of the moral universe you're creating. You're standing right in front of a doctor, and you're like, I'm having a heart attack. Like, I'm going to die. A cardiologist is right in front of me. The guy's like, sorry, bro, but I'm off my shift. And you go, well, you know what? Fuck you, cardiologist. I'm going to go kill this health insurer that's not paying you money to give me this treatment. Like, how does that make sense? You should be able to kill the doctor at that point, right?
Is he hot?
Yeah.
Wait, so, okay.
Yeah, and he gets frustrated. He's like, "Are you not engaging my hypothetical? Like, you fucking weren't the entire time. Come on, buddy." Anyway, yeah, okay. Should you be if the doctor's like, "I'm not gonna perform on you because the health insurer isn't paying you"? I think I engage in this. It's like, first of all, okay, well, no, fuck it. Let's all realism out the window. All right, would this be okay? No, probably not. I'm not justifying the murder ever, but this is so separated. Like, this other guy isn't paying the doctor. Like, so somehow you should go kill the guy who told the guy not to help you. Like, I mean, actually, now that I think about it a little more, like, you could justify that in certain ways, but the point is, it's like pretty absurd. It's kind of hard to think about. Like, what's really happening is, if you don't have insurance and you are denied care, if you go to the hospital, they'll probably treat you. If you're bleeding out, if you're doing XYZ. If it's an immediate thing, if you have a gunshot wound, if some like they're going to treat you, you're going to have all this medical debt, you're going to be bankrupt, but they will treat you, okay? But what won't happen is if you need cancer pills, right? You can't go into the ER and be like, I need my cancer pills. You can't go in and say, hey, give me my MRI to make sure I'm not bleeding in my brain, right? They're not going to do that. And so they are denying you that care. And that's why people are frustrated with the insurers, because my chat is frozen on stream. Let's see, when's the last thing that came up? Interesting. Thank you for letting me know. Let's see if I... There we go. Not anymore, baby. Thank you, guys. Guys, every time there's a technical issue, please tell me as fast as possible. I can't believe a bunch of you just didn't hear my intro. Oh, no. Is it still not updating? Okay, it's updating. We're good. We're good. Thank you, R. Yeah, it's like the long-term care that people need to save their lives. Say it's chemotherapy that would save them in the next month. Say it's pills, etc. That is being denied because the doctor will not, like, it's not like this, oh, I'm evil, sorry, it's out of my hands. It is, but it's not like, oh, if I just hand you this one pill, everything's good. It's long, prolonged things like, hey, a bunch of pills every week. It's, hey, this incredibly invasive procedure where I have to put you into this machine to analyze whether or not I have to do A, B, or C to you. Like, it is a little more obfuscated than that. So in this specific scenario, you're having a heart attack and the doctor says no, like, you could maybe justify, like, yeah, what the fuck? This guy is killing me. He's saying, don't save that guy. You're killing me. You're telling him not to save me. You're depriving me of life. And it's not like it costs you anything to fucking save me from a heart attack.
Well, no, actually, I want to
That's the real
that, though.
question.
Okay, go ahead.
I was just wondering if somebody
Smoke, I said I would less charitable if what uninformed leftist said is true. If he says, I do bad faith to win, and that's what he's doing here, like on purpose, then it's like, okay, like I'm trying to assume the best, but if he's actually doing this on purpose just because he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, fuck you, dude. I tried to read and be informed to be like, oh shit, this really big guy's going to talk to me. I'm so excited. I want to make sure I have a good showing, and you're just going to derail all the research I did because you didn't fucking do it. Like, what's the opposite of like, a teacher, you didn't give us homework? It's like, teacher, I didn't do the homework. Can we just like have it not count when I slaved away for a week to fucking do it? Fuck off. It's fucking rude as shit.
I do want people to answer Destiny's question, though. I'll let you go, but I want to gauge with that point, right? Destiny made a point here. Like, do you have the right, a doctor, right, a cardiologist, someone...
Yeah, so like in that specific answer, just shooting people in the back of the head while they try to escape, blow and say, hey, this is not okay.
How do you square that away with executing Nazi prison guards, then?
How do I swear?
Another good faith thing, I admit that I have a hypocritical take here. I was like, oh, should we execute the Nazi or should we not? Like, it depends on the situation.
Well, because Nazis, it's not just, it's literally worse with Nazi prison guards. They would get killed if they would try to defect, right?
Yeah, but I thought you said that they should have been held fully responsible for what they did. Or maybe that wasn't your claim.
Okay, I see. I say if they were actually engaged in those acts, if they had no other recourse. It's a lot harder to say, like, hey, like, did you have an opportunity to, like, when you were on a march to go run off? Or,
Hold
like,
on, just to be clear, a citizen living in Nazi Germany probably had a lot less recourse than a person that works in health insurance billing or something, right? Or
yeah, sure. Again, it depends on if they're directly involved in, like, hey, I was shooting people in the back of the head while they tried to escape. Like, it's a little harder, it's a little more ambiguous, and I'd have to read up on the actual circumstances. There's a bunch of books I haven't gotten to, so. But I can see the inconsistency. To be fair, I'm
actually curious if somebody, for example,
I'm like, look, I see what you're saying. That wasn't consistent of me. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like, it's a little different. I guess to clarify, it's like, yeah, if a Nazi guard is like specifically had the opportunity to do something else and didn't, yeah, maybe you should be punished. If it's like there are cases where these Nazis were doing bad stuff and they're like, look, maybe you didn't really have a choice here. We're not going to hang you like what they did for a lot of people. And we hired them and they went on to do NASA stuff and it was actually pretty good. So like sometimes people can reform and do better things. It's crazy.
Example was having an acute mental event, and they went out and committed a violent crime, and they had some sort of proposed reasoning behind it, but
Killing Hope's going on the reading list. Thank you, Captain Bucket.
Ultimately it was an acute mental event after a period of time of
again, gonna skip past people that are not me. No offense to them. Sorry.
Did something that we would ordinarily kill someone for, that this person we might want to give them alternative.
Once again, fifth time, sixth time, Bunn's trying to bring it back.
Life in prison or some sort of mental health accommodation. I'm sure. Yeah, but that's a thing that would have to be positively defended.
Here's a question
Destiny, I would love to know your. I would really quick. I would just love to know, Destiny, your position on the death penalty.
I'm like 51-49 in favor of it. I can understand committing a class of crimes or somebody does something so horrible.
Denial then.
Hallmark movie in the making.
I mean, even on the street would have been interesting if people were
Certainly
actually
not.
involved
But there's,
in
but
the
when we
denial
talk
of
about justification, I'm not hearing it. I'm not hearing a justification of why it's okay that Luigi went out, got a gun, shot a man.
Wait, how many people, just as a quick sanity check, I'm sorry, because I don't even know what our positions are right now in this debate. How many people in here think that it was like morally acceptable to whack the CEO dude?
No.
Okay, so now I thought that.
So I raise my hand here as in morally acceptable, as in because I don't know if there's an alternative, right? This isn't me saying this is justified, right? I'm not saying this is good. I'm not condoning it. What I'm saying here is, because this is weird, I wish I shouldn't have raised my hand, because it's like, okay, the way the question is asked is now dictating my answer. But what I'm saying is, like I said a million times, if you are being killed by the healthcare system, and I do think that is what this is when they deny you the care that would otherwise save your life and you have no other recourse, you're being killed. Someone is killing you. Someone is making that decision for you. Do you get the opportunity to fight back? If the answer is no, like, I just think that's so cruel to say to those people. Like, what else are they supposed to fucking do? I guess the answer, as we get to this, is you should die. So I think there's some moral way you could flex this as like, yeah, maybe they have some justification there. I don't think it's good. I don't think we should do it. I think we should advocate for change. But it's just like, fuck, like, what the fuck? Like, are they supposed to do?
This was like 3 on one side and 2 on the other, but not like we're 1 on. Okay.
Well, that's why earlier when we brought up the question of justification, I said that I felt differently. That's why I kind of like did a little because I think there is some justification for it, because I think a part of it is
do something is do get to be
any numbers. Like the vibe on the other side is that
I think it was I was just
okay.
Right. I was just explaining to you that we're exposed in a agencies.
Okay, so I got Papa to read the book. Okay, Papa was also someone who tried to do homework. Thank God for her. Okay, she's going to bring up a bunch more stuff with car insurance, which is the meme from this whole debate of like, oh, car insurance isn't the same as health insurance. What, I don't know why the fuck we get stuck on that, because car insurance can provide health for you, and they can also not provide health for you, and they can cause you irreparable damage by denying you health care. That's fucked up, okay? So that's the whole point. We don't have to get into the weeds about which one's regulated more or how they work differently. It's very, very to the point. These guys are going to get in a fucking argument and talk past each other for 8 years. What I just said is the whole explanation. I'll explain it again, but I cannot believe this took so fucking long. Soy, did you get my Gigabrain Jew humor? I missed the Jew joke. What was it? I'm so sorry. The debate is about the morality of the CEO shooting. Yes, I hate New York. I hate it. What a name. Killing Hope is a 400-page font book. Oh, all right. If having recourse to the point, Luigi didn't feel like there was a recourse. It made sense to... Luigi had recourse. Luigi had money. Luigi could have done other things. Luigi did not need to go out and do this. Luigi made himself into a martyr by doing this. He's like, I'm acting on behalf of all the people who do not have recourse. Now, you can argue about the morality of that. We don't do that here. I don't know whether or not I think that's okay, but that's a whole different story, because this is not personal for him, right? He had back pain. Sure, he saw that, but he read the book and he's like, how can I be the hero, right? It's not about, oh, this will fix my back pain. Oh, like this guy specifically wronged me. I don't even know. Someone saved this in the chat. I should have actually looked this up. He wasn't even insured by United Health, right? They just happen to be the biggest insurer. They just happen to have the highest denials.
Should
thank you, R. I tried to put my real opinion in the edited video essay that I typed out ahead of time.
To paying out claims. And this
so after the release of these documents, was any company prosecuted for...
Thanos stuck. The joke was Nazis can't work on unfinished spaceships because it reminds them too much of Jews. What does that mean? Like Jews are aliens?
No, they weren't. It was crazy.
Were there any investigations in any of these companies?
Yeah, there were, and they found them not to be like criminally liable. In fact, every time this happens, the same with the Andrew Cuomo case in 2009, where they say, hey, you are not calculating reasonable and customary fees with your systems. You are defrauding customers. It's like exact words, no criminal charges. No criminal charges ever come of this. And that's my whole point of, if these people are never going to be criminally charged for the actions of denying people rightful care, which,
wait,
again,
so how do you,
just for the sake of hypothetical, just
why is it in your mind? Wait, no, we can't just assume it's happening, because obviously that's the entire argument.
Well,
why are you assuming...
You can't just assume it's happening. I just brought up a case where the Attorney General, was he Attorney General? I can't remember off the top of my head what Andrew Cuomo was like, you are defrauding customers. This is happening. 2009, you are being malicious in these acts. We have determined that through the legal system. It's happening.
More interesting.
Why are you assuming that, well, it's not more interesting, it's boring, because we all agree past that point. I think all of us here agree. Well,
I don't think.
Apparently we do all agree, and this is what we get to. Destiny and I agree, if this is happening, that it might be somewhat justified, which is like, oh, holy shit. Like, could we talk about that then? Because I don't think some of these people would agree with that. I don't think the professor agrees with that. And maybe we could team up. Now you're the Vegeta on my Goku side, and let's beat the shit out of Majin Buu, or whatever the fuck arc we're in.
Like I could get you, Christopher. If the companies were literally like maliciously denying claims just to watch people die for the lulz and money, right? You have a very strong argument for engaging in
just the money, not the lulz. But if that's true, I think I can convert you.
You have some argument there, possibly. But why would you assume that if they weren't able to actually convict anybody, why would you assume that it was all? What is the implication, that the government was being corrupt and not investigating?
The implication is that people view the status quo of denying people using a system. It's not directly killing someone. It's not directly robbing someone. I'm just using a computer. The computer has the segmented way of processing claims, and that way is not giving people what they rightfully owe. Hey, you guys.
What do you mean? You just begged away all the.
He gets really hung up on rightfully owe. This is said over and over and over and over again in the book, and it's just so obvious. I don't know if he's like purposely misinterpreting me, but it's just, look, adjusters have a average, or they look at these cases and it says, hey, this is what happens, okay? There's this range that we usually pay out. Sometimes you have a more severe injury and we can prove that, and if you do, we'll give you more money. Sometimes it's not as provable, but you probably still have it. We'll give you a little less money. And, you know, in the middle of that average, or in that whole spectrum, that is what you are rightfully owed. So if you get whiplash, I think, you know, they might pay out a couple thousand, right? They're not going to give you 100,000 for a whiplash claim. They will when they settle it, after you fuck with them, look that they denied you unjustly, and you go through that whole litigation. It turns out they were full of shit. Yeah, you'll get 100,000, but for the most part, you get rightfully in a couple thousand for what that treatment cost, right? That's what it means. But he gets hung up on this for some reason.
What they rightfully owe. So that would be, I would imagine that would be at the very least tort, at the very least you've got a contract violation.
Well, no, it's what's prop. No.
Oh, this felt so good. He brought up tort and he said it's a contract violation. Huh, sorry, Destiny, I did my homework. That's not what tort is. Tort is everything except contracts. And it's like, if you're going to fucking nitpick the shit out of me, I'm going to be smug about it.
It's not directly robbing someone. I'm just using a computer. The computer has this segmented way of processing claims, and that way is not giving people what they rightfully owe. Hey, you guys.
What do you mean? You just begged away all the what they rightfully owe. So that would be, I would imagine that would be at the very least tort. At the very least, you've got contract violation.
It's what's prompt. No, first of all, tort is everything except contract violation. Second of all, if you're giving, you're promising this is what we're going to pay out if you give us this money, and you don't do that when it's rightfully owed. If there's all these cases coming out, where
I can't tell. Is he mad there because I corrected him? I don't know.
Saying, hey, here's all the documents you requested, give me the money, and they say no because they know if they delay that, they can get you to either give up or grind you into the ground. Like,
so is there a single civil case that somebody is like demonstrating that?
Is there a single case where this happens? Yeah, there's a whole fucking book full of them. I'll keep bringing them up, but holy shit, dude. If you just read that book, we wouldn't get hung up on this. We would be able to talk about the substantive conversation, but instead we're talking about whether or not this ever happens. So yeah, if every single fucking case in this book is a lie, then yeah, I guess I'm shit out of luck on examples.
This or like class action lawsuits?
Yeah, there's a bunch. And if you read the book by the guy who wrote the fucking manifesto, you know all of them. You didn't. And I know you like to shit on people who don't do research before, but I know you didn't read that book.
No, that's right. I haven't read every single book on this.
I'm not saying you have to. But every single time I bring up a single fact, you're like, oh, you have a source.
Hold on. We gotta go one at a time. Screaming at each other won't work. Finish your point. Soy.
This is like the time I really get heated because it's like he's literally just trying to pick apart my entire fucking time. Was Destiny given the book ahead of time? It was in the manifesto. He quotes it. You think that on a fucking discussion panel about whether or not he was justified, you would read what actually caused him to even think that... Why did he think it was justified? Why the fuck did he get so mad about this? Was he just fucking reading random newspapers and he saw Brian Thompson's name? No, he read a book that laid out just how fucked this whole situation is, and he said, this is terrible, we should do something about it. Now, maybe he didn't finish the book. Maybe he didn't read chapters 11 and 12, which describe what he could do personally and how we can slowly regulate within the system. Maybe he skipped those parts, because I can tell you, I've read the whole thing. Actually, that's not true. I skipped the hurricane and home insurance chapters for the sake of time, which is still way more than Destiny read, but... You know, maybe there's at the very end, I'm pretty sure no one ever says, go out and kill people, go out and do violence. They say, this is how we reform within the system. It lays it out pretty fucking well. So at least, for the love of God, read the source that radicalized the guy so you can understand.
Then Destiny gets to respond uninterrupted. Go ahead.
Let him go.
If you've read a book and the only thing you can say is you needed to read the book, then you didn't understand the book and you shouldn't waste your time reading it.
That's not the only thing I'm saying. I get why he's saying this. Might be like, maybe it's bad faith, but I see people do this to him. They're like, you just need to read theory, Destiny. Have you read the Communist Manifesto? Have you read the book? But it's like, okay, yeah, that's not helpful. You should be able to explain it to me. But that's what I have been trying to do this entire conversation. I'm bringing up examples from the book. I'm bringing up examples from extra reading from the Senate report. And you're just going, no. It's like, okay, but like, no, why? Because it's wrong, because it's a lie. Like, apparently you think it's a lie, but like, tell me why. I need to know why this is true. Isn't true. Maybe it's not true. Maybe it's not. But you don't know because you didn't read it, and it's incredibly frustrating that you are just denying it because you don't know.
It's not the only thing I'm saying. I'm bringing up the cases.
If you're gonna let Destiny go, you gotta let Destiny go.
Yeah, so saying that I read the book, you need to read the book over and over again means that you shouldn't have wasted your time reading the book. Number one. Number two, if you did read the book and you did actually assimilate some reasonable information from it, it sure would be nice if you could bring up a single thing impacting health insurance.
And I'll do it.
You should bring up a single thing. Yeah, that's what I've been doing this whole conversation. You don't accept those things. Maybe it's fair. Maybe it's not true. But I'm bringing them up. I'm not just saying, read the book. So that was very frustrating. This pissed me off.
ACA world. And if you're deciding this McKinsey League over and over again, which is consultations to non-health insurance related companies in a pre-ACA world, what the fuck is even the carryover to the health insurance?
So ignoring all the other cases I brought up, ignoring the Senate thing that came out 2 months ago, ignoring all of this, like, I'll keep bringing up sources. I'll keep bringing up what I read in the book. I'll keep like trying to like scroll through my 14 pages of documents, but then you just keep denying that. It's like, oh, well, I still don't think it's happening. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like,
why not give me why not, instead of just naming and blurting out a bunch of random shit that's not applicable, give me the...
Not applicable? The 2009 case isn't applicable, where we found that they were being malicious in these cases, that it was defrauding customers. The Senate report that says this is causing demonstrable harm. I go and I find the quote too, just because I'm like, oh God, are you going to make me read the quote where they say this is harm? Like, this is the thing. It's like, oh, I can't prove someone's a racist. Well, it's like, why? Because they didn't say, I hate all minorities, right? No, they said, someone's going to clip that. Fucking, I think Coolsville sucks moment. It's coming out and saying like, look, I can't prove that this CEO is saying we should defraud all of our customers, which, by the way, I think there might be some quotes out there where they literally do that. But given this evidence, given the investigations, they're saying, look, this is fraud. They are defrauding you, and we're not going to punish them because of XYZ reason, but it's fraud, and it's harm, and it's not necessary. At the very least, it's just incompetence, but they know it's not working, and they are still, knowing it's not working, letting people suffer. That's bad. Let's do something about it.
Strongest thing, and we can start there. That's what people know later. Give the strongest thing.
What is the strongest thing that you need to see that would prove and change your mind?
We're
And
talking
this
about
is
like
me,
arbitrarily
again,
denying.
good faith, all right? What do you need to see? Let me just take the one thing that would change your mind. And if we have this conversation again, I'm asking him again to lay this out. Please tell me, what can I do to change your mind? Because like he said, we might agree once we get to that point, if I can show that this is being done in a bad faith manner to defraud customers. So I need to find, I'm going to do even more research. Maybe he'll do some, but I'm going to do even more and see what is the like quote, what is the one stat, what is the graph, the flowchart I can make that says, look, this has to be fraud. This has to be defrauding customers, and also they're not being punished. Okay, now let's talk about what can the people who are dying today do about it.
Things for unjustifiable reason, unjustifiable cause.
So what is not being shown that is the case in the Senate report?
The Senate report, one, it's not even showing that. It's just showing that there's an increase of denials, and it's only talking about outpatient care related to Medicare Advantage patients. That's only one sector of what's even being talked about.
I'm not saying it.
Number two,
so, would it have to be widespread? Would it have to be everything?
No, it wouldn't necessarily have. You could show me that. But number two, I don't think in that Senate report, but from what
so number one doesn't matter. You're saying it's only this one sector. Okay.
Just read, it doesn't even seem like they're alleging anything actually wrong happening, but they found
criminal. Yeah, that's the fucking point.
They're not alleging that anything wrong happened. Yeah, nothing illegal, but they're saying this is causing direct harm to patients that doesn't need to happen. They're denying critical care to people that need it. It's expensive. That's why they're denying it, but they're denying critical care. Go read that Senate report. Just read the conclusion, the abstract. They say this. It's like, this is causing harm. They're denying critical care. They know that these AI systems are saving them billions of dollars with these denials. Now, whether or not they are like, good, let's implement them to save the money, fuck the people we're denying, or if they're just like, whoopsie daisy, we did this to be more efficient, looks like it's helping us, but oh, maybe we're just incompetent. Like, maybe it's true, but it really doesn't seem to be the case. What I do know is the official conclusion is you guys have to do better, which is bullshit. You can't punish these people. You can't say, here's the actual substantive fine. You can't say, hey, you're going to jail for maliciously denying people care. Guess not.
They don't
They're
think
just
it's
saying
criminal.
so then wait, so the issue is just that denials have gone up for some reason, okay? Of which who
Not
knows?
for some reason for the system that
the
is
system. No.
arbitrarily denying things on things that when
Where in the Senate
by
report?
adjusters they say this
Hold
is
on, maybe I can help.
Wait, where in that Senate report? Just show me. Then tell me which page. It was like 50 pages. Okay, I read about 25 of them, and then I scanned the rest. Where in that report does it say they're arbitrarily or unfair?
Oh, where does it say the word arbitrarily? I controlled F and I couldn't find it. Well, it's not. I used that word, right? If it's increasing by 16 times, do you think every single one of those is fair? Okay, maybe, I guess. All right, well, the Senate report says this is causing harm. It should not be happening this way. So at the very least, the government who investigated this said this is not right. Something is wrong in the report that you didn't read, and you couldn't find that sentence because you just wanted to be right. That's so frustrating.
Or unjustly or in violation of their agreements, denying people insurance claims. Where's that?
Yeah, it says at the very bottom, there's a role for the free market to improve the delivery of healthcare to America's seniors, but there is nothing inevitable about the harms done by the current arrangement. Insurers can and must do better. Yeah, thanks, Senate, for the sake of the American healthcare system and the patients the government entrusts to them.
Okay, I'm going to ask that question again. What part of this report says that they're arbitrarily rejecting or denying claims?
What do you need to see? Do you need to see that it's...
Oh, yeah, I roll my eyes. Yeah, the word arbitrary, is that really what we're nitpicking here? Like, did you not acknowledge that the Senate found there was harm? Like, how is this happening? This is the bad faith that really just pissed me off. This is why I was up till like 2 in the morning, just like on adrenaline, like, seriously? I can't believe you did that. Come on, man.
It's not supposed to be the rate that it's at. Do you need to see what the word harm is?
No, not harm. What do you mean? Cars harm people by output. That doesn't mean that you're doing
okay. And denying people medical care harms them, and this is denying more people medical care. The Senate says this is wrong. They say they need to change, and they're not doing criminal charges.
No. It sounds like they didn't even find any wrong behavior. It just sounds
what is wrong behavior?
Something that's unethical or illegal or in violation.
They say it is unethical. They said right there, this is unethical.
Can harm result from legal behavior? Can harm result from legal behavior?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Are you saying that to Destiny?
No, the conclusion of the report that you
I
read.
thought he was helping me out. It's like, can harm could come from legal behavior? Yeah. Yes. That's what the whole argument is, that this stuff is legal, they get away with it, and it's causing harm.
It's like, yeah, look, we can do things to rectify
That's just my whole argument. The status quo is that denying people claims that may end up killing them is not viewed as that bad in our current system. That's the reason you guys are making the arguments you're saying.
You're talking, you keep sneaking all this bullshit in, which leads me to think you know that you're full of shit right now.
Sneaking bullshit in. I know I'm full of shit. It's like, look, again, at worst, I'm misinformed. Come on, I'm really trying to fucking help you out here.
Nobody is saying every single denial is not necessarily bad or unjustified. But you keep sneaking in. Also, why do you keep saying ethical? There's no thing on that in that conclusion for that report about ethics.
Sorry, guys, oops. I didn't quote it correctly. They didn't say ethical. They just said you are causing harm. Now, causing harm might not be unethical. Causing harm might just be okay, I guess. Like, yeah, of course they fucking are saying it's unethical what they're doing. Like, what other interpretation? Unless there's some legal standard of ethical that means, ethical means you are intentionally doing it. If that's the case, maybe they're not intentionally doing it. I don't fucking know. Although the report does say they know that it really isn't about administrative costs, but fuck.
You're adding that word. They didn't say that they're acting unethically.
By the way, the reason I am in this, I Hate New York, is just because I reached out to someone, and this is why I'm saying, like, I'm not above anyone here. Everyone can do this. If you think you have the chance, just reach out to them. Like, these people are smaller than me. Somehow I have more subscribers than Whick, who is hosting these amazing people. Like, go give him some love. Go subscribe to him. Go check out this guy's Papers, Please medical game. Like, everyone has this potential. Not everyone can. People might be too nervous, but, like, you can all do this. Just reach out. Try to make connections. It took me 5 years of putting out bullshit, and now I'm getting some love, and I love you guys for it. But, like, it's a luck game. So
okay, wait. There are harms done by the current system. Maybe it's not unethical, but the point
does that make that system unethical? If a system does harm, right, does that necessarily make the system unethical?
Well, it'd be more about the fact that I think what Destiny would want to say is that are the people who are implementing the system actively doing
Watch me literally try to steel man him here. Jesus Christ.
In knowing that it is doing bad things and not caring. I would say they are, but I think that's what Destiny would want to say.
Wait, just last point. Last point, because you keep bringing up this report, and then you can do this, okay? You keep bringing up this report. What did the report even suggest?
Do better.
Who?
The people that are implementing the system. So United Healthcare, CVS,
okay.
And
So, no, you're wrong. Although the subcommittee's recommendations in this report are targeted at regulators. The whole point is to change the law because this is a heavily regulated insurance industry. That's why I keep getting mad when you guys are coming with car insurance examples. The whole point is health insurance. This is why you can't sue these companies, because it's so regulated. They don't want to be getting sued for things that they have to do in accordance with rules set by the federal government because of laws passed by Congress.
Why do they have to implement computer systems that deny people? That's not something
because they're trying to save money because healthcare is expensive. They have to because healthcare is expensive.
So if the only way they can operate is by doing this, in the same way that I would say that if you can only...
Oh my god, I love how Destiny's chat is blowing up at me. Oh no, he didn't read the report. You're right, I did not read every word on this report, but as if like he just like found something that he feels like he can got me on. Like, oh, actually, did you not read the part where they also recommended that regulation change? Which, to be fair, I should have read. But like, yeah, like we should change the regulations so that this is more illegal. It's not illegal, but it should be. Is that really a gotcha for me? I don't think so. I think that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, yeah, this needs better regulation, but also these people are getting away with it because it's not regulated enough. Even though, oh, by the way, this is the most regulated industry in the whole United States.
Afford to have your company by paying people less than minimum wage, then you shouldn't exist, and the government just doesn't do it.
Yeah,
like,
the government denies people too.
Yeah, they do, but not at
the government denies people too, guys. It's okay if you deny just 16 times the rate you used to if you're whatever, CVS or United Health or whichever one of those three companies did it. But well, why should we make things better if with a better version we'll still have people fall through the cracks? Like, I know he doesn't think that. That's got to be bad faith.
The same rates.
You don't even know the rates. You just said it's not publicly available information. So why would you even say that?
I can at least compare in general to what they're doing in other countries. Sorry, wait.
I do want to make sure more people get in. Eucharist's been trying to get in. Buckaroo's been trying to get in, and Ash wants in. So we're gonna go in that order: Eucharist, Buckaroo, Ash. Go.
I just don't understand the standard by which you're measuring whether or not they are doing something worthy of giving the Luigi treatment to the CEO, right? So
once again, 6th time, 7th time, trying to bring it back. We're never getting there.
Let me finish. Hold on. You're reading a report that says, hey, we could probably do something.
So uninformed leftist. 2 weeks ago, Destiny said that he was behind in the subject matter. He will just ask questions of poke and prod. So if I had just watched him, I would have known he would have done this. I could have saved myself hours of I still would have read it, but holy shit. Yes, I am watching Destiny stream, Captain Bucket. I don't know if I'd go on Lex. I don't even know anything about him. It's not the political language that matters. It's the facilitation of guests. They basically just platform someone popular with little pushback. Yeah, Lex and Joe Rogan do that for sure. Luigi treatment.
Something to minimize the harm done, right? Fair enough, right? But it seems like what you're suggesting is they should minimize all harm, right?
No.
I'm perplexed, right? Because when I buy insurance from a company, I'm entering into a contract. and paying them a certain amount of money for a certain amount of time that's going to cover a certain amount of services in the event of certain conditions, right? And they're suggesting, or they're arguing, that when they deny my claim for certain coverage, that there are good reasons for doing that. Now, I think we could probably all agree there are circumstances where an insurance company could deny coverage. It would result in harm, but they are doing that with.
Oh my God! Wait, you sent me the link. Hold on. No, we have to watch this. Where did you send? You send it on Discord, Uninformed Leftist. Let's take a look at this motherfucker. Oh, this is from the Adam Friedland thing? Guys, we're opening this up.
Okay.
Like, because he's just got like a fucking to his knee.
Okay, wait. Before I watch this, Uninformed Leftist, to be fair, this is like this whole fucking interview is pretty much a joke, right? Like, I'm pretty sure they're just fucking with each other. I've watched most of this.
A Korean spa this weekend with my girlfriend.
Wait, hold on. Did I even open it to the right timestamp Uninformed Leftist? Is this completely wrong? 15:20. Okay, thank you. It went to where I was watching it. Thank you. I'm glad I tabbed back out.
Like, the only reason I'm arguing a thing is because I feel strongly about it. I'm usually pretty good at understanding if I'm like really far behind in subject matter. So if there's a debate where I realize like, ooh, I'm like, I can't do this, generally I just like ask questions. I just kind of like poke and prod. So I've had a couple where...
Has someone changed your mind ever?
It's less
okay, maybe that's as bad as you say it is, and that looks like he's doing it here. But also, like, you know, I've seen him just ask questions to be like, okay, I don't understand. There was one that was like a Middle East debate where he just had no idea what the fuck he's talking about. And he's just like, okay, well, what about this? What about that? Like, is that true? Like, it seemed like a good faith trying to understand better. That's not what he's doing here.
Within the limits of the contract they've made with the customer. Is that true?
100%. That happens probably more often than an unjust one.
So the report that you're reading does not in any way tell me that they're doing something criminal, that I could sue them under, that they're being prosecuted for?
Okay. They're not going to get prosecuted. Okay, I agree.
Wait, they're not doing anything criminal?
This is where like a professor, like, were you just not listening? Because it's like, yeah, I'm saying it's not criminal. It's Destiny even said like they want to make this criminal, but it's not happening. Like, this is, yeah, Destiny's tilted because he doesn't know, we didn't do the homework, and he's like, fuck, this guy like read up. I thought this would be way easier. Like, maybe it was easy for him to just say no to everything. It was super fucking frustrating.
I don't think they're breaking.
Why are people spamming Lemmy winks in Destiny's chat?
Two more things. What you all were alleging earlier was a strong amount of fraud, actual like I could bring a lawsuit against you, or you could be prosecuted by the federal government for
Jake and Bake, yeah, he does pull punches with ultra conservatives, but the reason he does that is because they'll write him off immediately and he'll miss out on the conversation. So like that's what he tried to do with Ben Shapiro, Michael Knowles, and he says he regrets that, and I regret it too. The only reason I pulled my punches because I'm like, you are like way out of my depth in terms of fame. I'm out of my depth here. Like, I'm gonna try to stay on your show and hope I can clout farm this a little bit and have an interesting conversation. But yeah, if I have a big platform and I'm going on Ben Shapiro, I'm going no holds barred on him because he's gonna try to do the same. Super bad faith.
Violating federal regulations governing healthcare insurance fraud. If you're saying they're not violating statutes, then I don't know what we're talking about anymore, and I don't know how you could possibly.
That's like, oh yeah, but I'm saying they're not violating statutes because the statutes don't exist, because it's not illegal to deny a bunch of people healthcare because of your stupid computer system.
Justify the thing that this debate is about.
Can something cause harm and be legal? Yes, right?
There's something called the Fort.
Sorry,
say it one more time.
Well, you brought up. You said, can something be legal and cause harm?
No. I said.
Thank you.
Could we be working within the insurance system? Could we look at the contract I made with my insurance company? Could they deny my coverage? Could that denial be valid under that contract and cause harm? And we all agree.
Well, that too. But could you also agree that there are things that people do that you would probably disagree with that are not breaking a law?
Yes.
That's what I'm arguing.
Okay.
Right. Not. I just don't even know where to go from here. I feel like we've run into so many dead ends that I just don't even know how you're justifying.
And again, no shame to Eucharist here. He tried to concede this at the very beginning and move on to the more interesting conversation. We keep getting stuck on this. I felt really bad. Love the guy. He's a really cool guy.
And the thing we're arguing about, right? If you've got the point where saying no law was broken, no, there's no action I could bring against this company to resolve the harm that they've done.
Well, then what? Exactly. There's no action.
This is a policy question.
This is so weird to me. I'm like, you're explaining my argument to me. Yes.
Right, exactly.
Which is like why I apologize again. Like, was I just like, you guys would all say like, oh, you did a great job. Thank you. I appreciate that. But like, I felt like I didn't explain something correctly, because if you're at this point now trying to like literally word for word say, well, what that would mean this, and then explain my argument to me, it's like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, maybe it's absurd, but like, I thought I was explaining that correctly.
When does that policy happen? Does it happen a year from now? Does it happen 4 years? What do you tell the person right now that might die because of their denial of coverage if they can't do something to immediately change the situation? That's what I'm asking. That's my whole question.
What do I tell someone who's suffering from a rare kind of cancer from some chemical dump outside their school from decades ago? What do I tell them? I tell them
Destiny gets Soylent based.
Hey,
one's in the chat for soy.
There's laws, and we're processing it, and we're going through the process.
Yeah, so essentially,
you can't just go out and kill them. You can't just go out and kill people because of it.
I don't think you should, but what else do you tell them?
But that's the whole debate. That's the point.
A part of what I do think is
Fuck her. Go ahead.
Part of what I do think is worth criticism is the way the policies are developed in the first place. And I agree, Eucharist. I can hear you saying now that you just want more
Now this might be the moment where I just lose my shit because they start talking over each other. Let's see.
Transparency from insurance to something specific. But they will use
this is the moment where Buckaroo's going to bring up all the stuff from the book about all these shitty policies, third-party insurance. Some of it, I think she might get like a little off. Like maybe she doesn't have a full understanding. That's fine. You can call her out for that, whatever. But the whole point is that these shitty policies that come from the auto insurance industry, some of them have been applied in the healthcare industry. It's a little harder. It is more regulated. But first of all, that auto insurance can deny you of your healthcare payment if it's for injuries sustained in those accidents. And the healthcare industry uses some shitty practices. So the only point of bringing this up is that the insurance companies do shitty things to deny people of care. That is it. 30-second conversation, then let's move to the next point. Let's see how long it goes.
I honestly disagree. I think this happens all the time.
Can you give us
exactly why there's a bureau probably feels differently about whether or not it's elective, because there's a specific insurance packages and from a good faith known by signing up for these policies in the first place that has different insurance agency. Argument to me about why I see.
All right, here we go.
Just wanted to
Here's where I
say,
lose my
hey,
shit.
in an ideal world, what regulations would be passed for separate issues, health and car insurance, to make them better? It would be a different conversation. And that's part of why I'm agreeing with you on the data transparency issue, right? Where I want to know why and how these insurance companies are making these denials, right? The question that we came in.
Okay, Killer B, I'm not entirely sure about this. What do you tell them argument either? What do you suggest we tell them these grievances against the system who see no? I don't know. I don't know what you tell them, because I don't feel justified saying, yeah, go out and commit violence. I don't want people to go out and commit violence. I don't want the world to live that way. But if I am putting myself empathetically into the shoes of someone who is they themselves being killed or their loved one being killed by someone who is implementing this decision and saying, tough shit, die, like that doesn't sit right with me. I'm like, there's got to be something better to tell them. Or like, I feel like, you know, this is weird. It's like hands off, where it's like, okay, like, I don't agree that you do this. I don't want to live in the world you do this, but like, what the fuck else was I supposed to say? Because like, yeah, you didn't have a lot of other options, but I don't want to say you didn't have other options. I'm open to the other options. I'm trying to find the other options. One of the things I said was like, yeah, what if we somehow were like, had these giant like protests that were like very, very, very eye catching? What if we had these, like, no, don't kidnap anyone, but like, what if we somehow were able to display all of the harm being caused by these CEOs to the CEOs in ways that potentially could convert them? I'm sure there's got to be something, but I don't know realistically what you do. I haven't thought this out, and I was hoping the people that are saying this is not allowed would have a stronger thing to give me. That's the whole point I'm saying. I'm not saying they have nothing else.
Here to debate is when and how these denials justify gunning someone down on the street.
Well,
and
no,
so,
it's
like,
important. You have to know if they're justified or not, because that's at the end of the day, that's.
This is it. This is the moment where I'm just like, come on, dude. Like, this guy's trying to bring it into the ethical argument, and you're like, nope, let's talk about the insurance. It's like, do we get to talk about whether or not it's justified? You yourself, Destiny himself, has said so many bite the bullet moments where he's like, look, if all of the January 6th stuff was true, you might have an argument there. If someone is being denied the right to vote, you might have an argument there. So you know he can have this argument, and he just doesn't. He can't. He's like, nope. You have to prove this to me. If you can't prove this to me, you can't have it the part of the conversation. This pissed me off so much, I wanted to die in my chair.
Separate issues, health and car insurance, to make them better, it would be a different conversation. And that's part of why I'm agreeing with you on the data transparency issue, right? Where I want to know why and how these insurance companies are making these denials, right? The question that we came in here to debate is when and how these denials justify gunning someone down on the street.
Well, no, it's important. You have to know if they're justified or not, because that's at the end of the day, that's really the only thing that matters. And nobody knows about anything how insurance works or whatever, which is why she thinks that the health insurance.
Which is why you don't seem to understand exactly where these claims go in the first place. This is why you don't understand the ACA regulated. You have no idea what you're talking about. You're clueless. You're clueless. Oh, do you think car insurance companies are regulated under the ACA the same way the health insurance companies are? No.
Do you think that obviously she doesn't think? Here we go. This is where I'm just like, please let me just explain this. Let's move past this. And I sink into my chair. Also, YouTube hates free speech. I know who you are. I know where you live. I know your family. And I love them all very much. But I don't see what you said, so say it again, please.
No, you get a Medicare extension or a Medicare Plus
why
plan,
you are explaining my argument to me about why I see an issue with claimants and their relationship with the insurer in the first place, because it goes to car insurance agencies first.
By the way, yelling, she is justified here. This is so fucking stupid. He's like accusing her of something she obviously doesn't believe. He's talking past her. Like, I would also get frustrated. I'm just not the one talking, so I'm trying to get in through the moderator way, sinking into my chair. Whick sees me. He's trying to get me in.
That are owned by the same company?
Hold on. When I say Destiny, go ahead, I mean Destiny, go ahead. And then when I see you, Soyfill, we're going to get you in right after, but Destiny has to have a chance uninterrupted to respond. Destiny, go ahead.
Just the fact that a
Okay, I will replay that moment. I think apparently Destiny fans saw that funniest too, where like, I'm not, by the way, I'm not making one specifically Destiny here. This is just like, what is the point of this? You guys are yelling at each other, dance.
You've never done a car insurance company in your entire life. Car insurance companies are the ACA regulated. You have no idea what you're talking about. You're clueless. You're clueless. Oh, do you think car insurance companies are regulated under the ACA the same way the health insurance companies are? No. Do you get a Medicare extension or a Medicare Plus plan from your whole state?
Whick is the moderator. I think he could have jumped in more times.
My argument to me about why I see an issue with claimants and their relationship with the insurer in the first place, because it goes to car insurance agencies first
Destiny, go ahead.
that are owned by the same company.
Hold on. When I say Destiny, go ahead, I mean Destiny, go ahead. And then when I see you, Soyfill, we're going to get you in right after, but Destiny has to have a chance uninterrupted to respond. Destiny, go ahead.
Just the fact that a car insurance company might cover some medical expense. When we talk about health insurance companies, we're not talking about car insurance companies. We're talking about health insurance companies where that is the product that they offer, and they're hardcore regulated by the Affordable Care Act. And there's a whole list of regulations, everything that come into play here when we're talking about these companies. And every single data point you guys were citing earlier, things related to that Senate report and things related to the 90% denials and all these have to do with like Medicare Plus plans or Medicare extension plans.
Tech Block, I'm not the biggest fan of Whick as a moderator. Yeah, like I think there's things he could improve on. I like the guy. He's really nice to me. And first of all, big thanks to him for even giving me a chance to be here. But also he reached out and said, hey, like, how did that go? Like, what do you think I could improve on? Constructive criticism. How could I make this better? Like anything that you might have a criticism on, like I made a couple like, hey, you could have done this a little better or maybe shift this around. He's doing a good job and he's trying to improve. And I think he's a great guy. So don't shit on him. Go give him some love. I don't know why he only has 6,000 subscribers. Give him a bunch more. He allows these interesting, fun conversations to happen, and this should happen more, albeit in a one-on-one format.
Or whatever. These don't, which is
insurance plans from insurance agencies,
that's health insurance. Medicare.
Which is not the Medicare in the state. That's not when you get in a car accident. You don't get a car accident. That's not for car accidents. 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 That's not for car accidents.
I'm not talking about car accidents. I'm citing the Medicare Advantage.
You already said, Destiny, you can go to your car insurer and tell them you have medical bills related to a car accident. That is how, like I've said,
So the whole thing he's trying to be like is this is completely different. And like I try to explain this. We'll get to this. I don't even have to keep saying this.
Clearly displaying a lack of understanding with the relationship between health insurance agencies and car insurance agencies. And when you have a car accident that results in the necessity of medical bills being paid, that is going to a car insurance agency first. Now,
that's true. What you just said is true.
Soyfill.
No, thanks. First, I want to say Destiny is spoiling right now. That makes him objectively the most correct in this conversation. Destiny, I'm looking at this report. I did not quote every single thing. I didn't know you would fight me so hard on this. Is this enough for you? It says, this majority staff report reveals how Medicare Advantage insurers are intentionally using prior authorization to boost profits by targeting costly yet critical stays in post-acute care facilities. So, Allah, intentionally using these systems to deny care from people who may or may not rightfully deserve it. I'm sure some of these denials, maybe even majority of these denials,
Yeah, he wasn't paying attention. He was reading something. But like, I'm trying to just be like, so stop talking about this. Let's look. Here's United Health. United Health, the person we're talking about. It's not car insurance. Like, I'm trying to give you so many caveats. They're doing this. Is this okay?
Read that quote again. I was
sure. And this is under the executive summary. And by the way, sorry for all the yelling, because like I can see how this is my first time doing this, and I can see
I'm
having fun. But I mean, I want to. I'm seriously trying to approach this in good faith. And so, in the executive summary, it says this majority staff report reveals how Medicare Advantage insurers, aka United Health, CVS, and one other I don't remember, are intentionally using prior authorization to boost profits by targeting costly yet critical stays in post-acute care facilities.
Yes, costly.
Okay.
The issue is that.
And I was like, that's the thing you're going to point out. Oh, they're expensive, so it's okay to do it. No, they're intentionally denying people who might need this care because it's expensive to save money. What the fuck? Yeah, that's the whole fucking point I'm bringing up. Why is that the contention? Like, oh, well, like, is this like the free market, like, fray? Like, well, yeah, it's costly, so you're allowed to deny it. Like, it should work that way. Like, I just don't understand. Yeah. By the way, guys, if you see the timestamp at the bottom here, we actually are almost done. I'm not going to go over the Q&A part. You can go watch that yourself. I'm just trying to get to the end of the debate. We've gotten through almost all the memeable moments. Thank you for bearing with me. I love you all so much.
Stays are incredibly expensive. So you have two options. You have one option. The only way, you have two options. The only way that you can do this, or maybe three, you can either increase premiums to customers. Right. You can decrease the cost of what the people pay out by negotiating with them, which people in America get ass paid at, or you can be more stringent on what you cover. Those are the only three things that you can do.
Yeah, it is a zero-sum game. You're going to have to take money from somewhere else to pay for this care. And what this is saying, I'm trying to establish that they are intentionally denying care, which may...
Do I ever in this whole debate say, Destiny, that's not true? Destiny, you're totally wrong, except for like the tort thing where I'm just like completely undermining, like your entire point doesn't make any sense. I think he only ever does it to me, but maybe not. I'm just so tired. Thank you, I Hate New York. Can we do a Soypill Q&A? Every stream I ever do will be a Q&A, and I might start doing these every week. But instead of doing reviews like this, what I'll do is, because I want us to keep working on videos, one time a week I will get a bunch of information about something I want to talk about that week and be like, hey, let's cover this. It'll be way shorter, 30 minutes, an hour, short little thing, and then you can ask me some questions, and I'll be like, I love you, here's my answer, and then we can be done, and it'll just be a little fun time for everyone.
may not result in harm, if not death, to certain people for profit. And whether or not that's because, and you can make this argument, because the government is enforcing these stringent regulations that's forcing them, they say we cannot be operable if we do not do this. That's totally fair. I understand that. I'm just saying that the decisions being made by the higher up people are denying people care that may or may not kill them. That's it.
I don't agree with the death part, okay? Where people are dying because of this, because I don't think that is the case, okay?
You don't, okay, so if you need, sorry, go ahead.
This has to do with staying in care facilities after surgeries and stuff, right?
Yeah, but right. So if you have a wound,
there are alternatives to this, right? You don't have to go to a facility afterwards. You can get like in-home treatment.
I also couldn't believe. Okay, there are alternatives. Yeah, there are. There are alternatives. Medicare Advantage is not the only way you can get health care. But what happens if you don't have an option? What if this just happened to be the only option you had? You get denied, and then you're fucked. What if it was a timely thing where it's like, hey, we need to address this within this time, and we've delayed it to the point of where it now has become a bigger problem, and you die? Like, he must know this is possible. It's possible, right? Please.
Instead, or you can visit a hospital, right? Sure, you can do
apparently Destiny's like 5'6", yeah.
Things, right? But what this report is saying is that if the person's not being allowed to stay in a post-acute care facility and they get instead opt for that other thing or they do that other thing, that's kind of like a denial or whatever for this report. Also, this report is only dealing with the time period between 2019 and 2022, which is an incredibly odd period for healthcare coverage, like time periods, which is why even in looking at the conclusion of this report, all of the conclusions go towards the regulations, that maybe we should try to regulate this industry in a little bit of a different way. Right. You're saying that people could be dying as a result of this. These are for Medicare.
Look at me, just agreeing to everything he's saying. Like, yes, this is true, yes. It doesn't change what I'm saying. Fuck.
Advantage plans. These are things that are on top of your ordinary Medicare already. So if you're advocating for getting rid of stuff like this and just expanding
I don't think Medicare Advantage is on top. Let me look this up real quick. I'm pretty sure it's a replacement to Medicare. Medicare Advantage says it has to cover the same things as Medicare A and B. There's all these different parts. You can look into it. I don't really functionally know how it all works. But let's see. Medicare Advantage. I wouldn't be surprised if you just read the first thing too, because that's what I'm going to do. Medicare Advantage. Wikipedia. Oh, Reddit. Oh, no. Okay, this is not helpful. I am losing my audience. Maybe this doesn't help. There we go, Wikipedia. Medicare Advantage is a type of health plan offered by private companies, right? So it's not the public option that Medicare is, or I shouldn't say public option. It's not Medicare insurers. It's Medicare Advantage, which is Part C, which has to cover what Part A and B is, and then D is something else. This created a private insurance option that wraps around, traditional Medicare. Plans may fill some coverage gaps and offer alternative cover options. Okay, so I think he is right about this. So it is on top of it. It seems like it is like an overwrapping thing. It fills in the gaps, and that doesn't mean that if you don't get it, you're suddenly okay because it wraps around other stuff that's helpful. It just means that there are potentially other options. Potentially being a big word there. There also may not be other options. And all it takes is a certain chunk of these denials, which are probably unjust. Well, maybe I shouldn't even say that because I can't prove it, but it's like, yeah, like there must be some chunk of these that are probably not okay, unless every anecdote is lying.
Medicare for all or something like that, these people would literally all be doing worse under that plan because they all already qualify for Medicare anyway. These are just Medicare Advantage plans. So nothing in this report is getting you anywhere near the fact that somebody was engaging in such a way to be killed.
Is there a more than positive chance that someone who is denied post-acute care for, let's say, a wound, where they could get sepsis, that could get infected because they can't afford it, and they can't afford the alternative, would not die? Is that possible?
No. People are not being... No. These types of denials are not like you have sepsis and you're...
I just can't believe he wouldn't acknowledge that, like, yeah, if you don't get the treatment you need on a wound, like, the proper person to, like, clean it and wrap it and whatever else is on some surgical wound that post-acute care would take care of, that it could something bad would happen and it gets infected. Like, that, it's not possible. It would never happen. Come on.
You're being denied like long-term care. These are like you have an injury that you get, it's maybe some surgery in the hospital, and then you got to do some like physical rehab or physical therapy, and maybe the doctor...
Some of post-acute care is wounds, like from surgeries, that if you don't treat correctly... No, wounds. Wounds could become septic post not treating them, right?
Yes, it could. I guess. If you,
oh, it could? Okay, that's it.
So I'm saying, is it possible that there's even one person who's denied that post-acute care, that their wound is not treated correctly and they die?
That's possible, sure. But it's also possible in the other world that too many people get approved for this, and now there's no room for somebody who actually does need to stay in one of those
facilities. And watch this. Okay, he acknowledges it's possible. Okay, now he tries to pivot instead of saying, okay, because that could lead into our discussion that we came here to discuss about whether or not, once that happens, that someone is improperly denied care and then killed, that maybe they have some sort of like moral justification to do something. What is my hair doing? Sorry guys, give me a second here. Oh my God, gross. And then he says, well, but it's also possible that they could be giving them too much money. And I try to help him here. I'm like, yeah, that's true. That's why they justified using the system. And maybe that's true. There probably are claims that are given out way more money than they should be. And he tries to fight back on me.
No, you're right. Wait. Dustin's right. The reason they're doing this is they're quoting.
Let them finish. Then I get to super chats, and then we'll continue on. Go ahead.
Okay, it's related only to this.
No. Finish.
I want to say Destiny's right.
Wick, moderating. No, let Niels finish. Oh, my name's Niels, by the way. Oops, doxed.
reason that they're justifying implementing the systems is an over-approval of care for people that don't deserve it. Like, yeah, 100%.
No, don't deserve it. There might be a substitution instead. Like, you could go.
Look at them. Oh, what does deserve mean? Look, I'm fucking trying to agree with you, and you're yelling at me right now because I said the word deserve, which time and time again I've told you there's some band of money that people, adjusters say, you need this much money for this thing. What the fuck?
Go home and have the same type of care. Sure.
Sorry. Maybe the word's too little, but that don't need this care, right? Like that, they're approving people. The system was approving people, and it's like over-approving people. It's losing the company money, and these people didn't need it. I understand that. Yeah, I'm just saying there's a fraction of people. There must be a fraction of people who are denied this care, especially when it goes to as much as 16 times higher than their normal denial rate, who probably need it and may or may not die from it. That's
not as policy though. That would be an accident or oversight or something's fucked up.
Sure, but like if they don't get the proper treatment because they either can't afford it because the alternative's not there for them. That's all I'm saying.
But you're not dying of sepsis. Sorry, I got Big Papa.
Okay, fine. We're gonna get some super chats in there.
Right. I don't know if there's much left. We got through all the parts that really pissed me off. I'm gonna just see if there's anything left.
We go to Buckaroo and then we'll keep going. But wondering if Buckaroo has
Go to medical.
Destiny the appropriate thing, and you guys can have that little.
Party liability is in the first place.
It's like
you literally made a
this
whole.
is finally the car moment. Sorry, we do have to look at this.
Something
They're just fucking dying over this. They talk past each other so much.
on that.
Or not. Vigilantism
Or specifically hoping that someone goes out able to show
that is like horrendously failing you. That if I can show you that police officers are intentionally ignoring 911 calls where you're being murdered or whatever, that there are probably times when vigilantism is not only understood, but maybe even like morally acceptable as a way to further some goal with a system that's clearly broken. But most of our moral arguments are going to take place within the framework of a system that we believe is functioning to some extent. So that's why we have to make the argument for whether the system is functioning or not. Vigilantism is a great thing in tribal societies where there's no court. Vigilantism is a horrible thing in societies where you do have court. Also, you can link in the general chat for Big Papa.
I also put it.
But that's what's so interesting, Destiny, is because it seems like if I were able to show you that this was happening, and clearly I haven't, and that's fine, I accept that. Then would you find it potentially justifiable in the same way that you said, yeah, with the 911 calls, with any of these other things, if for the people specifically who are not able to do and wait around for the regulation to catch up, who are specifically hoping that someone goes out, makes this big message, and causes something to happen in the immediate, like, well, what do you say to those people? Because that's the whole thing I said at the beginning. I will concede if
Killer B, I actually completely disagree. I think that Destiny talks. This is why I like watching him. Is like he just gets to the point and he tries to cut through all the fluff. For the most part, this might be him inflating stuff a little more because he's like, like I gotta seem like I know what I'm talking about. But H2, since I work for the hospital, I can say for certain hospitals also a role for inflated prices. A venipuncture. What is a venipuncture? What is that puncture? It's just well, now I gotta look that up. I can't ask questions and not answer them. Venipuncture. The puncture of a vein. Oh my god, it's literally vein puncture. Just move the N in the I. The puncture of a vein is part of a medical procedure, typically to withdraw a blood sample from an intravenous injection. German-ass naming.
If you can show us the better alternative for the people who do not have the time to wait for that sort of regulation to come in and change the laws for a new system to become, especially considering Donald Trump's about to come in, probably cut Medicare.
Yeah, so TechBlock, you're right. I think sepsis hang-up is that sepsis is an immediate medical emergency. Yeah, but the problem is once it becomes septic, that could happen because of prolonged neglect of the wound post being denied that post-acute care, right? Like it's like, oh, yeah, you weren't septic when you left the hospital. You're septic after you go home, can't afford the post-acute care, and you're not taking care of it correctly because you thought you could do it yourself to save money.
Get rid of regulations, maybe even abolish like the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, which helps people who deal with these claims. Like it does happen. So what do we tell those people? Like, because if you have a better
all these
option,
problems are happening, you have to do vigilantism, and that's literally the only thing. Then of course, definitionally, you're saying last recourse. Then sure, then that's the last recourse.
Okay, I guess we got there. So if I can prove to Destiny in our one-on-one conversation that all these problems actually are happening, if I can have the whole thing just really laid out, and if you guys want to give me some sources in the comments, I'm going to try really fucking hard on this. Maybe he'll just agree with me. It seems like he will. That's why I was like, I came out of this hopeful. I'm like, hey, that felt really bad faith, but it really does seem like you might agree.
I'm just saying that I don't think these problems are happening like this in the USA, which is why
at all, ever, to one person, 10 people, like any number.
I'm
right?
sure that I can find one example of anything happening anywhere in the
so
United
what do you tell
States.
that person? What does that person do for recourse?
If you want to go vigilantism, then if it's at the point where you're being like personally vindictively targeted by some insurance exec or a doctor, then fucking go for it. Hey, knock yourself out. But that's not what we're arguing here.
Okay.
And I don't like to even concede that because that's a bad faith argument because you're arguing, or maybe not you. No, you were because you raised your hand. Is that the random assassination of a terrorist on the street by a healthcare CEO is somehow justified because of the state at large of our healthcare industry in the United States? That is a far cry from I live in Minnezuki, Missouri, and there's a healthcare agent that I fucked their mom when we were in high school, and now he's pushing the denial button on my chemotherapy over and over and over again because he hates me. These are two totally different types of claims, and the latter will never be justifying the former, in my opinion.
Okay, wonderful. We've got there. So did you get the link that Buckaroo was trying to send?
What is this?
Destiny?
2 hours and 10 minutes, and we got to that.
What do you think this?
I feel like I still skipped over the insurance thing, or the auto insurance thing where I try to like make them stop fucking yelling about it. Let's see if it even comes up. But
link is proving me.
In Gen Chat.
What do you think? Is that internet any influence? Wait, hold on, wait. There's more. Wait. You think? Hold on, wait. I just want to get this into the record. Hold on, Buckaroo. You think that?
By the way, what has been 2 hours? Ash hasn't talked. I really did feel bad.
Majority of old people's medical claims are passing through their automobile insurance insurance firms.
Wow, look at me right there, just slipping into. That's a good screenshot right there. I'm gonna screenshot that. I don't know what I'm ever gonna do with it, but that's really funny. Oh no, I gotta get Destiny in there too. He's like, oh, so you think a majority of old people are processing their health insurance through auto? No, obviously fucking not. There's no way she said that. Obviously, well, actually, hold on. Let me go back like 15 seconds.
And
what's the most widely reported condition associated with this? Are they getting hypertension from car accidents?
And specifically, what kind of insurance they're going through
Oh my god, can I make emotes on YouTube? I'll do it.
initially.
I have an actual interesting kind of way. We are running out of time. I want to.
No, wait, hold on.
Definitive claim that automobile accidents don't have any influence on whether.
Is that what I said? They don't have any influence? I'm saying that
They are
the vast majority
regulated.
of
Wow, are you annoyed that someone said a stupid straw man that like maybe didn't really represent you correctly?
talking about is not related to automobile accidents and claims you make for an injury in an automobile accident.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna get it, guys. All the fun Discord stuff and emotes, it'll happen. Don't worry.
Can you show evidence for that claim? Any evidence for that claim that the majority of them are not?
Okay. Weird.
Why are we okaying? He can provide evidence. If I'm supposed to provide evidence, if Soy's supposed to
Yeah, there we go. Put my hands on my head. No, you can't prove a negative. I'm sorry, Big Papa. That wasn't a good argument.
provide
I will
evidence,
allow
he
him
can provide
to
evidence.
do that if he wishes. But
Sure. So you're asking me what are the majority medical costs for elderly people? Is that what you're asking me?
No. Okay, wait. Vagabond. Okay, Destiny's arguing that the EMTALA, the bill that forces hospitals to treat you if you aren't insured or able to pay if it's life-threatening. If it's cancer, if it's something that like will kill you slowly over the course of like a month or two, or like debilitating pain where you won't die, but it's like, hey, yeah, it sucks that you are in pain right now, but you're not dying, so I don't have to treat you. Like, they won't treat you, right? Like, there are still these cases where whether it's death or just like extreme suffering, like back pain that's debilitating in every life, and you can't work or run or do anything, like, and essentially become homeless, like, right? Like that's still the case. Like, tell me if I'm wrong.
No. Insurance agencies.
Stop talking about this. It's so irrelevant.
Okay.
Hypertension was the most widely reported condition associated with this. Are they getting hypertension from car accidents? You think it's high blood pressure?
And specifically, what kind of insurance they're going through initially.
I have an actual interesting kind of way. We are running out of time. I want to.
No, wait. There's more. Wait. You think? Hold on. Wait. I just want to get this into the record. Hold on, Buckaroo. You think that the majority of old people's medical claims are passing through their automobile insurance insurance firms?
No. I don't.
What was the point of the statement you just made?
To get literally any sort of refutable evidence for any claims that you've made during the whole debate.
Wait, or we just move on to something completely different. Destiny, do you acknowledge that the
What a genius I am.
McKinsey documents for the automobile insurance intentionally said, let us deny as many missed claims as possible. That's the minor impact soft tissue claims, just because we know that the people who are going through the litigation will not be willing to pay.
Yeah, I'm trying to just see, like, what could I have done better? Like, did I go too soft, too hard? That is the last thing. I will look at I think I went too soft in the last part.
Pay the money for a lawyer as because the cost of the claim will be less.
Honestly,
is that a thing
at this
that
point,
happened?
I don't even trust it without reading it myself. You want to link me that?
Okay.
Come on. You haven't proven anything I said wrong. You just said, like, oh, I kind of, like, misquoted it a little at worst. And then I concede, like, oh, I guess not that. What I meant is this. Like, come on, man.
Okay.
But it wouldn't surprise me if a consultation company, the semi insurance company, did say some scumbag shit. That wouldn't surprise me.
It wouldn't surprise me if the consultation company did exactly what you just claimed. Good. That's what happened. Read it. Fuck.
I would like grant that. For sure. I'm sure that could happen. Yes.
Okay, and is that tantamount to like killing people? If they're saying let's us deny these people claim, or not even killing. Let's not go that far. This is causing potentially permanent damage to these people if they do not get the recourse they need within the 3 months period after having that whiplash. This is also known as whiplash. I'll stop saying missed. If they don't get the treatment for that, they will have permanent whiplash injuries from that. Is that a scum thing? Yes. And should that be illegal? And if someone who's having
non-life-threatening injuries, just things that make you uncomfortable.
Well, sure, but like, have you ever had back pain that's chronic? It's literally like I can't think anymore. That's probably why this guy went on and killed this guy.
First of all,
I shouldn't have said that because look, he tries to like focus on that argument, which is like, oh yeah, like back pain radicalized you, which I'm saying it probably could, but like now he's saying like, oh, that's what justified it. No, that's not what I'm saying. Fuck, I shouldn't have said that. This is what I mean. This is why I'm reviewing it. I have to learn these things for anytime I do this again.
well, you have
And yes, Thomas, I could have been way meaner. I could have been way meaner, but I don't want to. I actually think you went really well, Soaphill. You barely yelled, argued your point. Yeah, I'm very happy. This being my first ever debate, like I think I did a good job. Why are you so certain that if insurance companies cover all things related to debilitating pain, that would help in most cases? It's not about that. It's about if they don't intentionally deprive people of things that would cause them debilitating pain, those people wouldn't be suffering, and they're doing it for shitty reasons just to make an extra buck here or there, and they're doing it maliciously. It's like in bad faith. They're like, hey, we can just deny people. A bunch of people won't even pursue these because they can't afford to pursue them. Like, that's fucked. They shouldn't be allowed to do that, and they are.
Absolutely no evidence to support that whatsoever. Number one.
No, it's complete
Number
speculation.
two,
You're right. I've deadlifted wrong before, and it hurts like a motherfucker, and I want to kill people. That's all I'm saying.
Sure, but that's has nothing to do with him supposedly having chronic pain. Okay, number one. Number
I'm
two,
saying that would radicalize someone. That would cause someone to do and feel immense suffering their whole life.
didn't we say that this guy wrote a fucking manifesto and he just didn't include his name?
No, see, Flink, if I match the yelling and arguing and shit, like I'm gonna, like, I don't want to be like Destiny here. This is what I'm saying. Like, don't meet your heroes. I watched this and I was like, really? This is This is what I'm getting, like my first ever introduction to you, and this is what I'm getting.
Negative experience with healthcare and surgery in the U.S. when he murders a healthcare exec? Wouldn't we expect to see that
I'd have
somewhere?
to read it again.
Okay,
maybe.
number one, that point was so bizarre for me. I forgot what I was going to say.
It wasn't like a
Oh, you're
serious,
right.
like, this is trying to change your mind. I'm sorry.
I do have a question for your side of things, Soy, and I'll give it to you first. I want to hear everyone else's. Because you specifically, Soy, I've brought this up several times. That what do you tell people? What do you tell someone who's suffering?
That's like the whole argument I'm trying to grant, right? Yeah.
Right. What do you say? What do you say to those people? Still just change.
Compromise, saying like, hey, we'll stop going killing our kings. We'll stop. Specific point.
If you assume away the hard part, then I guess, yeah, you like literally, I guess almost everything's on the table if you're going to die. Sure. But.
Okay. But I guess
this is again, all right, if you assume away the hard part. So again, I got to prove the hard part to him.
yeah, but if it's not happening, then it doesn't matter. But yeah, okay, that's kind of my point. I'm like, what else are you supposed to tell them? That's like, hey, I'm going to die in a month because I'm being denied care. What the fuck am I supposed to do? This guy's getting away with literally murdering me. Like, what do you tell that?
Yeah,
person?
but that's this type of care. Like death is that's not even legal to deny. Even the hospital can't deny if that's like a thing that you're facing. If you're like,
this is what you're talking about, the EMTALA thing. Yeah, if it's literally like I'm going to die, but like, what is it? If it's like a medication, can they just not give it to you, or can they give it to you? Maybe I'm wrong. Someone look this up for me. I'll look it up later if no one does.
Die in a month. Like even the hospital has to treat you at that point.
Well, I guess that's also supplanting the idea. That's probably not the right word, but like a lot.
Is there a way I could become just as good as you at debating while not shitting myself, guys? I wasn't born out of the womb telling the doctor that he should have delivered me better. Okay, like this is after years and years of arguing with my friends and family and teachers and everything and being a little shit. And as long as you're comfortable with failing over and over and over and over and over again, and then yeah, you can become as good at debating as me. Like, thank you, I appreciate the saying I'm good at this, but this is the thing with anyone's like, how'd you get so good at working out? How'd you get so good at talking? Like, because I fucked up a million times throughout my years of life, and you only saw the part that was good enough that you could see it on YouTube and be entertained by. And that's why you don't see my old channel full of all my mistakes. That's why you haven't seen every embarrassing moment that I've ever had, asking at a girl and getting rejected, all the spaghetti falling out of my pocket, trying to argue with a teacher and getting absolutely shit on. Like, you have to just be okay with failing and then getting better and learning. And that's what this is. I'm trying to see, like, I don't think I failed in this conversation, but I could have done better, and I'm going to always try to do better. A lot of people, like we said, like might be afraid to even go to the doctor because of fear of going bankrupt. A lot of people we don't even know that they're denied care. They just get the, like, hey, we rejected your claim, and then they don't pursue anything further because they don't know that they're owed more, and they don't go further from that because they don't want to pay out more. Like, Mr. Pill, I turn 20 tomorrow and I have COVID. What do I do? Stay inside. So how old are you? 28. No one's saying to be 100% guaranteed to be successful given the opportunity to fix something they fucked up. Do a percentage of doctors say patients are denied crucial care? I'm pretty sure that's true, Flank. I should have. Man, that's a good fucking question. Actually, gonna write that down for the Destiny convo. What are the doctors saying? What are doctors saying about crucial care? Now, he might be like, well, the doctors get kickbacks, so they are incentivized to do this.
Again, that's not. I don't data back that up. The data doesn't exist, so I don't.
So all of these are information problems that are exacerbated.
What do I do with myself for my birth? Oh fuck! I'm sorry. Postpone it. Postpone it. Your birthday's a week from now. Get better and then have some fun. Invite some friends. Absolutely do not spend it with me. Do not form a parasocial relationship with me on your birthday. Go out and meet some people. Have a good time. Talk to your family. Get some gifts. Turn 20. Happy birthday. Get some ones in the chat for Cody, guys. Eat cake.
Propaganda that suggests that if you go through these things, you're going to go bankrupt, right? So what we could do to solve those is to solve the information problem by more widely distributing accurate facts about the healthcare system rather than propagandizing people about the healthcare system.
How responsible
right?
are the people spreading that misinformation? So they're making it and exasperating.
This was a good question from Whick, where it's like, okay, let's say all of this is untrue. What about the people who are yelling about it and it's like, hey, this is actually not a big problem. People like me, maybe I'm spreading misinformation. How responsible am I? Should someone come gun me down? I don't know.
You know the word I'm talking about, right? They're blowing up and blowing out of proportion.
Guys, we might make it through this 2 hours and 45 minutes debate in way less than 2 times the amount of time.
Yeah, that it's so hard to get an ambulance, or it's going to cost you, it's going to make you go bankrupt. And so because of all this misinformation out there, people choose not to engage in these services. It leads to worse health conditions that eventually affects their quality of life when they die. Are the people spreading that misinformation on the list?
Characterizing this misinformation is incorrect because it's of their time, so that people
skipping.
So now for people to make it
reading my phone, looking at all the people, my friends and family saying, good job, you're doing great, I love you, and I love you guys so much. And there's some of those people in the chat right now, and I love them so much. So plus serious question, do you differentiate normal fan interactions and fun interactions with unhealthy parasocial relationships? If you guys are viewing me as your friend, I didn't even want to say I'm not your friend. I feel bad. No, but like, I don't know you. Like, you guys are great. I might see in the chat, I see your messages, but you understand, like, until I meet you in real life and we talk back and forth, like, we don't have that same relationship. And so I have seen people listen to hours and hours and hours. Some of you guys have been hanging out with me for 3 hours and 20 minutes. And that feels like a hangout, but like I'm not getting your information back. So what's going to happen is if I interacted with you with in real life, that parasocial builds up to this weird burst of just weirdness where it's like, you know everything about me. You've heard me talk. I've never met you in my fucking life. You are a stranger. And there's this weird power imbalance and you're looking up to me. And I don't want that. I don't want people. I mean, yeah, sure. Like if you think I could be an inspiration to do better, that's awesome. But I don't want people to like look up to me in this like weird like he's the like Muad'Dib, Lisan al-Gaib, Messiah. I want it to be like, hey, like I'm just a guy just like you. Can we please like try to tone things down? If you can learn some stuff from me, that's great. But there are people in my chat correcting me. Like I want them to teach me stuff. Like just like it's weird already the fact that I have a chat full of an insurmountable amount of people that I could never comprehend all in the same room with me. 114, like what the fuck? Thank you all for being here, but like it's literally a number on a screen to me. This is disassociation, and I hate that. Like I want to have interactions with human beings, but I can't facilitate a 100-person Discord call. I don't want this to become weird and like it's hard to explain. It's hard to explain, but it's like I don't like the idea of people looking up to me as this larger than life figure, because I don't feel like I am one. I feel like anyone can do what I'm doing. I know that because I wasn't doing what I'm doing right now a few months ago. I was making YouTube videos and they were getting a couple hundred views, but I was just a guy, and I'm still just a guy now, and you're all just guys or girls or they thems or whatever, and that's fine, and we can all be on the same level. And if you want to come get my opinions here, cool, and then you can go get your opinions from someone else, and then you can go give your opinions, and that's what just the world should be. So if you like my takes, that's great, but I like don't view me as your friend. Like it's a hey, what does this idiot have to say? Cool. What does this other idiot have to say? I'm going to compare, and then take that information and go make real life friends and relationships and hug and love and share your opinions, and don't let this be your friend circle, because I think that's not healthy. Go out and make some real life friends, and this will be just a fun little side bit. That's it. What did you all say to that? Did you all agree with that, or am I being fucking insane? Oh my god, Soy Pill's my Messiah. This is literally the movie, right? In Dune 2, he's like, no, I'm not the Messiah. I'm not the Messiah. Only the Messiah would say that he is the Messiah. Soy Pill, do you not think you're contributing that by saying I love you guys? But I do, because you guys are making my dream happen. Like, I can't say I don't love you. So I just call us scumbags and wankers unsubbed. I told you my second, third Dutch grandma that we are dating. Oops. Well, see, okay, one of these people is my actual friend. So you're not being parasocial. Looking down to you. Yeah, you guys can look down on me. I like that. I should be like any elected official. You should all be able to depose me at any moment. You are not my friend. It's very one-sided. It's like how Chappell was getting dunked on for not being more inviting to fans in public. I am Soy Muad'Dib Atreides, Duke of YouTube. You don't care about us? I do care about you, but I literally can't, like, there's this concept called the monkey sphere where, like, there is a certain amount of people that you can literally care about, and past that, everything else just becomes a disassociated number. And you guys aren't in my monkey sphere because I haven't met you personally, unless I have and you're in my chat. So it's like, if someone in my chat, like, I'll recognize a name that comes up a lot. Thanos Duck is, like, been spamming. Thank you, Thanos Duck. You make me laugh a lot. But I don't know you. And, like, if you told me you needed help, I'd want to help you. But, like, I can't, like, in my head, like, conceptually, my brain is not capable of appreciating you as a person, because you're not a person right now. Right now, you're words on a screen, and I know you're existing. There's a person typing, or maybe you're an AI, and it's all dead internet theory. But, like, I want to be able to, like, care that this person's making me laugh. I want to be able to, like, have that relationship, and I know I can't. It's impossible, and the bigger I get, the more impossible it get, and I don't want to facilitate that weird one-sidedness. I just want it to be like, hey, y'all are having fun in the chat. That's cool. Don't take what I'm saying as this, like, fucking gossip hole. Please just have a good time. Recognize that right now it's all just words on a screen. Let's make people laugh. Let's have a good time. Let's, for the love of God, keep giving me money so I can quit my job and do this all the time. But also have real life and make friends, and don't have parasocial relationships. I'm going to scroll through all these messages that are going to make me so sad that I probably phrased this wrong. He's the Messiah. Shout out to the thems. All hail the Soy Pill. I'm a homunculus. That's fair. Y'all in chat are literally contributing. Cult. Him denying his divinity is proof of his divinity. No, it's happening. Oh God. One, agreed. All hail the Messiah. All hail. Yo, Dev, are you in here? Oh God. I am Lisan al-Gaib. I must drink the water of life. Submit to my duckiness. Soy Pill Ron. College for too long. They only want to hear but not interact directly. I disagree with you at some things, but I think that's okay. A lot of take I find interesting nonetheless. We are all actually AI. I'm the only real person here. I'm not getting mad. I'm really not mad. I'm scared of having bad things happen. I don't want to do the Butlerian or the galaxy-wide jihad. You know, ones. We're going to spread ones across the galaxy. We're all secretly robots. People are just lonely. They get too attracted to some guy with takes. Yeah, well, maybe it would be helpful if I made myself look worse. What made you have to specify this? Oh, someone said something. I'm so sorry, guys. Fun chat, good performance. Love that you're gunning for self-improvement, hun. Dodge these huge panel clown fiestas. No, because this is great for my in the future when I'm big enough. You're too real. Just got a healthcare ad. Oh no. It's pretty clear that you are new at this. Everyone who streams a bit longer just abuses their chat all the time. I promise you, I'm going to try not to. If I get like 10,000 people in chat, I'm going to slow it down. And I'm going to fucking try to read all of them, and I'm not going to be able to. Can confirm I'm real. Bet. I'm a socialist bot. Pay for the GDR. Cool. Cody? No, that's not true, Cody, because it's your birthday. Socialist bots are not 20 years old. Revving up for my bot farms now. Enjoy the 10 times stream views. Wake up. Oh, soy sauce. Hey, speedrun giving this man a god complex chat. Yeah, what the fuck? Stop. Not going to lie, you inspired me on wanting to make a specific video topic. Yeah, please make videos. And I'm going to have, like I said, segments where I try to feature people, and I'll let you guys submit them to my Gmail. At least you're not hawking a meme crypto. Yep, we're all soy pilled, spread soy. Soy, soy, soy. Incredible Mr. Pill. You can drive after 15 beers. I don't drink. You want to actually do the golden path. Yes. Nothing you can do can make you less attractive. I promise you that's not true. We're all, please stop, guys. I'm trying to read all of these. This is exactly what I'm talking about. I try to be nice. I'm going to just play this. Stop. Everyone, you know when I told you to chat? Stop chatting.
Thompson and UHC are guilty of fraud and can be sued and potentially prosecuted on that basis. And so you should do that instead of gunning down people in the streets. I did not hear any satisfying answers tonight on where this principle stops, which sorts of C-level executives can or can't be shot, or people below them can or can't be shot. And so I see no reason to come away from this agreeing more with the people who are more in favor of Luigi than I am. Yeah. I don't really stream. I blog sometimes on Substack. It's everythingwasbeautiful.substack.
This is the last thing I want to review, which is my closing. I think I didn't do a good job here because 1, I didn't plug. 2, I was like, oh, boo-hoo, Destiny, I'm so sorry I didn't prove it to you, because I really do think I can. I really think he'll accept it if I prove it to him, but I think I could have got a little harder. I could have summarized better. I could have plugged. I didn't plug, and I didn't say type 1 to end the deep state, so because I'm fucking stupid. But what I did do is do a little gotcha at Destiny, which felt good.
Stack.com if you want to subscribe. It's free.
Check them out, gang.
Oh, and go check out these people. Go check out Professor D. Bunn or Eucharist. Go give some love to Whick. Destiny doesn't need it, but go check him out. I do think he makes good points. Go watch his most popular stuff where he's debating against like the alt-right figures, or at least the people you really disagree with, so you don't feel bad. And it feels good to watch someone dismantle someone. It really does feel good. So go watch that. It's fun. Papa, I don't know if I don't think she makes content, but she's been on these panels. You can go look at them on the Whick. Ash, I think, has also been on these panels. You might not agree with him. He's like a very like out there with his opinions, at least from me. Like he's like anti-ACA and all that. He made a video game, Papers, Please, about medical thing, and I was like so intrigued by this. I didn't get the chance to play it. Maybe I'll look at it later, but go show him some love. Like give all these people love. Everyone deserves love. Go spread the joy. It's literally mostly free to go give all these people subscribers and likes and all that, and it helps them out so much.
Thank you for being here. Really appreciate you. Soypill, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean this unironically. I do want to apologize to the audience, like if I haven't properly established, because it sounds like a lot of people don't properly think that what I believe is happening with the health insurance industry or the audio insurance industry or any insurance industry is happening to a point that is bad.
Totally forgot this happened. I think she has a cat. She just like interrupted me twice. She wasn't muted. I felt bad. I was like a little annoyed by that because she does it like 2 times.
You're unmuted.
I'm sorry. Yelling at my cat. Sorry.
But like genuinely, I mean, it seems that I established that if all those things were happening, there could be, it's all you can really say to the people that are suffering from it is tough shit. I don't think that's an acceptable answer. That doesn't mean I think they should go out and kill people, but it's kind of a no-win situation for those people, and it's hard for me to say that they don't like that they're not rightfully justified in their own thinking to say, well, if I can't have any other recourse, I'm going to go out and do something. But clearly, I haven't established that. Now, it sounds to me like Destiny said he would agree. Were that all true to a point, which makes me just want to try to prove it better and more. And I hope that at some point you'll let me speak and try to present a better argument to you, because after reading this book, I do want to go out.
Like, yeah, this sounds a little bit like, ooh, boo-hoo, I'm on my knees. I did a bad job. I'm sorry. Like, I am being good faith here. I mean, I'm like, look, I really do want to prove that. I'm going to try to do it. But like, I think if I'm coming off my first debate, this seems a little like cucked out. I'm not going to do this next time.
Out in the street and protest within the confines of the law. Whick, thanks for putting it together. Thanks everyone for being here. Professor, sorry we didn't get to the really moral argument because we got stuck on the other stuff. And I can pretend like I'm above this, but Destiny, I really like your stuff. I've been watching you for 7 years. It's an honor to be here. Thank you so much. You're always raising the bar. I mean, I heard that your leaked tapes weren't that good, but you just glazed the shit out of Brian Thompson. So clearly you're always doing better. So thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. His links are in the YouTube description.
Yeah, I had to throw in that little glaze thing because it's like, we didn't meet the super chat goal, but after all that bad faith, gotta end it with a little like, yeah, you just glazed the shit out of him. For those of you who didn't get that, I think there was like a leaked, don't By the way, don't spread people's like leaked news or anything, but like just so you know, this did happen. There was like a leaked video of Destiny who was doing lots of things with other people, and it's like, oh, people said it wasn't good or whatever. Who cares? This is like his private shit. Don't go look into this. I'm sure he wouldn't want that. None of you would want that. But I did make a joke that I'm sure he'd probably appreciate. Well, maybe not, but you know, he does edgy shit. It's like, yeah, like, well, you know, people said you weren't doing this, but yeah, you glazed the shit out of this guy, so I guess you're getting better at it. So what grade did the panel get? I think if it had just been the interesting part of the conversation, I would have given it an A. I would give it like a B minus.
Check him out. Ash, go ahead. You were muted. We can't hear you.
I feel like I emptied my own tank a little while ago.
Look at the rest of these. Why do people keep saying denial? Okay, that's about it, everybody. So before I close out, are there any last minute questions? Any comments? Any debate tactics we want to talk about? Anything else before I let you all go? I've had you for 3.5 hours. I think people in real life, like I said, are calling to me, and you should all go to your that one more spin. Let's go. Come back to the Jewish joke. What Jewish joke? Can we get feet pics? No. I'm asking again, what's the longest river called? Is it not the Nile? The soy pill conservatives. It was a circumcision. Any new videos planned? Yes, I am trying to, as soon as all this stuff is done, maybe I'll make a couple clips. I'm going to make the video on the Matt Walsh movie, Am I Racist, I think, and I'm going to the inauguration on the 21st, so I'll be making a video of those. Those are at least 2, if not more, probably 1 or 2. 3.5 hours is good enough time for me to sit, just offering. Okay, I have a girlfriend. Please stop thirst trapping me in the chat. I remember when my insurance would keep denying for my cavity fillings and it would cost $1,000. Yeah, this happens. Guys, we all know this happens. Destiny was being obtuse. I'm going to try to prove it to him. Are you going to shake Trump's hand? Absolutely not. I don't know if I count as a soy conservative. Yeah, guys, YouTube hates free speech. I know him in real life. I love him to death. He is a conservative, and I'm going to convert him. Yet. Maybe. Maybe not. We'll see. Yes, I am. Data when doctors are talking about needing care. Yes, thank you, Flink. I've written that down. Is there Discord or something where your community can chat amongst itself? I made a Discord. I don't know if I'm okay with that. I think it's weird, the parasocial relationships that are there. I want to encourage people to go out. I don't really think I'm going to be inviting a bunch of people to it. What I will do is invite people in for chatting for now. Maybe I'll expand that. Maybe I'm shooting myself in the foot by doing that, but guys, I really don't like the way I've been in like these Destiny Discords and Vosh Discords just to see, and I really don't like what I see. I don't like the little circle jerks. I just don't like it. Yes, I will wear this hat or something of the sort. Did you do the drawing for the channel? No, a friend of mine did it. We've since had a falling out, which sucks, but now the Soy Sauce, who's the mod in this chat, and you'll see her credited in all stuff, does all the redraws and all the thumbnails, and she's great, and I do pay her, just not enough, but get some ones in the chat for the Soy Sauce. Can you jump like Elon Musk at the inauguration? I'll do that, sure. Convert him to bed. Oh, God. When we get videos on the major mess-ups of the next administration, as soon as they mess up, cringe. Conservative conversion therapy. Were you anxious going into the debate? Yes, it was a massive debate, and I was like, oh my God, like I really don't want to fuck this up. But I was also excited because I was like, holy shit, this could be like a very big pop-up moment. You're so honest and great channel. It's so glad I found you. Thanos Duck, I think you're the, like maybe it's Bada Meinhof effect. I just see you all the time, but I think you see you the most. You're my most dedicated chatter. We love you so much, Thanos. Where's my duck? Where's my Thanos Duck? He's in the chat right now, and we love him so much, Thanos Duck. You're so good. Have you gotten involved in politics? That's a really good question. I should be. I mean, I've seen people like Destiny go and like Canvas. I've done some volunteer work with a corporation, but it didn't really come into something. I really want to do more, and I should do more. And I should investigate how I can like actually change things other than influence, because that seems lame. You can have a debate channel. I don't know if I want to debate just everyone all the time. Oh my God, there's too many chats now. Oh, you were all hiding here. Can you jump like Elon Musk? Okay, I saw this. I'd enjoy Discord if it's for discussion. I love a place to expand my political horizons. Read more books. Don't go into Discord, even though it's probably a good place to find resources. Discords tend to become echo chambers. Yes, I'm a gooboomoo. That's why I didn't want to do it. I'd recommend using Discord for community events and streams only. That's a good idea. Chicken Bake. 1111 for soy sauce. Yes, love you, soy sauce. Favorite dinosaur? T-Rex, duh. Actually don't know what my favorite dinosaur is. They're all pretty good. We've been there before. I like it since I draw. Yep, that's true. Drawing Discords are great. Is that a Trump rubber ducky? Yeah, that's a Trump duck. Yeah, you guys didn't... if you watch my video, you know I bought this in Arizona because he's so cute. Positive wrong. How long before it makes a soy pill exposed? Okay, let me say this. This is going to come up at some time. You guys are knowing this first. I have an internet history. I have accounts. I have old YouTube channels. Those are eventually going to come out. I'm not going right now and scrubbing them because I know it's going to come out. There are things that I've done that I'm not like, yay, I did that. There's things I've said that are stupid. And you know what? That's fine. I'm going to own them and I'm going to say I've changed since then, or I'll say that's fucking hilarious and I don't regret it. So it'll happen eventually. I don't mind. People are going to try to like smear me and whatever. I don't care. Will I run for president? No. Has to reach 1 million. That'd be awesome. Can you ask Elon Musk for ketamine? Absolutely not. Tell me if I'm talking too fast. I'm trying to go through all these chats. Debate should be about learning and not about winning. Agreed. Read Aristotle's Metaphysics. Well, lend me your copy. Come to California again. Will you ever go on Joe Rogan if he invites me? You don't platform Destiny. He's a genocide denier. First of all, I'm not platforming Destiny. It's definitely the other way around. It benefits me way more than it benefits him, and I appreciate that he would do something like that. Second of all, genocide denier, I mean, I guess it's like, because there's all the definitions. I already told you I'm not nuanced enough, but like I don't think that's a good enough reason to completely not talk to someone. I mean, would I consider running for any type of office? I'd be so scared of being swept up into the system. Like I know that's cowardly, but like I see people just get eaten, shoot up, and spit out. But AOC is really an inspiration that she can still make this stuff happen. So theoretically, the Trump duck, the OGs. It's so funny you call them the OGs. Like this wasn't like the last 3 months of videos, and I haven't been making stuff since 2019. My tweets are funny. Thank you, Thanos Duck. Favorite album? I think I said last time someone asked this, the Tenacious D, what's it called? Tenacious D Black album. Is it just called Tenacious D? Yeah, Tenacious D. That's probably my favorite one. You can tell I'm a Weird Al kid. Soy. Oh, hold on. Am I covering chat? I'm so sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I don't have time to set this up. Sent you a link on Twitter, said about genocide. Thoughts on Amir Odom? Don't know anything about him, so sorry. Found you through the panel. Oh, awesome, John. Thank you for coming after you found the panel. Do you live by yourself? I have roommates, and he has 2 cats. Favorite album from Destiny's channel. Thank you, John, for coming. I appreciate that. I don't drink soy. That's what I'm exposed as. I was a fucking liar. I live in Cali at not my mom's house. Hold on, fit to screen. Wait, stretch to fit? Is this gonna stretch to? I'm wide now. Oh god. Fit to screen and turn desktop capture off. That's better. There we go. That looks better. Okay. Autism for like Nishti. Yes. Weird Al the Goat. Expectations for Trump 2020 presidency. You can watch my, what to expect from the Trump presidency. I am not expecting good things. Let's see. Did the conspiracy theorist guy get arrested? I looked at the arrest reports. I did not find anything about him. So either he was so 100% right that they locked him up and hid it, scrubbed the data, or I think they just let him out because he was just causing a ruckus, which is funny because it wasn't his fault. People were yelling at him for saying things they didn't like. But hey, San Diego, May 1st. If the big tsunami happens, he was right about everything. Where can we buy Trump ducks? Don't buy them. I kind of regret. I don't regret it, but like, don't do it because it gives money to his campaign. But at Trump rallies. Would you ever want to do a TikTok live with Dean Withers? 100%. As someone who want to become a public figure with a history of being online, your answer about potentially being exposed was very helpful. Yeah, just own it. Look, Trump has done way worse than anything I will ever do, and he is president right now, okay? Like, never admit fault. If you did something... Well, no, okay, sorry. Never admit fault. When you do something wrong, if you did something wrong 12 years ago, say, I did something wrong, that's fine. I'm a changed person now, and it doesn't really matter, and this is not relevant to today. And if you don't regret it, if you're like, hey, this joke was kind of racy, are you okay with it? Yeah, I think it's hilarious, whatever. Conspiracy theorist guy, go watch the Coachella video. There's a conspiracy video guy. He's like the first guy I talked to. I don't play sports. I don't like sports. I appreciate that people like sports. I don't want everyone to be like me and think like me, but I do not do sports stuff. I assume you should run as an independent with a grassroots campaign. Yeah, probably. Or I'd get all the billionaire funding. I scrub all my socials every 6 months because I'm dumb and have bad takes. Hey, I've got bad takes too. It happens. I thought you got the duck for free. No. One of the things I got for free. Oh, I got this Kamala pin. I didn't show this. This is exclusive stream first. Let's see. Kamala, Walmart logo. Pay more, live worse. That was free. And the earrings were free. And the earring hole went through his ear, which was funny. What would you say to Americans who feel like fleeing to a more functional system? I would say, if you think that you can improve America and tolerate the wrongs that are being done here and change voters' minds, that you should do it. If you can't because you're too poor, because the system is screwing you and you can only survive by moving, then you should also do it. But I would understand if you left. I just hope that we can change it for the better from within. That'd be better. Luigi has, oh man, I thought like, I'm trying to get to the end of the chat and then be like, cool, and now we can stop, and it just keeps coming. All right. Let's see. Quickly own it, move on. The Soy Pill, he said some bad stuff. Not good. What do you think about the organizations like Teamsters, IWW? I don't really know much about Teamsters. I should look more into it. What would you say econ level knowledge is that? Next to nothing. I really try reading like a lot of Investopedia, but I need to learn more. When it comes up, I learn about it. I like learning about like shorts and longs and all that stuff. But the more I learn about it, the more I'm like, fuck this. Money is fake. I hate this. This is all dumb. Why are we speculating and betting and dumb? When are you going to finish that shitty choice game? Oh my God, should I finish it? Maybe I'll finish it on a stream. Maybe. Like, cause everyone hated it, right? Have I been to a Pride Parade? Yeah, and they're kind of insane in San Francisco. Sometimes I think they go a little too weird, but like they're not hurting anyone. It's just a little weird. Oh, where's the lollipop? Incoming social media post in the next few weeks. Trust me, she got me the whole outfit with the shirt and the overalls and the lollipop. Chat is booming. Investopedia. Is that not a good source? I feel like they explain things really well. Maybe I'm stupid. President Musk. Oh God, President Musk. He'll fix it, you know. What do you think of intellectuals taking ayahuasca? I don't know if it really helps. 6 people talking, but in 100 messaging speed. I know. Gary's Economy. Recently found him. Love him. I might check him out. When is the soy kind? Never. Subscribe to Friendly Jordies. Oh yeah, I wrote down that. I will try to check him out. I just wish we had free healthcare. Hey, I had it in Germany. It was amazing, and I was super happy to pay 40% of my taxes. Finish the shitty choice game. All right, guys, I'm finishing it. Not tonight. Maybe another night. Maybe tomorrow night. Maybe I'll just do an impromptu finish, and the people who are really dedicated and want to watch can come. And we can do a Q&A too. How often do you plan on live streaming? At least once a week based on how this is going. I think you should say everybody type 1. Okay, yes. All right. We're done. People are waiting for me. Everybody type 1. I love you all so much. Let's end the deep state. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching the debate. Thank you for all the new viewers. Thank you, guys. I swear to God, like, I don't know when I'm going to be able to quit my job and do this full time, but you guys are helping me do this. And way after it happens, because I know it's going to happen. I'm so happy. But way after it happens, I'm going to be so fucking happy. I'm already so happy. I love you guys for doing this. Again, that's not like a parasocial thing. I don't actually know you, but you guys are existing and you are having effective change on my life in such a positive way. I can't tell you how happy it makes me to have this happen. And I appreciate all of you for doing this, each and every single one of you. You don't have to give me money, just exist and enjoy. And if you don't and you leave, that's fine too. Thanks for being here. Regardless, I had a great time and I'm going to keep having a great time. So good night, stay safe, happy new year, happy birthday to Cody, and